Your childhood sweetheart, a big star, said that she would agree to be with you as long as you confessed your love. After 10 years of struggle, you finally said, I love you. But after sending this message, you jumped from the rooftop of a 1,000-meter-high building without hesitation or fear of death. After all, death is already commonplace to you, because you are forever locked in August 25, 2023. As of today, you have repeated this experience to 999 times. You are really numb at this moment. You are still falling. But the phone in your hand suddenly vibrates. Where are you? This news surprised you a little in hundreds of thousands of cycles. You have confessed to Zhang Wanwan countless times. And Zhang Wanwan's response was either teasing or joking. Only this time, Zhang Wanwan actually asked you where you are. But you still didn't care too much because you were about to fall to the ground. Where are you? You smile bitterly. You are in hell and in prison. After an unknown amount of time, the piercing alarm sounds. You close your eyes and subconsciously want to pick up your phone to turn off the alarm. Because the same day keeps repeating, you have no way to cancel the alarm in advance. You will be woken up at 6 o'clock every day for a while. You began to doubt your life. Why did you set such an alarm on August 25th? Which made you unable to sleep in every day. But today, when you reached out your hand, you were stunned because you didn't touch the bedside table, let alone the phone. How could this be possible? You have done this set of actions 999 times, and it is impossible to make mistakes even with your eyes closed. You opened your eyes in a daze and sat up from the bed. But the scene in front of you shocked you even more. Because you were staying in a hospital room. At this moment, you feel like you are going to stop breathing. You quickly check the time on your phone and see it is 6 o'clock. And the date is August 260, 2023. Instantly, tears well up in your eyes. You have escaped from the cage that has held you for more than 800 years. But you are not sure if it will repeat itself today. When you calm down, you realize that someone is sleeping beside your bed. This person, who you are very familiar with, is your childhood sweetheart Zhang Wanwan. Chapter 201. Shen Feng. Zhang Wanwan, a big emotional crisis. At Minglai Entertainment's training base, the corridors of the tutors' dormitory area were empty. Only Li Tingting was standing against the wall of the corridor. His eyes were wide open. He covered his mouth tightly with his hands, trying his best not to make any sound due to shock. Because now, what Zhang Wanwan and the other woman in the room said were so shocking. I support you in seducing Shen Feng. It would be best if you can get Shen Feng, Zhang Wanwan said. WI? Opposite Zhang Wanwan. Even Chen Wei looked puzzled. Aren't these two couples very loving? Why did Zhang Wanwan support her in seducing Shen Feng? Is Zhang Wanwan speaking sarcastically? Could it be that Zhang Wanwan wanted to say next? It's a pity that you can't seduce Shen Feng no matter how hard you try. Because the love between us is indestructible? But Zhang Wanwan didn't say that. Zhang Wanwan sighed with regret. With an appearance of having suffered a lot, he held Chen Wei's hand and said, You don't know how hard my life is. On the surface, Shen Feng and I get along harmoniously and happily. But in reality, Zhang Wanwan sighed again. Actually, I'm very tired every day. Actually, Shen Feng is a very unromantic person. Normally he won't hug me, kiss me, feed me, or buy me breakfast. He won't take care of me when I'm sick, and he thinks I'm troublesome when I have my period. He acts very humorous on the show, but in real life he won't even say a single cheesy Li word to me. Zhang Wanwan's eyes were slightly red. It seemed as if tears were about to fall. Zhang Wanwan is already pretty, and now she looks even more pitiful. Chen Wei's heart ached when she saw this while comforting Zhang Wanwan. She said, Is Shen Feng actually such a person? Zhang Wanwan nodded gently. Think about it, have you ever been irritated by Shen Feng? Chen Wei thought about what had happened in the past few days. And he said even more angrily, He must be such a person. Zhang Wanwan said with a helpless expression, So, since you want to be with him, not only will I not object, I will even support you. Once you seduce Shen Feng away, I will be free. Chen Wei looked at Zhang Wanwan. Then what should I do? In fact, Chen Wei also wondered at the beginning whether Zhang Wanwan was lying to her. But Zhang Wanwan's expression, demeanor and tone are all the same now. That feeling of grievance, sadness, and pity, it really doesn't seem like something that can be faked. If she can even fake this, then Zhang Wanwan's acting skills must be very good. So Chen Wei believed Zhang Wanwan. At this moment, in addition to thinking about completing Fu Yan's task, she suddenly felt a sense of mission in her heart. That is, to save poor Zhang Wanwan from the fire and water. She just didn't believe it. With Zhang Wanwan's help this time, how could she not be able to seduce Shen Feng? Zhang Wanwan said, Actually, it's not that difficult to take down Shen Feng. From what I just said, you should have heard that Shen Feng is not a romantic, but a very pragmatic person. So he likes pragmatic women. especially the kind of down-to-earth woman who fits into his life. Chen Wei listened attentively. Sister Wan Wan, tell me in detail. Let me give you an example. For example, you insist on making breakfast, lunch, and dinner for Shen Feng every day, buying drinks for Shen Feng, washing clothes for Shen Feng, mopping the floor, sweeping, and cleaning the room. After a while, Shen Feng realized that life seemed to be impossible without you, and he naturally discovered your importance. Chen Wei's eyes lit up when Zhang Wanwan said this. I have to say, what the wife said makes a lot of sense. It sounds much better than Zhang Tianming and Li Yuye's bad idea. So I'm going to do this starting today. Chen Wei was a little excited. Zhang Wanwan shook her head. It's not enough for you to just do this. If you only serve meals and wash clothes for Shen Feng, and both outsiders and Shen Feng will definitely find out that you have other intentions. Your intentions are too obvious. That makes sense. Does Sister Wan have any solution for this? It's very simple. Zhang Wanwan said, I still live with Shen Feng now. Whether you are getting food, buying drinks, or doing laundry, as long as you prepare my portion, it won't seem so abrupt. Yes. Chen Wei suddenly realized. Zhang Wanwan added, in order to cooperate with you, I will act a little lazy, order you around, and have a bad attitude in contrast to your hardworking and uncomplaining attitude. After a while, Shen Feng will definitely think that I am not as good as you. Upon hearing this, Chen Wei couldn't help but say, but Sister Wan Wan, isn't your image? Zhang Wanwan held Chen Wei's hand affectionately. As long as I can help you, my image doesn't matter. Sister Wan Wan. Chen Wei was so moved. Don't worry. Sister Wan Wan, I will definitely work hard. Come on. Okay, let's go train first. Chen Wei left the room. After Chen Wei left, Zhang Wanwan waved towards the curtains in the room. Shen Feng walked out from behind the curtains. Zhang Wanwan asked with a smile. How is my acting, Fengzi? Shen Sheng had a smile on his face. No immediate reply. Instead, he hugged Zhang Wanwan and kissed her. Until Zhang Wanwan's cheeks turned slightly red and her body became weak. Shen Feng temporarily let Zhang Wanwan go. And he leaned close to Zhang Wanwan's ear, bit her earlobe, and whispered, I heard that I don't like to hug you, kiss you or say sweet words to you. Then, I lied to her. Zhang Wanwan protested quietly, you are my best Fengzi. Praising him once is not enough. Shen Feng chuckled. Fengzi is feeling very aggrieved right now. If you don't give Fengzi enough compensation, he won't talk to you today. Stingy. Zhang Wanwan suddenly stood up and pushed Shen Feng onto the bed. Then he pressed on Shen Feng and bit into his mouth. However, Li Tingting didn't know what was going on in the room. Because before Chen Wei came out, Li Tingting had already run away in fear. At this time, she was staying in Jie Yatnam's dormitory. Her face was pale. Between brothers Shen and Wan Wan, are there such big marital conflicts? Has it even gotten so bad that Wan Wan wants other women to seduce brother Shen? No, I've recorded a show with brother Shen before and got along with him. He's not that kind of person. Wan Wan is also very happy to be with brother Shen directly. Now they must have had some conflict that made them say such angry words. Thinking of this, Li Tingting quickly took out his mobile phone and sent a message to Jiet Nan. She told Jiet Nam what she had just heard. After receiving the message, Jiet Nan, who was in class, only glanced at it twice, then hurried out of the training room and called Li Tingting. Listen, is everything you said true? It's absolutely true. I heard it with my own ears. Li Tingting's tone was very anxious. We all know Wan Wan and brother Shen's personalities. They must really love each other now. They must have a conflict and are angry with each other. We can't just watch them quarrel like this, otherwise they might really break up. They are true love, and we can't let a momentary conflict lead to tragedy. Jie Yatnam nodded, then took a deep breath. Listen, now is the time for us friends to show our role. The battle to help Shen Feng and Zhang Wanwan get back together begins now. Chapter 200 To What Happened to Your Love? Noon. After a morning of training, the players all planned to go to the cafeteria to eat. Mingdalai Entertainment's cafeteria has received rave reviews throughout the entertainment industry. The quality of several signature dishes in the cafeteria here is even better than that of many restaurants. 3 meals a day, morning, noon and night, have become the most anticipated things for many contestants. After the instructors announced the end of Get Out of Class, many contestants rush to the cafeteria like wild dogs out of a cage. I'm afraid that if I go too late, the delicious food will be gone. Chen Wei was also eager to rush to the cafeteria. Today she not only has to prepare meals for herself, but also has to bring meals for Shen Feng and Zhang Wanwan. What if she went to the cafeteria late today and there were no good dishes left? How would she have the nerve to send them to Shen Feng and Zhang Wanwan? But Chen Wei had just left the training room. Then she heard someone calling her from behind. Are you Chen Wei? Chen Wei turned around and saw that she knew the person who called her. Jiat Nan is one of the guest mentors of youth group. I've been on the show with Shen Feng and Zhang Wanwan before. Chen Wei was in a hurry, but since her tutor called her, she couldn't ignore him. I could only show a somewhat anxious look and said, "Hello, mentor, what can I do for you?" Jiat Nan pretended not to notice Chen Wei's somewhat anxious expression. He said to Chen Wei, "I am Shen Feng's friend, you should know that. This time Shen Sheng specifically told me to give you some guidance when I am free. If you don't have time now, come and practice with me." Chen Wei? If you don't have time now, why not practice? Is this something a normal human being can say? She rolled her eyes. And then said anxiously, "Teacher, thank you for your kindness, but I have something urgent to do now. How about this? I'll come back to you during lunch break, is that okay with you?" "No, I need to rest at noon," said Jiat Nan. "Then at night. After dinner, you won't go to bed right away, right?" "My habit is to go to bed after dinner." "Chen Wei, then get up early tomorrow. I'll get up earlier in the morning, and you can teach me then." Jiat Nan spread his hands. "But I always sleep in the morning." Chen Wei, then why don't you just stop teaching me? I appreciate your kindness." Jiat Nan said righteously. "That won't work. Shen Feng and I have a close relationship. Although the knife was stabbed into my body, we are still good brothers. Since he asked me to teach you, I must complete it." Chen Wei was overwhelmed. Why is this person so stubborn? A lot of time has been wasted if she delays any further. She will probably have to wait in a long line when she rushes to the cafeteria. Even if there were delicious dishes in the cafeteria, by the time she had lined up, got her food and had it delivered to her, Shen Feng and Zhang Wanwan would probably be starving. Or they could just go to the cafeteria and get their own food. Chen Wei finally decided to escape by peeing when in doubt. He said to Jiat Nan, "I'm sorry, mentor, let's talk about this later. I have to go to the bathroom first, sorry." Having said that, Chen Wei ran towards the cafeteria. Then I heard Jiat Nan say, "Hey, the toilet is over here, you went the wrong way. I just happen to need to go to the bathroom too. Let's go together." Chen Wei. Is there any boy who goes to the toilet with a girl? Besides, she wasn't really in a hurry to pee. The place she wanted to go now was the cafeteria. But there was no way. She had just said that she wanted to go to the bathroom. And Chen Wei couldn't refuse now. I could only go to the toilet with Jiat Nan. Only after Jiat Nan entered the toilet did Chen Wei rush out of the toilet and run to the cafeteria. This scene made a contestant who was about to go to the toilet open his eyes wide. Damn, is this girl so hungry right after taking a shit? When Chen Wei left the bathroom, Jiat Nan went into the men's room and quietly sent a message. "Jiat Nan is particularly difficult. The target has left. Repeat, the target has left. Li Ting, got it. I'm ready too." At this time, Li Ting was sitting in the cafeteria of the training base. After replying to Jiat Nan, she sent another message in the group of their dating program team, and tagged Shen Feng and Zhang Wanwan. Li Ting. "Brother Shen, Wanwan, help, are you in the cafeteria of your production team?" Li Ting, "I came to your program group, but I don't know where that guy Jiat Nan ran off to. I can't contact him now. I'm in the cafeteria, but I don't have a meal card to get food. Can you save me? I'm starving to death." Shen Feng. Zhang Wanwan and Shen Sheng are now waiting in the room for lunch to be delivered. Zhang Wanwan raised her eyebrows when she saw the message from Li Ting. Why did Ting come here? He didn't tell me before. And that guy Jiat Nan? He actually left Ting alone? Shen Sheng didn't say anything. Instead, he sent a red envelope in the group. After a moment, Zhang Wanwan has received the red envelope. Meng Yan has received the red envelope. Chen Lu has received the red envelope. Li Ting has received the red envelope. Jiat Nan has received the red envelope. Jiat Nan regretted it the moment he received the red envelope. Why can't he control his hands? Unfortunately, it's too late for him to regret now, because Shen Sheng had already tagged him. Shen Feng. Jiat Nan is very difficult. Who said he is missing? He is not here. Xiao Jia, your wife is hungry, go and save her. In the private chat on the other side, Li Ting sent a fat beat emoticon to Jiat Nan. Jiat Nan responded with a crying emoji, then replied to Shen Feng in the group. "Jiat Nan, she is hungry and I have diarrhea. She couldn't find me just now because I was busy looking for the toilet." Jiat Nan, I'm about to bring up last year's New Year's Eve dinner. Brother Shen, Wanwan, just listen and I'll leave it to you. As he said this, Jiat Nan, as if to add credibility, also posted a selfie of himself in the toilet. Shang Wei, damn, Jiat Nan, why are you posting a photo of the toilet at lunchtime? Shang Wei, send me a red envelope to compensate me. Otherwise I will send you pictures of the toilet for every meal to disgust you. Jiat Nan silently sent out the red envelope he had just received from Shen Feng. But this time, Shen Feng also sent a message. Shen Feng. I can see that you have severe diarrhea. Jayatnam, how did you figure that out? Shenfeng, you were so anxious that you didn't even take off your pants. Jayatnam. Damn, I was careless. However, Shenfeng and Zhang Wanwan thought about it and decided to go to the cafeteria to take a look, not just to help Li Tingting. The main thing is that they are friends with Li Tingting. And since Li Tingting is here, they should meet each other. As for Chen Wei, that is not something Shenfeng and Zhang Wanwan should be concerned about. Shenfeng and Zhang Wanwan went to the cafeteria and soon met Li Tingting. Li Tingting glanced at Shenfeng and Zhang Wanwan. I want to see from their faces what is wrong with their relationship. But to be honest, Li Tingting couldn't see anything. She even felt that there was not only no problem with the relationship between the two, but they were even closer than before. Li Tingting couldn't help but shiver. Is this the acting that was praised by the old movie Emperor? Even if there is a conflict between the two people, they can still appear to be in love in front of outsiders. So strong indeed. Listen, why don't you come and play with us first when you come? We don't have anything to do right now and we are all free. Zhang Wanwan sat next to Li Tingting, took Li Tingting's hand and asked. Li Tingting looked at Shenfeng who was sitting opposite Zhang Wanwan. My heart skipped a beat again. It's over, there really is a problem between Shensheng and Zhang Wanwan. Otherwise, why would Shenfeng sit opposite Zhang Wanwan instead of next to her? Li Tingting kept speculating about the current relationship between Shensheng and Zhang Wanwan. At the same time, he tried his best to smile and said to Zhang Wanwan, I just arrived not long ago, by the way. How are you and brother Shen doing now? Us? Zhang Wanwan looked at Shenfeng and said. There is indeed a problem. Li Tingting let out a long sigh in his heart. Zhang Wanwan glanced at Shenfeng before answering. During that 1.25-second eye contact, Zhang Wanwan must have gone through a complex psychological struggle before she finally lied with a forced smile. Your love, what happened? Chapter 203 Truth or Dare. Chen Wei is queuing in the cafeteria. As she expected, because of Jayatnam's delay, when she arrived at the cafeteria, there was already a long queue in the cafeteria. After all, there are 200 contestants alone, plus there are just as many staff members as the contestants. So the cafeteria is still very busy. Chen Wei looked at the team in front. She has been waiting in line for several minutes. If there are 5 or 6 people in front of her, it will be her turn. But before Chen Wei could be happy, suddenly she saw Shenfeng and Zhang Wanwan in a corner of the cafeteria. Chen Weiran was stunned at that time. She came too late after all. Shenfeng and Zhang Wanwan have come to the cafeteria by themselves. What should I do? When Chen Wei was struggling, she found that there was no food on Shenfeng's table. Did they just arrive too? No time to order yet? Chen Wei felt that she had found another opportunity to make a contribution. She took out her cell phone and sent a message to Shenfeng. Chen Wei, boss, do you want to get food? I'm in line at the second window and it'll be my turn soon. I can get you food. Shenfeng quickly replied. Shenfeng. No, I don't need to queue up to get my food. Chen Wei covered her face with her hands. Yes, can the treatment of other mentors be the same as that of their contestants? This team has been lined up in vain. Chen Wei sighed and was about to walk out of the cafeteria. But just walked out of the cafeteria. Her stomach started to growl. Only then did she remember. She seems to be having lunch too. Chen Wei could only walk back to the cafeteria silently and line up at the end of the line again. While Chen Wei was queuing in pain, Shenfeng, Zhang Wanwan, and Jia Tanan, who had just arrived, took Li Tingting to get food. For people sat at a table. Shenfeng and Zhang Wanwan were eating while chatting with Jia Tanan Li Tingting. But Jia Tanan and Li Tingting were very busy. While eating, while chatting, while observing Shenfeng and Zhang Wanwan, while winking at each other. Zhang Wanwan saw Jia Tanan and Li Tingting making faces at each other and whispered to Shenfeng, Are they having a quarrel? It was suspicious that Jia Tanan left Li Tingting alone in the cafeteria. Now they are glaring at each other. It feels like there is a conflict. Shenfeng smiled and said, Isn't it normal for a couple to have some minor conflicts? Are we abnormal then? Zhang Wanwan looked at Shenfeng. Shenfeng reached out and flicked Zhang Wanwan's head. Then we'd better stay abnormal. This looks like an intimate action. At this moment, the situation also changed in the eyes of Jia Tanan and Li Tingting. They have already taken direct action. Is the problem so serious? Jia Tanan whispered. Li Tingting nodded with a heavy expression. It seems that simply stopping Chen Wei will not have any effect. We must find the root of the problem. After dinner, Zhang Wanwan wanted to go to the entertainment terrace upstairs with Li Tingting. However, Jia Tanan pulled Li Tingting back to the dormitory. After returning to the dormitory, the two discussed a plan to save the relationship between Shenfeng and Anwan. I have an idea. Li Tingting said, Truth or dare? What's the point of this? Do you think playing truth or dare can make Shen Feng and Zhang Wan tell us the reasons for their relationship problems? If they can openly tell us the reasons, they won't have to pretend in front of us now. Even if we don't tell them the reason, we can still use this method to make them recall their past together and remember the beauty of love. Maybe they can reconcile and get back together while playing together. Jayatnam thought about it and finally nodded. That's fine. This is at least a solution, we can give it a try. Then I'll go and ask Brother Shen and the others to come tonight. Li Tingting pulled Jiatnan back and said, wait a minute. If it's just the four of us playing, our purpose will be too obvious. Do you have any other trustworthy people? Call a few more? Jiatnan pondered for a moment, then said, Shen Feng's sister, Zhao Wanwan's brother, and their agent. Are these people okay? Good. After discussing the plan, Jiatnan and Li Tingting started to act in the afternoon. During training, Jiatnan found Jiang Tianming and told him that he was planning to have a small party in the evening. Shen Feng and Zhang Wanwan would both go, and asked Jiang Tianming if he wanted to come. Jiang Tianming knew that Jiatnan was a friend of his brother-in-law and he had been taken care of by Jiatnan in the past few days. So he naturally had no objection. Jiatnan asked Jiang Tianming to invite Liu Ya to join them, and Jiang Tianming agreed. And the other side, as a special guest, Li Tingting visited the set with Shen Feng and Zhang Wanwan. After the visit, Li Tingting asked Shen Sheng and Zhang Wanwan if they wanted to have a party together in the evening. Zhang Wanwan was naturally very happy. Since Zhang Wanwan agreed, Shen Sheng naturally would not refuse. Sister Lin happened to be there, so Li Tingting invited her as well. Sister Lin originally refused, but Zhang Wanwan also wanted Sister Lin to play more and relax. Under the joint pressure of Li Tingting and Zhang Wanwan, Sister Lin agreed. Then, that evening, in a small KTV box in the entertainment area on the 6th floor, Shen Feng, Zhang Wanwan, Jiang Tianming, Li Ya, Sister Lin, Jia Tenan, and Li Tingting, 7 people gathered together. There was nothing particularly obvious about Jiatnan and Li Tingting. They asked everyone to play truth or dare right from the start. Instead, just drink some drinks, chat and sing songs normally. After everyone else sang a few songs, Jayatnam took the microphone. Everyone ran out immediately. Jayatnam quickly called everyone back. Don't go, it's okay if I don't sing. It's okay. Just sing. Shen Feng's tone was very gentle. You sing yours, and we hide ours, so as not to delay us. Forget it. I won't sing anymore, let us play a game. Jayatnan finally showed his true colors, and took out a set of truth or dare that he had prepared long ago. He asked his assistant to buy this in the afternoon. He had also read all the questions in it, and they were basically all related to love. It fits Jayatnam's requirements very well. Because everyone had been singing for a long time and having fun together, it didn't seem out of place when Jayatnan suggested playing truth or dare. Zhang Wanwan agreed immediately. Liu Ya and the others had no objections either. Only Shen Feng took a closer look at the truth or dare deck that Jayatnan took out from his pocket. He looked at Jayatnam twice more. But in the end, he didn't say much. Everyone sat in a circle. Jayatnan took out the dice and cards and briefly explained the rules. There are 2 types of cards, one is truth or dare and the other is dare. Everyone rolls the dice, and the person with the fewest points gets to choose a card to draw. Those who choose truth or dare have to answer the question on the card truthfully. Those who choose dare have to complete the requirements on the card. The rules are so simple. Then, let me start first. Then very cool. A 1 was thrown out. Jayatnan. Zhang Wanwan chuckled and pushed the cards to Jayatnan. Just choose. No, what if someone else has the same number as me? Jayatnam said, struggling lie. But you know what? After the others threw the numbers around, 2 of them actually got 1. They are Liu Ya and Sister Lin. 3 people re-roll. Jayatnam, who rolled the dice first, actually threw a 5. Jayatnam himself showed a shocked expression. Then he said proudly, this is called luck. God will not let me go. Then Liu Ya and Sister Lin each threw out a 6. Jiang Tianming, who was standing by, poured a drink for Jayatnan. Teacher Jayatnan, is this what you call luck? Jayatnam covered his face in frustration. He is doing deep self-examination and reflection. He shouldn't play this kind of game of luck. Chapter 200 for mainly because I can run faster than her. Truth and dare. Jayatnam finally chose the truth. Because he felt that with his luck, he would most likely not draw any cards from the mortal world when he drew the adventure. The most you can do when you ask the truth is to answer a question. If you are unlucky, at most you will get a more private question. Jayatnam draws a card from truth. Then his face turned green. This question is not really private, but it's a little hard to answer. Honestly, please tell me the 5 shortcomings of your current boyfriend, girlfriend, wife, husband. Jayatnan. Jayatnan looked at Li Tingting. And Li Ting was also looking at Jiat Nan. The expression on his face was quite gentle. Can I change the question? Jiat Nam looked at the others helplessly. In the end, everyone shook their heads in unison. Jiat Nan spread his hands. Well, then I said that she is so beautiful that after I saw her, I don't want to look at other women. Does this count? What the hell? Zhang Wanwan rejected directly. Jiat Nan, you are the one who suggested playing this game. How can you play it if you don't take it seriously yourself? Jiat Nam felt aggrieved. Why did I suggest playing this game? Isn't it all for you and Shen Feng to reconcile? There was no other way. So Jiat Nan had to bite the bullet and said, Li Ting, she is a little short? Li Ting is accumulating strength. Then, every time he calls me, he would nag me for a long time and say a lot of useless things. Li Ting's power is 40. I can't cook, I'm not very good at housework. I can't even wash clothes, I'm very stupid in this area. Li Ting's power is 60. And sometimes she's very lazy and doesn't like to exercise. I've wanted to take her on a trip many times, but she always said she'd rather sleep more. Li Ting's power is 80. Oh, there's one more thing. She's very vain. She takes a long time to put on makeup every time. I've clearly told her that she looks good no matter what. But she still scolds me, saying that I'm too perfunctory and distrait. If you want to go out with her, you should go 1 or 2 hours early. Li Ting came over with a smile. I have so many shortcomings. But you are still willing to be with me. It's really hard for you. Her hands pinched Jiat Nan's ears. Lifted up with force. Jiat Nan screamed in pain and said hurriedly, People are not saints. Everyone has shortcomings. This is normal. Although you have shortcomings, you have more advantages. That's why I like you. Huh, that sounds like human language. Only then did Li Ting let go of Jiat Nan. Jiat Nan let out a painful breath. He knew it very well. On the surface, Li Ting let him go. But he understood that Li Ting was the type of person who liked to settle scores later. When the two of them were alone later, who knows how Li Ting will torment him. After Jiat Nan completed the truth or dare task, everyone started the second round of the game. This time, Jiat Nan simply chose not to participate in the game. He felt that with his luck, if he continued playing, he would definitely have the lowest score. In the second round of dice rolling, Zhang Tianming had the lowest score. Zhang Tianming is indeed a playboy who often hangs out in various places. He is quite courageous and directly chooses to take the risk. He didn't do any metaphysical card drawing, but just picked up the top card directly. After turning it over, Zhang Tianming was delighted. Big dare, say the name of the person you like out loud. And if he is present, say I love you, to her him again. Zhang Tianming directly picked up the microphone and shouted out the 3 words Liuya. Then he looked at Liuya and said sincerely, I love you. Everyone started to make a fuss. Liuya's face was completely red at this moment. He covered his face with his hands and slid under the sofa, wishing he could hide under the table. In the third round, Zhang Wanwan had bad luck and rolled the only 1 point in this round. She hesitated during the truth or dare game. In the end, to be on the safe side, I chose the truth. Honestly, what's the most sorry thing you've ever done to someone you love? Seeing this question, Jiat Nan and Li Ting both became interested. In their opinion, Shen Feng and Zhang Wanwan must be having a conflict now. Contradictions all have their sources. Either it's Shen Feng's problem or it's Zhang Wanwan's problem. This sincere word can just test whether the problem lies with Zhang Wanwan. Zhang Wanwan looked at the question and thought about it carefully. I'm sorry about Shen Feng. Has she ever done anything to let Shen Feng down? Think twice. Zhang Wanwan suddenly clapped her hands. I remember now. Li Ting and Jiat Nan pricked up their ears to listen. Then Zhang Wanwan said, it turned out that Feng Zi and I climbed over the wall to skip class. But we were discovered by the teacher in the end. I left Feng Zi behind to take the blame and ran away. I think I am very sorry for him. That's it? Li Ting and Jiat Nan were both disappointed. Especially Li Ting. She took Zhang Wanwan's hand and asked, Wanwan, think about it carefully. Had you really not done anything else to let him down? Zhang Wanwan shook her head. Li Ting was a little disappointed. But it be that the source of the conflict was not Zhang Wanwan, but Shen Feng. Sister Lin at the side laughed and said, I thought you two shared happiness and hardships, but I didn't expect that you would enjoy happiness and he would bear the hardships. Zhang Wanwan said twice, we obviously share the good times and the bad times. Sometimes he takes the brunt of the troubles, and sometimes we both take the brunt of the troubles. I'm not always so disloyal, right Feng Zi? Zhang Wanwan looked at Shen Feng. Shen Feng, on the other hand, looked thoughtful. After a moment, he said, before you can climb over the wall and run away by yourself. We are all in the same boat. And ever since you were able to climb over the wall and run away by yourself, I have been the one to bear the brunt of the trouble. Zhang Wanwan coughed lightly. If we are caught together, the teacher will definitely suspect that we are in a premature relationship. And we will both be beaten if you are caught by yourself. At most, it will be considered an attempted skipping of class. And the teacher will just give you a few verbal criticisms and educate you. In fact, I also wanted to share the hardship with you at that time. But in order to avoid being called to school, I had no choice but to leave you alone. In fact, every time I saw you being arrested, I felt very sorry for you. Shenfeng touched her head. You don't have to explain and I won't blame you. If I were to choose, I would choose the one who is in trouble. Li Yuya asked curiously, brother, to be honest, you have taken the blame so many times. Have you ever thought about letting Sister Wanwan stay and take the blame for a few times? Shenfeng shook his head. I haven't thought about it. Li Yuya's eyes sparkled. You have been doting on Sister Wanwan since high school. Shensheng shook his head again. No, it's mainly because I couldn't outrun her when I was in high school. Every time the teacher came, she would run away. I couldn't let her take the blame. Li Yuya. Chapter 205. Go back and kneel down. Don't embarrass yourself outside. A game of truth or dare was played for several rounds. Li Ting, Sister Lin, Li Yuya and Zhang Qianming were all picked several times. But Shenfeng's luck seems to have always been good. From beginning to end, there were no particularly low scores. This made Li Ting and Jiat Nan a little anxious. Judging from the current situation, the source of the conflict between Shenfeng and Zhang Wanwan does not lie with Zhang Wanwan. And they can only start with Shenfeng. Seeing this, Shenfeng threw out another 6. Jiatnam cleared his throat, and then began to agitate the crowd. Friends, except for me who quit the game, each of you has played a round or two of Truth or Dare. But Shenfeng is the only one who has never played it. Isn't this unfair? Li Ting also fanned the flames. Yeah, brother Shen, you haven't played Truth or Dare once. And you just watched us make a fool of ourselves, how can this be okay? As the two of them fanned the crowd, Zhang Qianming also started to join in the fun. Brother-in-law, you should draw one to otherwise. It would be boring just to throw the dice without you feeling any involvement at all. He has always been a person who enjoys watching the fun and no matter how big the event. Shenfeng didn't refuse. He reached out and drew a truth card. True talk, name all your exes. No predecessor. Shenfeng said. I have answered the questions it's your turn next? Jiat Nan quickly snatched the truth card away. No, this doesn't count, we all know you don't have an ex. So you don't need to answer, draw a new one. Shenfeng still did not refuse and picked another one at random. Honestly, why did you break up with your ex? Are you still in touch? No predecessor. Shenfeng said again. Is it your turn now? Jiat Nan. He snatched the truth again. And take out all the cards related to X from the stack of truth cards. He slammed the screen truth cards on the table. Said, it didn't count just now, but it will count this time. I don't believe you can draw a card related to your ex this time. Shensheng drew another one. True truth, you and your ex. Jiat Nan. He looked at the cards he had sorted out in his hand. He looked again at the stack of cards on the table that Shenfeng had just drawn. Jiat Nan. Sorry, I put the wrong card. He quickly replaced the 2 stacks of cards and asked Shensheng to draw again. And this time, Shenfeng finally didn't draw a card related to his ex. Truth be told, do you have a crush on someone of the same sex? What's their name? No, Shenfeng said. Is it okay this time? Jiat Nan and Li Ting both covered their faces. Why does Shenfeng always get some messy questions? Shenfeng had been asked to draw again several times before. If this one didn't count again, Jiat Nan and Li Ting felt that Shenfeng would definitely be suspicious. So after Shensheng answered this question, Jiat Nan could only let the game continue. But fortunately, Shenfeng's good luck seems to have run out. In the next round of dice rolling, Shenfeng rolled a perfect one. He became the person with the lowest score in the whole game. Jiat Nan took a deep breath. Just now, when Shenfeng and others were rolling the dice, he secretly sorted out the Truth or Dare deck again. Now all the messy problems in there have been picked out and thrown away by Jiat Nan. All those left are rather sharp, dealing with issues concerning how couples or husbands and wives get along with each other. He just didn't believe that Shenfeng could draw any messy questions from the truth this time. Then he saw Shenfeng draw the adventure card. Big dare, kiss a random person of the same sex present. Jiat Nan. Damn, I was careless. Why did Shensheng choose the adventure game instead? Shensheng took the card. He glanced at the other 2 men present. Jiat Nan, Zhang Qianming. Then he said helplessly, can I be your dearest brother? Can't. Li Yuya stood there and cheered, you have to kiss a man. Do you think Wanwan is not manly enough? Shenfeng asked back. Li Yuya. She couldn't refute it for a moment. Finally, Shenfeng kissed Zhang Wanwan, and completed the adventure mission. It's not that other people are more tolerant. The main reason is that neither Zhang Qianming nor Jiat Nan wants to be the one being kissed. In the next round of the game, it was Shen Feng who threw the lowest score again. Shen Feng chose to tell the truth this time. The card he drew this time almost made Jayat Nan and Li Ting cry with excitement. Honestly, do you think you and your partner are harmonious now? If not, whose problem is it? Jayat Nan and Li Ting had noticed this card before. This is also the card they most hope Shen Feng and Zhang Wanwan will draw. Chen Cheng looked at the question twice. Then he said, "It's very harmonious." All answered, "Next round." Wait a moment. Jayat Nan quickly stopped Shen Feng. "Brother Shen. This is truth or dare, we have to be sincere when playing games. You can't answer against your conscience." Shen Feng raised his eyes and looked at Jayat Nan. "Why, you mean there shouldn't be harmony between Wanwan and I?" Jayat Nan choked. Then he smiled awkwardly and waved his hands, saying, "That's not what I meant, I just." Shen Feng nodded, turned around and walked out. Jayat Nan was startled, thinking that Shen Feng was angry, and hurriedly said, "Brother Shen, don't leave, He was just about to chase after him. But unexpectedly, Shen Feng came back again. But he was pushing a small robot in his hand. It was the intelligent robot that Zhang Wanwan teased in the base lobby that day. Director Tian moved the robot to the 6th floor because he was worried that the contestants would keep fiddling with the robot in the lobby and break it. Shen Cheng pushed it in front of everyone and said, "This robot has a lie detection function. Put your face in front of the camera and put your hand on the touch area. And it will determine whether what you say is true or false. If you feel my answer is not sincere enough, why not use it as a testimony?" Jayat Nan found it interesting and approached the robot. As Shen Feng said, he placed his hand on the touch-sensitive area and faced the camera. And he said, "I'm very handsome. Edie, the system cannot recognize your appearance. Please align your face with the camera correctly." Jayat Nan. "Am I so ugly that I can't be recognized? This is the truth." Jayat Nam fuck. Chen Cheng turned on all the lights in the box. And then said, "The rule was too dark just now, so it had problems recognizing it. Try again." "I'll do it." Li Ting squeezed Jayat Nan aside and stood in front of the robot. "Jayat Nan sings really well." "Didi, that's a lie. Jayat Nam said bad things about me before. But I'm not angry at all." "Didi, that's a lie. I really want to give Jayat Nam a good beating." "Didi, this is the truth." Jayat Nan. He quietly distanced himself from Li Ting. And he whispered to Li Ting, "Is it too late for me to kneel down now? A man's knees are made of gold." Li Ting said gently, "Oh, back and kneel down, don't embarrass yourself in public." Chapter 206, Should I follow the procedure or just laugh? After verifying that there was nothing wrong with the robot's lie detection system, Jayat Nan began to ask Shen Feng to answer the question just now. "Honestly, do you think you and your partner are harmonious now? If not, whose problem is it?" This question is very targeted. It can be determined most intuitively whether there is any problem between Shen Feng and Zhang Wanwan. Shen Chen placed his hand on the touch screen and turned his face towards the camera. Then he said calmly, "The relationship between us is very harmonious." Both Jayat Nan and Li Ting were waiting for the robot to prompt, "This is a lie." But they didn't wait. "Edie, this is the truth. This shouldn't be happening." Jayat Nan looked at the machine strangely. "Brother Shen, try telling another lie." "Shen Feng. I love Jayat Nam." "Didi, that's a lie." Jayat Nan. And answer me again, is the relationship between you and Wanwan harmonious? "It's very harmonious." "Edie, this is the truth." Jayat Nan covered his head in disbelief. How could this happen? Zhang Wanwan looked at Jayat Nan strangely. "How can it not be like this? We are very harmonious with each other." Jayat Nan, is there something wrong with you today? I always feel like something is not right with you. Faced with Zhang Wanwan's questioning gaze, Jayat Nan subconsciously took a step back. He said with a guilty conscience, "Something is wrong with me." "There's something so wrong with you." Zhang Wanwan's eyes became sharp. She said in a cold voice, "Ever since I first drew the truth, you seem to be particularly interested in whether I have done anything to let Shen Feng down. Afterwards, when Shen Feng drew the cards, you sorted out all the cards in the truth or no matter. And the ones left were basically about couples and lovers getting along with each other. Now Shen Feng has to answer whether the relationship between me and I is harmonious or not. And you are questioning Shen Feng's answer. It seems that in your heart, Shen Feng and I should not be harmonious." Zhang Wanwan picked up a beverage bottle and pointed it at Jayat Nan. "Jia, what are your intentions? Tell me now." Zhang Wanwan still has a lot of momentum. When she picked up the bottle, she looked like a female gangster ready for a fight. The only flaw was that there was still drink in the bottle that Zhang Wanwan took. And the bottle cap was not screwed on properly. The drink spilled all over Zhang Wanwan. Shen Feng quickly took some paper and wiped Zhang Wanwan. Then helped Zhang Wanwan sit down and whispered, "Brother Wan, leave it to me." Yes, there must be something wrong with this Jayatnam. I must find out for myself. Zhang Wanwan sat on the sofa and directed Shenfeng. Now she doesn't look like a female gangster anymore, but more like a female boss. Shenfeng pulled Jayatnan to sit down. He said to Jayatnan in a calm tone, Xiao Jia, tell me, what happened to you today? Jayatnan looked ready to die and said nothing. Xiao Jia, we are all brothers, there is no need for you to hide it from me. Jayatnam still had a lot of nerve. Tell me the truth and I'll give you money. Jayatnam still gritted his teeth and said nothing. If you don't tell me, I will tell Li Tingting the bank card number and password where you secretly hid your money. And let her see how much private money you have hidden. Jayatnan. Li Tingting? Li Tingting grabbed Jayatnan by the collar and said, how dare you hide your private money? Jayatnan looked at Shenfeng painfully. Shenfeng, if you don't tell me your bank card number and password now, I'm doomed, I hate you. Shenfeng said casually, that's different. Now Li Tingting only knows that you hid your private money on one card. If you let me tell you, I will tell you the account numbers and passwords of all your cards. Jayatnan almost vomited blood. How do you know I have so many cards? Okay, you still have several cards? Then Li Tingting pulled Jayatnan's hand even harder. Jayatnan looked at Li Tingting humbly and said, Ting, listen to my explanation, this is all a misunderstanding. Let's solve the problem between Shenfeng and Zhang Wanwan first. Can we postpone solving our problem later? Okay, you'd better give me an explanation later, or I'll finish you off. Jayatnan, who was released by Li Tingting, looked at Shenfeng and Zhang Wanwan pitifully. I came here with good intentions to help you, but why am I the one who got hurt the most? Okay, we are all friends, so I will just speak frankly today. Jayatnam took a deep breath. Then he looked at Shenfeng and Zhang Wanwan and said solemnly, you two don't have to pretend anymore. I know that your relationship is not harmonious now. It has even reached a precarious point. Shenfeng, Zhang Wanwan, not only the two of them but also Sister Lin, Liu Yan, Jiang Tianming all looked at Jayatnan as if he was a lunatic. Are they not getting along? Even to the point of being in danger? If Shenfeng and Zhang Wanwan can be considered to have a disharmonious relationship, and all other couples in the world should be considered to have become enemies, right? Jayatnan, if you say that you and Li Tingting are not on good terms now, then I believe it. Shenfeng said, this is all your fault. By the way, how did you know that I have several bank cards to hide my private money? Jayatnam said very angrily. Shenfeng spread his hands. I don't know, I just said it casually to trick you. Jayatnan. He suddenly pointed at Shenfeng. Wanwan. I know Shenfeng also has a bank card to hide his private money. Impossible. Zhang Wanwan said this with confidence. Because I'm the one who pays him. Jayatnam was depressed. Shenfeng patted him and comforted him. Then he said, okay, don't dwell on this, tell me, why do you think there's discord between Zhang Wanwan and me? Because I heard it with my own ears. Jayatnan said. I heard that after arriving at the base, I wanted to go play with you and Wanwan. As a result, when I arrived at the door of your room, I heard the voices of Wanwan and the woman named Chen Wei coming from inside the room. Wanwan asked Chen Wei to seduce you so that you two could separate. Your relationship has already deteriorated to this point. Isn't this precarious? After Jayatnan finished speaking, he looked at Zhang Wanwan again. Wanwan, don't blame me for telling the truth. Shencheng is a brother who sticks out to me at all times. I must help him, and I must help you. After saying these words, Jayatnam let out a long sigh as if he was relieved. He looked at the other people in the box. I thought I could see the same worry and shock on these people's faces. But the others, however, were looking at Jayatnan and Li Tingting with very strange eyes. What are you doing? Why are you all looking at us like that? Jayatnan felt his back crawling when these people were looking at him. He shivered, hugged Li Tingting tightly, and asked. Jiang Tianming did not answer him, but looked at Shenfeng. Should I laugh now? Should I follow the procedure or just laugh? Just laugh. Shenfeng said. Jiang Tianming, Liu Yan and others couldn't hold back anymore and laughed wildly. Chapter 207 Shenfeng's Ingenious Plan. Oh my god. So that's what happened. Why didn't you tell me before? We were worried for nothing. After Shenfeng told Jayatnan about Chen Wei's affairs, Jayatnan was completely embarrassed. It's just embarrassment opening the door to embarrassment, it's extremely embarrassing. You didn't ask us. Zhang Wanwan said. Thank you anyway. Shenfeng patted Jayatnan on the shoulder. You are really a good brother for caring about us so much. Jayatnan shook off Shenfeng's arm in grievance, pouted and tilted his head to the side. Good brother, what the hell? How can you treat your good brother like this? You've exposed all of my past, you can wait to collect my body tomorrow. Shenfeng smiled, then looked at Li Tingting and said. Ting, actually Jayatnan hid the private money not for himself. He wants to save money so that he can buy you a gift on your birthday, as a surprise. Li Tingting looked at Jiat Nan doubtfully. Why does he need to prepare several cards when he can just use one card to hide his private money? It's called not putting all your eggs in one basket. He was afraid that if you found out he would hide it in one card, and then he wouldn't be able to give you a surprise. That's why he saved several more. Real? Li Tingting looked at Jiat Nan. Really, of course it's true. Jiat Nan said hurriedly. He looked at Shen Feng with gratitude. Fortunately, Shen Feng found a reason for him, otherwise he would really be in danger of his life today. Li Tingting thought about it and suddenly said, "No, Brother Shen, didn't you say before that you were not sure whether Jiat Nan had hidden private money? How come you even know the reason why he hid the money now? Are you lying to me?" Shen Sheng hugged Jiat Nan and said with a brotherly look, "We are good brothers, of course I know him very well. I know exactly what he wants to do by hiding the money. Yes, this is the tacit understanding between brothers." Jiat Nan nodded quickly. "Listen, you don't believe me, but you also don't believe Brother Shen." Li Tingting was still skeptical. Suddenly she saw the robot next to her. Li Tingting took Jiat Nan to the side of the robot and asked Jiat Nan to repeat the reason why he hid the money in front of the robot and let the robot take a lie detector test. Jiat Nan turned pale with fright. Seeing that Jiat Nan's lie was about to be exposed, Shen Feng suddenly shouted at the robot, "Who is the god of song?" The robot beeped twice. "The god of song is Jiat Nan. Searching for Jiat Nan's songs and playing them for you. There is no single by Jiat Nan in the music library. But I found a video clip of Jiat Nan, Love Until Death, which will be played soon." The image of Jiat Nan singing popped up. Everyone in the room immediately ran out of the box. Even Li Tingting didn't bother to interrogate Jiat Nan, and ran out into steps at a time. Jiat Nan, who had escaped, walked to Shen Feng and whispered to him, "Brother Shen, you still have a solution. Thank you, don't thank me." Shen Feng patted Jiat Nan on the shoulder. "The one who saved you is you. Besides, Li Tingting is a top student from Peking University and Tingshui University after all. He is not so easy to fool. I can only save you temporarily, not forever. What shall we do then?" After thinking about it, Shen Feng wrote a note, folded it carefully and handed it to Jiat Nan. "If Li Tingting doesn't let you go tonight, open this note. It should be able to save your life at the critical moment." Jiat Nan's eyes lit up. The legendary magic trick? Awesome, Brother Shen. He put the note away carefully, and then went back with Li Tingting. Midnight. Jiat Nan, who was punished to kneel on the keyboard, carefully took out the note. There was a phone number written on the note. Jiat Nan looked around and made sure that Li Tingting had gone to the toilet and had not come out yet. Then he quietly dialed the phone number. His heart was full of anticipation. Shen Sheng said that this thing could save his life at a critical moment. He believed that Shen Feng would never betray him at such a critical moment when human lives were at stake. Soon, the call was connected. The somewhat lazy female voice came from the other end of the phone. "Hello, this is the Dewey phone number of the medical room of Mingle Ai Entertainment Training Base. What can I do for you?" Jiat Nan. He hung up the phone silently, and he sent a message to Shen Feng. Jiat Nan is particularly difficult. Shen Feng, damn you. Early the next morning, Chen Wei prepared breakfast and brought it to Shen Feng and Zhang Wanwan. She is in a good mood today. No one bothered her in the morning, so she got her meal very smoothly. After giving breakfast to Shen Feng and Zhang Wanwan, she offered to help Shen Feng and Zhang Wanwan clean the room. Shen Feng said, "You should just focus on training. Besides, you are our employee, not our servant. It is not your job to clean the room." Zhang Wanwan snorted like a bad woman. "If she is willing to do it, let her do it, Chen Wei. Before the morning training starts, you clean up the room for me. Do you hear me?" Chen Wei looked at Zhang Wanwan with gratitude. Zhang Wanwan is indeed a good person. Just like the previous plan, he would not hesitate to pretend to be a villain in front of Shen Feng, but also to give her the opportunity to perform in front of Shen Feng. She cleaned Shen Feng and Zhang Wanwan's room with gratitude. Then, without even having time to rest, he rushed off to training. The knockout round is coming soon, and Chen Wei dare not slack off in training. After the training at noon, she ran to the cafeteria as fast as she could to get lunch for Shen Feng and Zhang Wanwan. He also took away the clothes that Shen Feng and Zhang Wanwan wanted to wash. That's so attentive. But when she saw Shen Feng smiling and saying thank you to her, Chen Wei didn't feel tired at all. Everything is worth it. Wait until noon, when I'm doing laundry in the laundry room. Chen Wei received a call from Guan Heng. "Hey, how's the situation over there? Is the elimination round coming soon?" Guan Heng asked on the other end of the phone. Chen Wei said confidently, "I have already mastered the method to take down Shen Feng. The rest is just a matter of time. Also, I should be able to make it through the elimination rounds. I have a solid foundation, and there won't be many people in my group who can beat me. Guan Heng nodded. Well, that's good by the way, you haven't been exposed. Right? Shen Feng and Zhang Wanwan didn't suspect you. Right? Chen Wei originally wanted to say that she was not exposed. But change your mind. City you knew about her. Liu you knew about her. Zhangqian Yanming knew about her affairs. Even Zhang Wanwan knew about her. She hesitated for a moment, and finally said, maybe. It's not considered revealing. Okay, then you keep up the good work. It will also start to build momentum for you after all. Only when your popularity is high, the rumors about you and Shensheng will be explosive enough when they spread. Orchard Fuyan said that if you do a good job, he will give you extra compensation after it's done. Yes. Chen Wei showed joy on her face. After hanging up the phone, she wiped the sweat from her forehead with her hands wet with laundry water. She turned her head and looked at the sunlight outside through the laundry room window. The midday sun is so dazzling and warm. Today, her plan with Zhang Wanwan went smoothly. Fuyan also said that he would increase her salary. Chen Wei just felt that her future was bright and beautiful, just like the bright sunshine outside. In the afternoon, heavy rain fell in Sichuan City. Chapter 208 Zhangshao Fan Club. 5 days after the premiere of Youth Group, the first elimination round of the show arrived as expected. There were a lot of people in the live broadcast room that day. There were even quite a few viewers who specially changed their IDs. For example, fans of City U all changed their nickname to Take It Easy Skanks. Chen Wei's fans changed their username to Wei Xiao Skanks. They are the two with the most fans. City U has many fans, one reason being that he is strong enough and relies on his hard work to attract fans. Secondly, his appearance and personality are too silly, which forms a contrast with his actual strength, making many viewers find it very interesting. In addition, the duet he sang with Liu Mingyu that time was pretty good. So many of Liu Mingyu's fans also became fans of City U. Only Chen Wei. In addition to her good looks and figure, the main reason for her popularity is marketing. I have to admit that Guan Heng's marketing is really ruthless. Wave after wave of internet trolls wrote notices to create hype for Chen Wei, spending a lot of money to keep Chen Wei's popularity high these days. Although many passers-by think that Chen Wei's popularity is too fake, she has also given birth to many black fans. But as the saying goes, black red is also red, black fans are also fans. It becomes more popular when someone scolds it. As a result, Chen Wei has recently become the most talked about contestant in Youth Group. In addition to the two of them, there are some outstanding contestants who have accumulated their own fans through live broadcasts in the past few days. Even Zhang Tianming has his own fan club. This group of people calls themselves Zhang Xiao's fan club. Although their number is not large, under the topic of Zhang Xiao's fan club, almost all of these fans of Zhang Tianming are very generous. They said that as long as you follow Zhang Tianming and become a fan of Zhang Tianming, you can participate in the lucky draw they organize. Some give fans cash draws, and some give fans mobile phones draws. These raffles attracted a lot of onlookers and paid attention to Zhang Tianming. The most outrageous one was that she said that as long as anyone was a fan of Zhang Tianming, she would draw Zhang Tianming live. It's just the kind of lottery that you get when you draw a big year post. Shensheng had previously asked Zhang Tianming what was going on with these fans. Zhang Tianming himself was speechless. They are all my buddies and friends. They always asked me to go out and play before, but after I met Yuya, I became more obedient and usually don't go out with them. But this time, they saw me on the show and insisted on organizing a fan club. Shen Feng nodded. It turns out they are all rich second generations. No wonder everyone is so generous and willing to participate in the lottery. Zhang Wanwan was puzzled. I can understand the draws for cash and cell phones, but why is there a live broadcast to draw yours? That one was sent by Liuya. Zhang Tianming sighed. This Zhangshao fan club is quite impressive. When the live broadcast started today, other fans entered the live broadcast room quietly. When several people from the Zhangshao fan club entered the live broadcast room, the entire style of the room changed. System Duke Zhangshao fan club Lowly Cigarettes drove a luxury car into the live broadcast room. Welcome. System Duke Zhangshao Support Club Wind and Rain Sorrow rides a flying dragon into the live broadcast room. Welcome. System Baron Zhangshao Support Club Chengxian enters the live broadcast room riding a lion. Welcome. Zhangshao fan club Feng Yu Yuchu. Damn. Who is this Chengxian? Is it Lao Qi's account? How come you are only a baron? Do you have any dignity? Can you please stop embarrassing your brothers? Zhangshao fan club Chengxian. There is nothing I can do. This live broadcast room does not allow gifts, and I cannot level up. Zhangshao fan club Feng Yu Yuchu. Stupid. Go to another live broadcast room to send gifts. This platform has our 1G's live broadcast room. You can send gifts even if it's not broadcasting. Hurry up. Zhangshao fan club Chengxian. Oh. System. Baron Zhengshao Support Club Chengxian rode a lion and left the live broadcast room. 1 minute later, System Duke Zhengshao Support Club Chengxia Heinz Koizen drove a super mecha into the live broadcast room. Welcome, Zhengshao Fan Club Chengxian, he became a duke, and also drew a mecha. Is this a good card? Watching these people chatting, the other audience members basically had the same expression on their faces. Some people were lamenting. Rich guy, can I hug your thigh? Fuck, what is the origin of this Zhengshao Fan Club? He pretended to be a duke while chatting and laughing. Is this the world of the rich? Someone in lemon. Spending money on live streaming platforms is really stupid and rich. I guess it's all my parents' money, so I don't feel bad about it. Does spending money to show off? Others were quite blunt. Bad, because the knockout round had not officially started yet and Jiang Tianming had not played in the game. He could watch the live broadcast from the sidelines. Seeing this group of bad friends coming in high profile, Jiang Tianming also moved to Beng Biyu. He asked Director Tian for a microphone and then walked in front of the camera. Just when the audience thought he was going to make some important speech, then Jiang Tianming said, "Don't you know that if you top up another 100 Zoro yuan, you will get a flashing special effect? You guys are so reluctant to spend this little money. How dare you call yourself a rich second generation? Is there any special effect if I charge another 100? Zero, I asked my assistant to charge it before, but I didn't notice it. Wait a minute." A moment later, System, Flashing Duke Zhengshao Fan Club Loli Cigarettes drove a luxury car into the live broadcast room. Welcome, audience. Director Tian took the assistant director's hand and whispered, "How about we open the gift-giving option again? But the money is for the company," the assistant director said helplessly, and from what they said, it seems that the gifts are all for Zhang Wanwan's live studio, so it can be considered as keeping the money within the family. They just don't want them to send money to Zhang Wanwan's live broadcast room. Director Tian covered his chest and said, "Seeing Zhang Wanwan making money is more painful than losing money myself." Assistant Director Shen Feng, Zhang Wanwan, Li Yuya, Sister Lin and others who were also waiting for the game to officially begin and watching the live broadcast on the sidelines, finally remembered that Jiang Tianming also had the personality of a rich second generation. At this moment, Jiet Nan was holding the hand of Li Ting beside him. "Why didn't I think of asking for his WeChat when I was teaching him to dance a few days ago? Is it too late to ask now?" Li Ting hit Jiet Nan and said, "Can you be a little more manly? Then I won't go for it. I mean, don't think too much, just go." In a lively atmosphere. As soon as 9 o'clock arrived, the first elimination round of youth group officially began. Chapter 209 Little Chen Wei actually received such treatment. The format of the first knockout round is actually very simple. They are members of the same tutor group and they compete internally, fight against each other to determine the final winner. Because there were so many contestants, as many as 200 people, the competition was conducted simultaneously by 16 groups of mentors. The program team also divided the live broadcast room into smaller subordinate rooms, so you can jump to whichever group's game you want to watch. The main live broadcast room will mainly broadcast exciting games. As for the outcome of the competition, it will be judged by 16 mentors. In order to prevent some contestants from having too good a relationship with the mentors and affecting the judging results, the 16 guest mentors will randomly decide which group they will serve as judges through a draw. It's relatively fair. After the competition started, each group of players began to select their opponents by drawing lots. As luck would have it, City U was picked in the first round. I have to compete with a girl in the same group. The girl seemed to know that City U was quite powerful. When she saw that her opponent was City U, her face turned pale. She whispered to City U, "Can you please let me win later? At least don't let me lose too badly?" City U had no experience in getting along with girls, so he said blankly, "Do you want me to sing it worse? That's not what I mean. I just want you to sing a little less well." City U scratched his head and then hummed. The girl looked at City U with gratitude. After spending these days together, the girl has already discovered that City U is a very kind person. She watched City U pick up the microphone and prepare to sing, and she also encouraged City U. Then I heard City U singing Pavarotti's famous song Ave Maria. Earl. Before the song was finished, the girl ran away crying. City U was so scared that he didn't dare to sing. He wanted to chase after her and apologize to the girl at the same time. "I'm sorry, I'm so weak." Because he was not selected to perform. Jiang Tianming, who happened to come to watch his good brother's performance, rushed up and covered City U's mouth with his hand. City U looked at Jiang Tianming innocently. "Did I do anything wrong just now? Why did I make her cry?" Jiang Tianming looked at City U speechlessly. "Didn't you promise the girl not to sing so well? But I've already picked a song that I'm not very good at." Jiang Tianming. He patted City U on the shoulder and said, Brother, if you find a girlfriend, remember to let me visit her. I want to see who is so unlucky. With City you looking confused. The instructor gave him a full score of 10. As for that girl, although he was later caught up by the staff, he still chose to forfeit. Because City U is the favorite, this match was broadcast live in the main live broadcast room. City U made the girl cry, and many bystanders who watched the incident started to complain about City U. This brother is too cruel, bullying a girl like this? What's the point of singing well if you can't behave like a human being? It's really too crazy. He could have surpassed his opponent by singing anything he wanted. But he had to sing so well, not giving his opponent any hope. How cruel. Is there a possibility? A possibility. That he is just stupid and straight? There is a kind of innocent beauty. Right? Stop it, I don't believe there are people that stupid. Director Tian quickly cut the camera in the live broadcast room to another group and changed the subject. Although today is only the first round of eliminations, there are still many things to watch. In addition to the bullying level matches like Situyu, there are also many exciting duels between equally matched opponents. Just like the opponent Chen Wei encountered. Chen Wei's luck was not good today. When she drew lots, she drew the person she least wanted to meet. Chen Wei's mentor focuses on dance, so Chen Wei's program is naturally dance as well. Chen Wei's opponent is a genuine dancer who has graduated from a professional dance school. If we really talk about their skills, they are no worse than their mentors. Among all the contestants in the same group, Chen Wei was the only one she was afraid of being drawn. She was not afraid of anyone else at all. What you fear will come true. However, Chen Wei performed exceptionally well today, performing the dance that she had practiced repeatedly in the past few days, even practicing in the dormitory at night, quite perfectly. Both performances were well received by the audience. Instead, the mentors who were chosen to be judges in this group were in a dilemma. But in terms of dance skills, the instructor could still see that Chen Wei's opponent was slightly stronger. But in terms of appearance and popularity, Chen Wei has the advantage. You have to know that for this kind of idol group, strength is actually ranked second, and popularity and appearance are the key. Moreover, the internet is now full of Chen Wei's press releases. Anyone with a discerning eye can see that this is an attempt to promote Chen Wei. Therefore, the judges and mentors could not give an answer as to who should be the winner. However, halfway through the review, someone found Chen Wei's opponent. Then Chen Wei's opponent left for a while. When she came back, Director Tian suggested that the audience vote to decide the winner of this group. Some viewers like the beautiful Chen Wei, while others think that Chen Wei's opponent is stronger. However, after a round of voting, the one with the highest number of votes was still Chen Wei. However, Chen Wei's opponent was not eliminated either. Because according to the rules of the knockout rounds, players with a score of 100 points can use the points to save their lives and maintain their qualifications. So in this group, both sides stayed in the end. Seeing this scene, Chen Feng whispered a few words to Zhang Wanwan and went to find Director Tian. Director Tian saw Chen Feng coming over, rubbed his hands and said with a smile, "Chen Feng, what's the matter?" Chen Cheng glanced at Director Tian. Then said, "Did you guys tamper with the voting machine just now?" Director Tian looked like he had no idea what Chen Feng was talking about. He waved his hands and said, "How could the voting machine be tampered with? You're thinking too much. On the first day of the show, Wanwan spent 20,000 yuan to have you tamper with the voting machine." Director Tian. He coughed, his face showing some embarrassment. Then he pulled Shen Feng over and whispered, "Shen Feng, there are so many people watching here, don't be so blunt. Besides, don't you know why I tampered with the voting machine?" Shen Cheng raised his eyebrows. "What do you mean? Come on, stop playing dumb. Didn't your studio just find someone to negotiate with Chen Wei's opponent in private? Make Chen Wei's opponent lose, and then let her buy her life with points. I don't know what you used to bribe her. That's why Chen Wei's opponent came to me and asked me to think of a way to make Chen Wei win. I was worried that it would be hard to convince the public if the judges just gave Chen Wei the victory. So I held a vote and controlled the number of votes to make Chen Wei win." After listening to Director Tian's words, Shen Feng understood. It seems that Fu Yan was involved in this again. After thinking about it, he took the initiative to find Chen Wei's opponent. Then she learned from the other party what bargaining chip Fu Yan used to make her choose to admit defeat. $100,000. And the person who found me also said that after the show is finished, as long as I don't tell anyone about this, he will give me some hush money. Chen Wei's opponent is Shen Feng's fan. Facing Shen Feng, he told the truth. Chen Cheng thanked the girl, then went to Zhang Wanwan to ask for a bank card and handed it to the girl. "There's also $100,000 in here," Chen Feng said. The girl blinked her eyes and said, "Are you asking me not to tell anyone about this?" "No need anyway, I have points to buy my life insurance. Winning or losing has no effect on me, I don't care about this matter too much." "No. Chen Chang shook his head. On the contrary. I gave you this 100,000 so that you can tell this matter. You need to quietly spread the news among other contestants, saying that Chen Wei has a financial sponsor who bribed you, and that Chen Wei's victory was unfair. The girl was confused. But isn't she from your studio? Shen Feng did not answer the girl's question, but added, after the matter is completed, I will give you a signed photo of me in Wanwan. It's a deal, I'll do it right away. The girl ran away happily. Shen Cheng returned to Zhang Wanwan. Zhang Wanwan asked curiously, how is it? It's already been arranged, we just have to wait for Sister Lin to find someone to take advantage of the situation. Chen Feng smiled and said, since Fuyan and Guanheng are willing to spend money to buy Water Army and press releases for Chen Wei, then let them buy enough from now on. I'd really like to see how much money they are willing to spend on Chen Wei. That night, two groups of people appeared on Weibo. A group of people said that Chen Wei was able to win because someone bribed Chen Wei's opponent. Moreover, in today's daytime program, several contestants implicitly stated in interviews that Chen Wei's opponent danced better, or that Chen Wei's competition was rigged. Another group of people were just whitewashing Chen Wei frantically. The two groups of people were fighting back and forth on Weibo. The onlookers had a great time enjoying the meal. What they could not have imagined was that the ones who were happier than them were the studios of the Water Army. In a well-known domestic Water Army studio, the boss is directing his employees to work late into the night. Team keep on slandering us, post more evidence from the live broadcast to increase credibility. Team B, you guys are not being strong enough in your whitewash up. How can you justify this? You must mobilize the fans' emotions. The boss was giving orders while feeling emotional in his heart. Damn, I don't know what's going on today. At the same time, two anonymous clients approached him. One asked him to discredit Chen Wei, and the other asked him to clean up Chen Wei. They asked him to smear Chen Wei because during the live broadcast in the daytime, some players mentioned the possibility of Chen Wei fixing the game. The evidence was quite solid and it was not difficult to smear her, so the money they paid was relatively less. He was asked to clear Chen Wei's name, and because the evidence was quite solid and it was difficult to clear the name, the boss asked for a higher price. Based on the principle of not taking advantage of a good deal, the boss took both jobs. So we have the current situation where two groups of internet trolls from the same studio are attacking each other. I guess the people who wanted to clear Chen Wei were probably Shen Feng and Zhang Wanwan's studio, and the ones who wanted to blackmail Chen Wei were probably their enemies. I never thought that a little girl like Chen Wei could receive such treatment. It's incredible, incredible. The boss lit a cigarette. He sighed while smoking. Chapter 210. She's been your girlfriend for a long time. Except City Yu and Chen Wei, Zhang Tianming also successfully qualified. Although Zhang Tianming has an extremely ostentatious Zhang Shao fan club, his victory this time was not due to this group of rich second-generation brothers. Zhang Tianming has good looks to begin with, and he has been receiving special training from J18 and in the past few days. Although his dancing skills may not have improved by leaps and bounds, at least he looks very professional now. Zhang Tianming's opponent is also a male player. In terms of appearance, he is slightly inferior to Zhang Tianming. In terms of dancing ability, he is no match for Zhang Tianming, who has received special training. So Zhang Tianming won this battle cleanly and honestly. And because of the awesome Zhang Shao fan club, Zhang Tianming's match also received a lot of attention and was broadcast in the main LED broadcast room by director Tian. Zhang Tianming's decisive victory attracted many fans. After Zhang Tianming finished his performance, Liu Yaran overexcitedly holding her phone and said to him, "Look, you have gained a lot of followers on Weibo. You are going to be famous. Your performance this time was really amazing. You might really become a big star in the future." Liu Ya spoke excitedly while sliding her fingers across the screen of her phone. Her eyes were fixed on her phone, but she didn't notice that the person she called going to be famous didn't even pay attention to how many fans he had gained or how many viewers he attracted. Zhang Tianming just smiled and looked at Liu Ya. He never told the girl next to him. He never came to this show to become a big star. It's not for the purpose of becoming a big star, training hard, and passing this elimination round. Zhang Tianming simply wanted to stay in the training base. In this way, I can accompany her and stay by her side every day. Crescent Moon. Zhang Tianming spoke softly into Liu Ya's ear. If I can stay after the next elimination round, can you be my girlfriend? Liu Ya seemed not to hear him, turned her head and said to him, "Huh?" Without. Zhang Tianming coughed lightly, then smiled and said, "Let's go and find my brother-in-law and the others." Zhang Tianming said this and was about to leave, but Liu Ya grabbed Zhang Tianming's arm. When Zhang Tianming turned his head subconsciously, a little girl had already stood on tiptoe and kissed him lightly. The kiss seemed to come and go without a trace, but it also deeply touched Zhang Tianming's heartstring. He looked at Liuya, but Liuya turned her head away and whispered to him with her back to him. Silly carrot, there is no need to wait until the next round of eliminations is over. What's the meaning? Jiang Tianming's brain is currently lacking in computing power, and the speed at which it processes information obviously cannot keep up. Liuya turned her head quietly and gave Jiang Tianming a coquettish look. I say, haven't I been your girlfriend for a long time? Do I still need to wait until the next round of eliminations is over? Do I need to explain this? How did you become a playboy? You are such a fool. Jiang Tianming didn't know what to say at this moment. A feeling lingered in his heart. Some things are hard to explain. But he felt that probably is happiness. After the elimination round, more than half of the contestants in youth group left the training base. Although some people use points to buy their lives, logically speaking, the number of contestants eliminated in the end should be less than 100. But in fact, there are still some players who chose to withdraw from the competition due to some personal reasons or because they could not adapt to the training atmosphere. So in the end, the number of contestants left was less than 100, only 98. Because some people used their points to buy their lives, there were only 98 contestants left. These 98 people need to be regrouped. But this time the grouping is more complicated. Youth group has a total of 20 mentors, including 4 chief mentors and 16 guest mentors. The remaining 98 people are divided among 16 guest mentors. And now, these 16 guest mentors will form groups of 4, lead their contestants, and choose to join one of the 4 head mentors. The 4 head mentors, Xin Feng, Zhang Wanwan, Wen Hua, and Liu Mingyu, will each lead 4 guest mentors to form their own teams. Next, the 4 head coaches will personally arrange the training schedule and direction for all the contestants. In addition, the 4 head coaches must personally kick out contestants who are not strong enough during the training process. In the end, each team will only have a maximum of 10 players left. The chief instructor kicks people out personally, which is actually more cruel than the competition between contestants. After announcing the rules for the next round of Youth Group, Director Tian also announced that the recording of Youth Group will be temporarily suspended for 2 days. These 2 days are for the contestants to adjust their condition and ensure they are in the best possible state to meet the next challenges. Of course, the contestants cannot leave the training base unless there are special circumstances. But the instructor is different. Especially, the chief instructor. Shen Feng and Zhang Wanwan left the training base on the first day of the holiday. Shen Feng drove the car provided by the program team. While driving on the road, he asked Zhang Wanwan beside him, "Wan, where do you want to go?" After Zhang Wanwan came to Sichuan City, her relatives also came. After her relatives left, she went to the training base for retreat again. As a result, Zhang Wanwan has not had a good time in Chuanshu City. So when she heard that there was a holiday, Zhang Wanwan immediately pestered Shenfeng and asked Shenfeng to take her out to play. Zhang Wanwan's hands were swiping at the map on her phone, searching for fun places in Chuanshu City. While searching, Zhang Wanwan asked, "Fengzi, do you know where there are pandas? I want to see pandas." "There's one at the Zhonghe Zoo." Shenfeng said, "It's not like you haven't been there before." "Oh, that's different." Zhang Wanwan said, "How can wild boars taste the same as pigs raised in pens?" Shenfeng, although your analogy makes some sense, I have to say that you'd better not think about eating pandas. Zhang Wanwan snorted, "Do you think I'm stupid? Of course I know that. No, I mean it's not tasty." Zhang Wanwan, did you say anything just now? Shenfeng, who is driving, looked calm. When people live long enough, they always want to eat something special to change their taste. Zhang Wanwan looked at Shenfeng for a long time. At the beginning, there was a bit of envy in that look. Maybe he felt that Shenfeng had lived a long life, eaten a lot, and had tried everything, so he was very happy. But gradually, her eyes became a little strange. It seems like he was thinking of something bad. Something special, for a change. The look she gave Shenfeng gradually turned into one of disgust. "You haven't even eaten shit, have you?" Shenfeng glanced at Zhang Wanwan and ignored her. But Zhang Wanwan seemed to be interested at this moment. She looked at Shenfeng with disdain and curiosity, and asked, "Fengzi, you are well informed, let me ask you a century-old question. Which would you rather eat, chocolate-flavored shit or shit-flavored chocolate?" Shenfeng ignored Zhang Wanwan. Zhang Wanwan became excited and kept saying, Fengzi, answer quickly, quick." Shenfeng still ignored her. The car just slowed down gradually and finally stopped at a small side road. Before Zhang Wanwan could wonder what Shenfeng was going to do after parking the car, Shenfeng, who was sitting in the driver's seat, had already unbuckled his seatbelt. He then turned sideways and pressed down on Zhang Wanwan, who was sitting in the passenger seat. He reached out and lifted Zhang Wanwan's chin, smiled and said, "I choose to eat you." As he said that, he kissed Zhang Wanwan on the lips. A long time. Zhang Wanwan looked at Shen Feng with slightly blushing cheeks. With a flat mouth, he asked, so which one is better? Chen Cheng rubbed his forehead helplessly. His younger brother is always inexplicably persistent in certain aspects. 1G, I think you might not be tired enough? He hooked his fingers around Zhang Wanwan's collar and gently lifted it. It seems that in order to make you stop thinking about these messy things, I have to make you think about even more messy things. Chapter 211. I'm afraid of affecting her performance. About an hour later. The car is driving on the road. Zhang Wanwan sat in the passenger seat with a flushed face. She sat there quietly, as quiet as a little girl. Quiet like a serious little girl. Shen Feng was driving and glanced at Zhang Wanwan from time to time. With a smile on his face, he said softly, "What next? Where to go?" "Over there, over there." Zhang Wanwan looked down at the map and obediently gave directions to Shen Feng. Good. Zhang Wanwan finally decided to visit a nearby tourist attraction. Qinjilong Mountain is a very famous scenic spot in Sichuan. The environment is beautiful and the scenery is pleasant. Even many well-known movies have been filmed here. It has been a short while since the school started. So the scenic area is not that busy and there are not too many people crowded together. After Shen Feng and Zhang Wanwan arrived at the scenic spot, Shen Cheng parked the car and then went to buy tickets with Zhang Wanwan. Maybe because there weren't many tourists visiting today, there was basically no queue at the ticket office. The ticket seller was also quite listless. When he saw someone coming, he didn't even look up. While watching a video on his phone, he said, "Show your ID card, ticket price is 60 yuan. And minors can pay half price." Shen Feng and Zhang Wanwan suddenly heard a piano sound coming from the ticket seller's mobile phone. "To Alice." And I saw the ticket seller had an expression as if he had been hit. Zhang Wanwan stood on tiptoe to look inside and found that the salesperson was watching a video of her and Shen Feng playing for hand piano together. Zhang Wanwan looked at it and handed over her and Shen Feng's ID cards. The ticket seller took it without even looking at it, and casually placed it on the sensor beside him, then asked casually, "Name?" While asking, she was operating the computer, as if she was about to print out a receipt. Shen Feng and Zhang Wanwan. Zhang Wanwan said. The ticket seller clicked his tongue and said, "I'm asking for your names, of course. I know I'm looking at Shen Feng and Zhang Wanwan." As she spoke, she finally raised her head and looked at the two people standing in front of the window. Really, a real person? The conductor shouted excitedly. Shen Feng on the side said helplessly, "If we die, we won't come to buy tickets." "Just a moment, I'll get you tickets right away." The ticket seller hurriedly prepared the tickets and handed them to Shen Feng and Zhang Wanwan. Zhang Wanwan said thank you and was about to leave. But the ticket seller hurried out of the ticket office and said to Shen Feng and Zhang Wanwan, "Hey, I'm your fan. Can we take a photo together?" Shen Cheng patted Zhang Wanwan beside him and said, "Don't ask me, my wife has the final say." Sure, as long as it doesn't interfere with your work," Zhang Wanwan said with a smile. She has always been enthusiastic towards her fans. It's different from people like Shen Feng who give fans difficult math problems. The three of them stood together for a photo. The ticket seller happily returned to the ticket office, while Shen Feng and Zhang Wanwan went to the scenic area. In the scenic area, the scenery of Qinjilong Mountain is indeed beautiful, especially when walking on the forest road specially built for the scenic area. Surrounded by shaded trees, the hot summer sun fades under the shade of the trees, leaving only the cool breeze blowing through the mountains and the incessant chirping of cicadas. Although it is not the peak tourist season now, as a well-known tourist attraction, there are still many tourists in the scenic area. In order to avoid trouble, Shen Feng and Zhang Wanwan both put on masks and sunglasses. The two strolled in the scenic area for a while and met many tourists on the way, but no one recognized them. There is a small mountain spring not far away. A scenic area also built a pavilion here. Many tourists take photos here. Zhang Wanwan also thought the scenery here was nice, so she wanted Shen Feng to take a photo of her. She was sitting in the pavilion, and there were a few people sitting next to her, all taking pictures. Zhang Wanwan didn't mind joining them. She posed and waited for Shen Feng to take pictures. But before Shen Feng could take a photo, suddenly, there was a series of squeaking sounds coming from the side. Immediately afterwards, several monkeys jumped out from nowhere. There are always a lot of monkeys in the Qinjilong Mountain scenic area, and the monkeys are very brave. Monkeys often fight with tourists, steal their belongings, and even hurt them. Therefore, there are special crutches for sale in the scenic area to drive away monkeys. After this group of monkeys jumped into the pavilion, they directly grabbed several tourists' backpacks, shoulder bags, or drinks and food in their hands. He grabbed it with all his might, as if he was risking his life. He looked extremely skilled, and it was obvious that this was not the first time he had done such a robbery. Several tourists who were taking photos with Zhang Wanwan were also entangled by the monkeys. The girls were frightened and screamed, not knowing what to do for a moment. As for Zhang Wanwan, the small shoulder bag she was carrying was also targeted by the monkey. A monkey grabbed the bag in Zhang Wanwan's hand with all its might, as if it would take the bag away, even if it had to break Zhang Wanwan's neck. Standing next to Shen Feng were a few tourists who also wanted to take photos of their companions. They all picked up the monkey repelling sticks they had bought earlier and tried to scare the monkeys away. But these monkeys seem to be very experienced when it comes to crutches. He hid behind the person, using him as a human shield to avoid the attack of the crutch. Next to Shen Feng, an old man saw that Zhang Wanwan was also robbed. But Shen Cheng was indifferent, so he quickly gave his crutches to Shen Feng. "Young man, go and help quickly." Shen Cheng glanced at Zhang Wanwan, then looked at the monkey that was trying to snatch Zhang Wanwan's bag. "Shen Feng, who to help?" "The old man, help your girlfriend." "What's wrong with you, young man?" "That won't be necessary," Shen Feng said. "I'm afraid it will affect her performance." The old man, who didn't understand what Shen Feng meant, was thinking about helping Zhang Wanwan drive the monkey away. But before he could make a move, Zhang Wanwan took action herself. Seeing the monkey desperately pulling at her bag, Zhang Wanwan cooperated and took the bag off her neck. The monkey squeaked, and a look of joy seemed to appear on its face, as if the trophy had been obtained. But before the monkey could be happy for even a second, Zhang Wanwan took off her shoulder bag and suddenly picked up the strap of the bag. "First, swing your arms backwards to accumulate strength. Then, throw it heavily to the ground." Bang! With a dull thud, the shoulder bag and the monkey that was holding the bag tightly were all smashed to the ground by Zhang Wanwan's swing. The monkey was knocked unconscious by the fall. He lay straight on the ground, not moving at all. The other monkeys that had been squeaking non-stop a second ago, as well as the other tourists who were frightened and screaming for help, were now silent. Everyone and the monkey looked at Zhang Wanwan. There was a moment of silence in the pavilion. The only sound was the sound of the old man's cane falling to the ground. Zhang Wanwan calmly picked up her bag and slowly walked towards the other tourist closest to her. The tourist's backpack was also being pulled by a monkey, which even tore the tourist's clothes. When the monkey saw Zhang Wanwan coming over with the bag, the look in his eyes seemed to change. It squeaked again in fear, and then turned around and ran away without even bothering to snatch the tourist's backpack. Zhang Wanwan took off her sunglasses, turned her head calmly, and looked at the other monkeys around her. Zhang Wanwan's gaze swept over the other monkeys, and then he looked at the monkey that had just been thrown unconscious by Zhang Wanwan over his shoulder. In the end, they all ran away screaming. Zhang Wanwan casually flicked her hair and put her bag back on. And he walked up to Shen Feng with a smile and said, "How about it, isn't he handsome?" Shen Feng also smiled. "Yes, he is quite handsome. But is your cell phone in your bag?" Zhang Wanwan's smile froze. She silently took out the cracked cell phone from her bag. He took a deep breath and looked at the unconscious monkey on the ground. "Feng Zi, have you ever cooked with monkeys?" Chapter 212. Should you cut out to my husband? 2 in 1. Stewing monkey is illegal. So Zhang Wanwan didn't eat the monkey in the end. On the contrary, he and Shen Feng took it to find the staff of the scenic spot and asked the staff to take care of the unconscious monkey. When Zhang Wanwan and Shen Feng went to see the monkey off, several of the tourists who had been in the pavilion followed them. Seeing Zhang Wanwan and Shen Feng coming out from the staff, a little girl in Han Fu immediately came forward and bowed to Zhang Wanwan. "Thank you for saving my life, lady." This little girl is the one who just sat next to Zhang Wanwan. Seeing the little girl clasping her hands and calling her a heroine, Zhang Wanwan couldn't hold back any longer. She just taught a monkey a lesson. Is that a big deal? Zhang Wanwan cleared her throat and clasped her fists like in a costume drama. "It's just a trivial matter. It's not worth mentioning. Goodbye. Lady, please stay." The girl named Zhang Wanwan stopped Zhang Wanwan again and said, "Would you be willing to escort us?" "Escort?" Zhang Wanwan and Shen Cheng looked at the people behind the girl. These people were basically wearing clothes similar to Han Fu. There were both men and women, and they were not too old. They are similar to Shen Feng and Zhang Wanwan, probably all college students. The girl continued, "Lady, we came from the Sichuan Academy. We were connected by Chinese clothing and formed a club. We are here to enjoy the summer and the autumn, climb mountains and visit rivers, and explore the wonders of this beautiful place. However, we are inexperienced and have no experience in venturing into dangerous places. It seems that we were attacked by monkeys not for the first time. It was too dangerous and we were unable to deal with it. We hope that the heroine can lend a hand and escort us." Zhang Wanwan looked at Shen Feng. Translate it. They are students from Sichuan University. From the Han Fu Club. They are out here to have fun, but they don't have much experience. They've been beaten up by monkeys several times. Seeing that you're good, They want you to help them. Shen Feng said. Zhang Wanwan nodded in understanding. Then he waved his hand casually. No help, goodbye. After saying that, he pulled Shen Feng and was about to leave again. The girl in Han Fu hurriedly took a step to the side and stopped Shen Feng and Zhang Wanwan again. Lady, don't go. Zhang Wanwan said, you are the second person who told me not to leave. The girl in Han Fu blinked and looked at Shen Feng. Is this gentleman the first one? Zhang Wanwan shook her head. The first person who told me not to leave was my physical education teacher. It was the 800-meter race, and the physical education teacher yelled at me. Run, don't walk. Han Fu girl. It's summer, why is it so cold? While the girl was numb, Zhang Wanwan wanted to leave again. But he was stopped by the girl again. Zhang Wanwan was helpless and said to the girl in Han Fu. The trouble you are facing is actually very easy to solve. Please give me some advice, lady. Find a guide. The face of the girl in Han Fu fell again. If we were not all students with no proper jobs, you would be really short of money. Cyst shyness is also easy to solve. Zhang Wanwan said, borrow it from someone. Han Fu girl. Zhang Wanwan pulled Shen Feng and was about to leave. But this time the girl in Han Fu didn't stop them. However, they had only walked a few steps when they heard the Han Fu girl say, they still have several Han Fu with us, which we use as replacements. If you are willing, you can lend us the Han Fu to try on. Seeing that Zhang Wanwan and Shen Shell didn't seem to react, the girl could only shout, don't go. If you are willing to help, I can lend you Han Fu to wear. They are all very beautiful. Wo you good sister, please help us. Zhang Wanwan pulled Shen Feng and turned to look at the girl first. Then Zhang Wanwan stroked her chin again and looked at Shen Feng. The last time she saw Shen Feng wearing ancient costume was last time. A fitting during the filming of Date. At that time, Zhang Wanwan thought Shen Feng looked stunning in ancient costume. Unfortunately, Shen Feng never wore it again after that. For a while, Zhang Wanwan even thought about buying Shen Sheng a few sets of Han Fu or something like that. Now, hearing that the girl was willing to lend them Han Fu, Zhang Wanwan actually became interested. She blinked at Shen Feng and asked softly, Fengzi, what do you think? Of course Shen Feng understood Zhang Wanwan's character. When Shen Feng saw Zhang Wanwan's expression, he knew that she was moved. Then he smiled and said, no problem. Zhang Wanwan pulled Shen Feng back to the girl in Han Fu. The girl in Han Fu also became excited when she saw this. I am grateful to the heroine for her bravery. We won't help you if you don't speak normally. Thank you, sister. The girl and her companions took Shen Feng and Zhang Wanwan to a secluded place, and took out a few sets of Han Fu from her bag and gave them to them. Because it is still summer, Shen Feng and Zhang Wanwan are already dressed simply, so there is no pressure to put on the Han Fu directly. Zhang Wanwan picked out a red coat with a white background for herself, which made her look a bit like a young version of Dongfang Buba. With the mask and sunglasses on his face, especially the sunglasses, he looks like a youthful version of Dongfang Bubai the Gangster Limited Edition. The ones picked for Shen Feng are even more unique. I don't know what these college students were thinking. They actually wore a shiny dragon robe, but they probably thought it was a bit embarrassing to wear this thing outside. So they just carried it with them and no one dared to wear it. Zhang Wanwan directly put the dragon robe on Shen Feng. What's more, this dragon robe fits Shen Feng's body very well. Shen Sheng has a good figure. He is tall, with broad shoulders and long legs. He looks like a clothes rack. This dragon robe is a slim fit. And when Shen Sheng wears it, he looks like a young emperor. Among this group of college students wearing Han Fu, there are more women than men. There are only 2 men in total and 7 or 8 women. At this time, when these girls saw Shen Feng with such a figure and dress like this, they couldn't help but scream. Of course, they also have regrets. Still wearing sunglasses and a mask. Handsome guy. Can you take off your mask and sunglasses so we can take a picture? A young girl from the Han Fu club said with sparkling eyes. Yeah, how can an emperor wear sunglasses? He suddenly turned from his majesty into the boss. Miss, take off your sunglasses and mask. Don't be shy. Zhang Wanwan waved her hands. No, we both look ugly. And it's only with masks and sunglasses that we can save our looks. Shen Feng and Zhang Wanwan refused again and again. And the students couldn't persuade them. Finally, Shen Feng, wearing a dragon robe, and the young version of Dongfeng Buba Zhang Wanwan, took this group of students to play in Qinjilong Mountain. And these students' invitation to Zhang Wanwan and Shen Feng was not in vain. There are many monkeys in Qinjilong Mountain, and they were targeted by monkeys several times on the way. However, with Shen Feng and Zhang Wanwan around, these monkeys ran away faster than they could rush over to grab things. The journey was quite relaxing. When it was time for lunch, everyone was hungry, so they decided to find a place to sit down and eat something. The group found a gentle hillside. Maybe because the terrain and environment here are good. There are many people eating lunch here. A few people found an empty space in the corner and sat down. The students of the Hanfu Club enthusiastically took out the food and drinks they had brought with them, intending to entertain Shen Fang and Zhang Wanwan. However, Shen Fang and Zhang Wanwan politely declined. They walked to a more remote place some distance away from the students and ate the food they brought with them. Seeing Shen Fang and Zhang Wanwan hiding far away to eat, a student from the Hanfu Club couldn't help but say, "Ling Ling, do you think they are really that ugly? They don't want us to see them taking off their masks so easy." Shang Ling Ling is the president of this Hanfu Club and is also the girl who asked Zhang Wanwan to be her bodyguard. She glanced at Shen Fang and Zhang Wanwan who were eating in the distance. Because the distance was quite far, I couldn't see clearly what they looked like after taking off their masks. Shang Ling Ling shook her head and said, "What they look like has nothing to do with us. I'm just curious, especially since I see they both have pretty good bodies. Could it be that God not only gave them devilish bodies, but also devilish faces?" Several college students were eating and gossiping. Next to him, a middle-aged man happened to pass by and was live streaming on his mobile phone. There seemed to be several assistants following behind him. The middle-aged man was broadcasting live on his phone, saying, "Brothers, keep scrolling, don't stop, watch brothers on Shen have a picnic at Kanjilong Mountain and eat wild game." He was watching the live broadcast while walking and didn't look at the road. As luck would have it, I stepped on the hem of Shang Ling Ling's Hanfu. I slipped and nearly fell. Shang Ling Ling's clothes were torn apart by the step, and a large piece of fabric fell off. But before Shang Ling Ling could speak to the middle-aged man, the middle-aged man looked at Shang Ling Ling and said, "What happened? You almost tripped me, you know? I didn't even move. And you walked past me and ruined my clothes, and you blame me for almost tripping you?" Shang Ling Ling frowned. "Are you unreasonable?" The middle-aged man ignored Shang Ling Ling. Instead, he looked at his phone again and said, "Hey brothers, did you hear that? This girl said we are unreasonable. Come on brothers, take a look at what these people are wearing. One person's clothes are bigger than another's, as if they were afraid that others wouldn't be able to step on them. If they were wearing normal clothes, would I be able to step on them? Would I be able to almost fall down? Brothers, who do you think is right?" Hey, some brothers in the live broadcast room said. "What are they wearing? Kimono, right? Wearing this kind of clothes? No wonder they have no manners, so we have to understand." Seeing this middle-aged man chatting with the audience in the live broadcast room while constantly speaking sarcastic words to them, Shang Ling Ling became angry. She stood up, looked at the middle-aged man and said, "What are you talking about? We are wearing Hanfu. This is our country's clothing. How can it be called a kimono? Also, does a person's character have anything to do with what she wears? You're dressed in a suit, but your character doesn't seem that good." But as soon as she finished speaking, several assistants behind the middle-aged man glared at her. The middle-aged man also smiled and said, "Sister, do you know who my brother is? Go and search for Brother God of War, he has millions of fans. Don't you know? You almost tripped me. I haven't even bothered you yet. And you still dare to say that I have poor character? A girl dressed like a foreign geisha. I really don't know how your parents dared to let you go out. Come on brothers, tell me if I'm right. Give Brother R some gifts. And watch the R's continue to teach the ignorant girl a lesson." Shang Ling Ling was so angry. She was not only angry because the middle-aged man never mentioned an apology or compensation. She was angry because the other party didn't even have basic courtesy and respect for her. They even used her as a topic of conversation during the live broadcast. Anyone who encounters this feeling of being completely ignored will feel uncomfortable. Seeing this, several other people who were with Shang Ling Ling also stood up and wanted to speak for Shang Ling Ling. For example, there are only 2 boys among this group of students, but they were all thin and weak, and before they could go up and argue with the host called Brother War God, they were frightened by several assistants who looked like gangsters behind Brother War God. And Brother God of War continued to be sarcastic to Shang Ling Ling. "Brothers, do you think these young people lack parental discipline? If our children came out dressed like this, we would have to break their legs. Right? Brothers, you are right, how shameful. These kids have no self-respect at all. They say it is Hanfu, but I can't tell what it is, right brothers? It's not long since the National Day, and they're already walking around in this kind of clothes. My brothers are saying, are they a little rare? They seem to be college students. It's rare that these kids can go to college, isn't it ironic? Should we report the situation to their school? Thanks to Brother Xiao for the rocket. Brother Xiao is really the face of RR's army." Brother God of War didn't look at Shang Ling Ling, nor did he speak to her. At every word was sarcastic to Shang Ling Ling. Shang Ling Ling was originally a young girl in her 20s, and she couldn't help but have her eyes red with grievance. Whether they are college students or not has nothing to do with you. Even if they are graduate students or doctoral students, they can't shut up your low-class mouth, right? At this moment, a cold sneer came from the side. Shang Ling Ling sniffed and looked over, and saw Shen Fang and Zhang Wanwan walking towards her. When Brother God of War saw that Shen Feng and Zhang Wanwan seemed to be in cahoots with Shang Lingling, he was thinking about confronting Shen Feng and Zhang Wanwan as well. But before he could say anything, Zhang Wanwan continued. You can't tell that this dress is Hanfu. This means that you either need to get your eyes fixed or your brain fixed. You can't even recognize your ancestors' things. I don't know how you have the nerve to be so proud. Besides, as long as it doesn't cause any bad influence, people are free to wear whatever they want even if they are wearing kimonos. Does that mean they are rare? And you are still wearing a suit? Is your father a foreigner? My husband is still wearing the dragon robe. Shouldn't you kowtow to him? Brothers in the live broadcast room, please give 666. Let your God of War pay respect to the Emperor. How can you talk like that? Several assistants behind Brother God of War frowned and were about to come over. Zhang Wanwan sneered. How did I speak? Didn't I say what you just said? I don't know whether these students lack parental discipline or not, but I think this war god is a bit lacking in discipline. I'd like to ask, do you have no mother? Otherwise, you shouldn't be so ignorant at such an old age. Right? Brother God of War can't hold it anymore. He stopped talking sarcastically to the live stream studio with his phone in hand. He glared at Zhang Wanwan and said, Girl, you're quite talkative. Aren't you? You're quite talkative, aren't you? Do you know who your brother the God of War is? Do you know what kind of people I am? Zhang Wanwan smiled and said, What kind of path do you follow? Unconventional evil? Or treasonous? Oh, you are so uncultured, you must be mixing with someone's intestines. Right? Damn it, you think I wouldn't dare to hit anyone during a live broadcast? Brother God of War is really angry now. It was what is commonly known as a gangster. And in his early years he had done a lot of beatings and causing trouble. If it weren't for the live broadcast that made him famous by chance, he would still be doing the activities of a gangster. Zhang Wanwan was so harsh on him, and she was so ruthless in front of the audience. How could he tolerate such a temper? At that time, he raised his hand and was about to slap Zhang Wanwan. But his slap hadn't arrived yet. Shen Feng's feet had arrived first. He kicked Brother God of War so hard that he fell to the ground and rolled over. Brother God of War screamed in pain. Brother Ars covered his stomach and climbed up, gritting his teeth and saying to the assistants, What are you standing there for? You idiots, go ahead. They are called assistants, but they are actually the brothers of the God of War. Those younger brothers actually just reacted. From the moment the God of War was about to hit Zhang Wanwan to the moment he was kicked away by Shen Feng, less than 2 seconds passed. They had just come to their senses at this time. And several younger brothers surrounded Shen Feng and Zhang Wanwan. Seeing this, Zhang Wanwan looked like she was stretching her muscles and preparing to take action. But Shen Feng stopped her. Let me do it, so I don't hurt you. Can you fight? Zhang Wanwan dares to cause trouble because she is not afraid of it. It turned out that she had practiced this specially. So if a fight really came to a head, she was confident that she could handle 2 or 3 people on her own. Shen Feng picked up a walking stick that the students were carrying to drive away monkeys. While protecting Zhang Wanwan behind him, he said, It's not a good idea. A little bit. Chapter 213 I recorded your fall. As the saying goes, a fist is afraid of a young man, and a stick is afraid of an old man. And Shen Feng, he is both young and old. With a cane in hand, Shen Feng, dressed in a dragon robe, swung the cane up and down. The assistants under Shen Feng were like bulls being teased by a bullfighter. Every attack failed to hit Shen Feng, but Shen Feng's crutch always hit them accurately. After a few hits, the assistants were all stunned. Shang Lingling and her group nearby, as well as some other tourists who were having lunch here, were also dumbfounded. Especially those tourists who don't know the truth. Fighting in a dragon robe, what do you call this? Leading the army in person? Fuck, this young man. What's going on? Are you filming a movie? No, it looks like he got beaten pretty hard. Some tourists are sharp-eyed. I saw Brother God of War who wanted to take advantage of the fight between Shen Sheng and those assistants to sneak up on Zhang Wanwan and launch a sneak attack. Someone couldn't help but warn, that Dongfeng Bubai wearing sunglasses. Be careful. Zhang Wanwan turned around and saw the God of War slapping her in the face. Shang Lingling and others were startled, especially Shang Lingling, who hurried to get up and help. The tourists watching nearby also looked at Zhang Wanwan with concern. I felt that such a thin little girl would definitely be hurt if she was slapped by such a strong man. As a result, Zhang Wanwan suddenly reached out, grabbed the God of War's wrist, turned around and threw him over her shoulder, trying to throw the God of War out. Brother Ars himself was also shocked at first, because Zhang Wanwan's movements are so standard. She really looks like a martial artist. But then, Brother God of War breathed a sigh of relief, because Zhang Wanwan couldn't even throw him down. He has a big belly, is fat and strong, and weighs nearly 200 pounds. Even if Zhang Wanwan had really practiced before, she still couldn't keep up with the strength. Seeing that Zhang Wanwan couldn't throw him, the previously nervous god of war sneered smugly. Throw him if you can. But before he could even laugh triumphantly, he suddenly felt a pain at the back of his head. The strong feeling of dizziness made his body sway continuously. He turned around in confusion and looked behind him. Then he saw Shen Feng, wearing a dragon robe, standing behind him. In his hand, he still held the cane. As for his assistants, they were all beaten so badly that they couldn't stand up. You. Brother Ars reluctantly stretched out his hand and pointed at Shen Feng. If you have the ability, don't sneak attack. That's fine. Shen Feng nodded. And he picked up his crutch and hit the god of war brother head on. This time, it's not considered a sneak attack, right? Never mind. Brother god of war finished speaking staggeringly. He fainted on the ground. Shen Feng threw the crutches aside and waved to the assistants who were not unconscious. But carry your boss away. You beat someone up and knocked our boss unconscious. And you just want to let it go. An assistant climbed up from the ground, enduring the pain, and said through gritted teeth. Shen Sheng walked up to him and said, "How about I knock you out again?" Assistant? Zhang Wanwan picked up a brick from somewhere and walked over. Hit me with this, it's powerful. Assistant? Why does he feel that these two people are more like social people than them? The assistant looked at Shen Feng and Zhang Wanwan, then looked at the unconscious Ars brother, and whispered, "Well, then you guys should at least help send him to the hospital for a checkup. What if he has a brain injury?" "Fine." Shen Feng consoled him. "Your boss doesn't have a brain, so he can't be hurt. Besides, he will only wake up after being unconscious for 10 minutes at most. If you insist on taking him to the hospital for a checkup, I'll give you a number and you can call to arrange a special car to pick him up." "What number?" 120. Assistant? The assistant wiped his face speechless lie. Then said, "No, brother, this is what I mean, can you pay me some money? Otherwise, we won't be able to explain ourselves when my boss wakes up." Zhang Wanwan, who was standing next to him, took out a wallet from the unconscious Ars brother's pocket, then took out 2 bills and handed them to the assistant. "Are these enough?" As she spoke, Zhang Wanwan handed the wallet to Shang Lingling. "Lingling, do you think the money in this is enough to compensate for your Hanfu?" Not to mention the assistant, even Shang Lingling and the others were confused at the moment. Did they hire 2 heroes as bodyguards, or 2 bandits as bodyguards? "Forget it, never mind, my clothes are fine, why don't you let him take a look first? Before anything really gets hurt." Shang Lingling carefully handed the wallet to the assistant, and looked at the unconscious god of war and said with a little concern, "And how about this, you go and pinch his philtrum first." Shen Sheng said to the assistant. The assistant was also worried about his boss's condition, so he ran forward and pinched the god of war's philtrum upon hearing the news. "And then what, brother?" the assistant asked again. "Press down hard, and at the same time press his chest with your other hand." Upon hearing this, the assistant did as he was told. After a while, the god of war actually opened his eyes, gasping for breath. The assistant's eyes lit up when he saw this scene, and tears welled up in his eyes. Before he could even say hello to brother Ars, Shen Feng said, "Hurry up and help him up, Don T, lift him to high. Hold him at an angle about 30 degrees. The assistant did not dare to delay and did it immediately. After he helped him up, Shen Feng said again, "Okay. Let go now." This assistant has been listening to Shen Feng since the beginning of rescuing brother god of war. He did whatever Shen Feng said. I obey orders so well that it has become a conditioned reflex. He subconsciously listened to Shen Feng's words and let go. The next second, the god of war, who had just been lifted up to a 30-degree angle, fell straight down with his head. It had an intimate contact with the ground. There was a muffled sound of duang. The god of war, who had just woken up, rolled his eyes and fainted again. The assistant was dumbfounded. He looked at Shen Feng in astonishment. He fainted again. "Yeah, I fainted again." Shen Feng was recording with his mobile phone while saying, "You fell and fainted, I recorded it." "Assistant?" the assistant cried. When Brother Ars didn't do live broadcasts, he followed Brother Ars to mess things up. Even when he was beaten black and blue, he never cried. It's such a torture. Finally, a few assistants dragged Brother God of War away. They asked for Shen Feng's contact information. As for the compensation, they planned to let Brother War God go to Shen Feng and Zhang Wanwan to ask for it after he woke up. Anyway, these people didn't intend to say another word to Shen Feng and Zhang Wanwan. After Brother God of War was lifted into the car, he woke up in less than half an hour. He opened his eyes dazedly and found himself sitting in a car, seemingly having left Kenjilong Mountain. Brother Ars frowned and said, "Why did they leave? Where are those 2 people? Did they pay the money?" "No, but I asked for their contact information, thinking I could let you talk in person when you wake up." The assistant who knocked Brothers on Shen unconscious didn't dare to look at Brothers on Shenshen. He could only timidly hand the note with the phone number on it to Brothers on Shannon. Brother Ars took out his cell phone and dialed the number on it. "Hey, you son of a bitch, don't think you can just let this go so easily. I'm telling you, if you don't pay me hundreds of thousands, this matter won't end here." The other end of the phone. Fu Yan's face was a little distorted. "I received a phone call out of nowhere. And as soon as I picked up the phone I was scolded. This is his private number, and the people who know this number must be people he is very familiar with." Fu Yan got angry at that time. "Who the hell are you? You still dare to curse me, right? You still wanna play dumb, right? I'm telling you, don't try that. Add me on WeChat later. Use this phone number, and I'll tell you my bank card number. 500,000, if you dare to give me 1 cent less. Your war god grandfather will never forgive you, you bastard." Brother Ars hung up the phone right after he finished speaking. Fu Yan's face almost turned green at this moment. He called Guan Heng and angrily said, "Guan Heng, get to work, check the number for me." "Feng Zi, do you think that anchor will quarrel with Fu Yan?" Zhang Wanwan asked Shen Feng in a low voice. She knew that Shen Feng had just left Fu Yan's phone number. Shen Feng smiled. "How is that possible? If either of these two had a brain, they would be able to explain the situation clearly and realize that we were the ones messing with them." Chapter 214 I Am a Fortune Teller. Shen Feng and Zhang Wanwan walked over to Shang Lingling and others. The boy next to Shang Lingling subconsciously made way for him. "Your Majesty, please sit down." Shen Feng. Chen Cheng patted his shoulder soothingly. "No need to call me Your Majesty." "Then, Your Majesty?" "Shen Feng, have you ever seen an emperor wearing sunglasses and a mask fighting with others?" "I have never seen any emperor." Hearing this, Shen Feng patted the boy on the shoulder again. "You are right." Zhang Wanwan was helping Shang Lingling check her clothes at this time. Looking at the torn cloth, Zhang Wanwan said, "Do you have a needle and thread?" Shang Lingling looked at Zhang Wanwan with a touch of emotion. "Lady, do you know how to do this?" "Won't." Zhang Wanwan said. "My husband should, right?" Zhang Wanwan looked at Shen Feng. Shen Feng spread his hands. "I understand a little bit." A moment later, Shen Feng, wearing a dragon robe, was seen sitting behind Shang Lingling, helping Shang Lingling mend her clothes. Many tourists took pictures secretly with their mobile phones from a distance. Zhang Wanwan was chatting with Shang Lingling and a few others. It can be seen that although the matter of Brother God of War has been resolved, the mood of several college students is still a little low. "Actually, we're pretty lucky this time with your help." A student sighed. "This kind of thing happens all the time in our Hanfu circle. Many people don't understand Hanfu, so they treat their country's traditional clothing as something from another country and then criticize it. Yes, the most famous one should be the one a few years ago. At that time, a girl was wearing Hanfu and was surrounded by many men who claimed to be patriotic. They insisted that the girl was wearing clothes from an island country and that she wasn't patriotic. They forced the girl to take off her clothes in public and even burn them." Shang Lingling also said. "Although with the development of science and technology, information is transmitted faster and faster, and people's ability to accept things is becoming stronger and stronger. Now many people have a tolerant attitude towards Hanfu. But there are still many people like Brothers on Shen who do not understand, misinterpret and distort Hanfu, and even slander and insult people who are Hanfu. We set up a Hanfu club at the university, hoping to use our limited power to promote Hanfu, but the results were minimal." Listening to what Shang Lingling and others said, looking at the Hanfu worn by these young people, Zhang Wanwan pondered for a moment, and suddenly an idea came to her mind. She pulled Shang Lingling aside and asked, "Lingling, where did you buy these Hanfu costumes? Do you have any recommended shops? Do you want to buy it too? I can send you the link." Shang Lingling took out her cell phone and opened WeChat. And he suddenly looked at Zhang Wanwan and said, "Can you add WeChat?" Although she has not yet seen the true face of the female hero in front of her, but she always felt that this female hero and the emperor over there seemed quite mysterious. "What if they don't want to be my friend?" "Convenient," Zhang Wanwan said with a smile and took out her cell phone from her bag. Then he silently put the broken phone back. She had forgotten that her cell phone had been destroyed while beating the monkey. She took Shen Feng's phone, opened WeChat, and added Shang Lingling as a friend. When Shang Lingling saw Shen Feng's WeChat ID and profile picture, her facial expression became out of control. His eyes widened. First looking at Shen Feng, then at Zhang Wanwan, then at the phone, and then at Shen Feng again. "You are..." Before Shang Lingling could finish her words, Zhang Wanwan made a gesture to keep quiet. "Sure, this is a private visit. Don't let anyone know." Shang Lingling quickly closed her mouth. But judging from her expression, she was not only shocked, but also more happy and surprised. When the sun was about to set in the afternoon, Chen Feng and Zhang Wanwan changed their red clothes and dragon robes. returned the clothes to Shang Lingling and the others, and then said goodbye to the group of students. Sitting in the passenger seat of the car, Zhang Wanwan stretched, took off her mask and sunglasses and said, "Although there was a little incident, I still had a lot of fun today." She opened Shen Cheng's cell phone, which contained several photos of her and Shen Feng taken today. Most of these were taken by Shang Lingling. Zhang Wanwan was flipping through the photos, while Shen Feng asked while driving, "Why did you ask Shang Lingling about the stores that sell Han Fu? Do you want to buy a few pieces to wear? If you really want to wear it, I can make it for you myself." Zhang Wanwan shook her head. "It's not that I want to wear it, I just think Shang Lingling and the others' idea of promoting Han Fu is a good one. So I have some ideas too. I plan to order some Han Fu and let the contestants of youth wear them to see how it turns out. If the effect is good, I will create an ancient-style idol group." As she spoke, Zhang Wanwan suddenly thought about it. And he asked Shen Feng softly, "Fengzi, you said you can make Han Fu, right?" "A little bit." "Well, it must be cheaper to make it than to buy it. Why don't you make 20 or 30 sets first and see how it goes? If the contestants don't like the look of the clothes, you can probably sell them for a good price. What do you think?" Shen Cheng said helplessly, "What did you ask me just now? How about you make 20 or 30 sets and see?" "One more question. You said you can make Han Fu, right?" "Won't." Zhang Wanwan. Shen Feng drove and took Zhang Wanwan to another small scenic spot near Qingjilong Mountain. Unlike Qingjilong Mountain, this scenic spot is more like a tourist town. There are many hotels, restaurants, BBS, etc. It is even more lively than Qingjilong Mountain. The two of them first found a homestay and checked in. And then Zhang Wanwan couldn't wait to drag Shen Feng out to eat delicious food. At night, the tourist town is brightly lit, and the quaint town is bustling with people coming and going. Some spacious intersections have specially arranged performances, including acrobatics and magic, cross-talk and storytelling, as well as Sichuan opera and face-changing, which are the most distinctive features of Sichuan. Zhang Wanwan was holding the snack she bought from the street and eating while watching the performances around her. Shen Cheng followed her and supported her so that she would not fall down because she was watching the performance and not paying attention to the road. The two of them walked under the lights of the ancient town as the night gradually darkened. There were many couples or spouses like them coming and going around them. In the dim light, people passing by seldom noticed that the girl who was eating and giggling, and the man who was protecting the girl, were the most popular stars today. Zhang Wanwan walked around and ate for more than 2 hours before she felt satisfied. By the time we got back to the BB, it was already past 9 o'clock in the evening. There was a table in the small courtyard of the BB. When Shen Feng and Zhang Wanwan returned, they saw several people sitting around the table, eating barbecue skewers and drinking beer, cursing at the same time. "Damn it, that kid is so wicked, he actually left someone else's phone number. He almost got me into a fight with that guy." The one who cursed the most harshly was a middle-aged man who was wearing a big gold chain and seemed to have a lump on his forehead. "That guy seems to be a really awesome star. I almost offended a big shot." Luckily, his agent is a sensible person and explained things clearly. Otherwise, I would be in real trouble this time. After listening to this man's words, Shen Feng and Zhang Wanwan looked at each other. "Isn't this the god of war from the daytime? This guy actually came to this tourist town? And you happen to be staying in a BB?" Shen Feng and Zhang Wanwan were watching from afar when they saw the owner of the BB, an old man in his 50s, bringing grilled skewers to Brother War God and the others. As a result, when the old man was delivering the skewers, Father God of War wasn't paying attention and happened to sway and bump into the old man. Several skewers were knocked off the tray and fell on Brother God of War. Brother God of War has already been upset and angry enough today. The old man just happened to bump into the muzzle of the gun. Brother God of War's anger was immediately aroused by the alcohol. "You old man, you don't have eyes, do you? You know what I'm wearing is a famous brand? I got all greasy on it, can you afford to pay for it?" The old man could see that Brother Ars was not easy to mess with. So he quickly apologized and said, "I'm sorry, how about I go and wash it for you?" Brother God of War burped angrily, glared at the old man and was about to say something to him. Suddenly someone patted him from behind. Brother Ars frowned and turned around, only to see a man wearing sunglasses and a hat standing behind him. "Who are you?" the God of War said angrily. "I told you to stay out of other people's business. I'm very angry today, be careful or I'll beat you up too." A person behind Brother God of War is of course Shen Feng. Chen Sheng smiled and said to Brother God of War in a low voice, don't worry, I'm not here to meddle in other people's business. I'm here to tell fortunes." "Fortune telling? Fuck you. If you don't get out of here, I'll beat you up." Brother God of War shook off Shen Feng's hand with his shoulders, and then seemed to really intend to fight with Shen Feng. Shen Feng didn't hide, he just stood there and said, "You went to Qingjilong Mountain today and got beaten up, right?" The movement of the god of war to hit Shen Feng suddenly froze. He frowned and looked at Shen Feng. How did you know? You are my fan? Did you watch my live broadcasts? During the day at Qingjilong Mountain, Shen Feng was wearing a dragon robe, a mask and sunglasses, and Brother God of War didn't see Shen Feng at all. Now it was already dark. Shen Feng changed back into his own clothes, took off his mask and put on a hat. Brother God of War could no longer recognize that he was the same person who beat him during the day. Shen Feng just smiled. I'm not your fan, I told you. I'm a fortune teller. You were born under the fate of heaven and you are in conflict with the emperor. So not only were you beaten, but you were beaten by a man wearing a dragon robe. Am I right? There was something wrong with the look in Brother God of War's eyes when he looked at Shen Feng. In fact, many people in the underworld believe in all these weird and messy things. And Brother God of War is no exception. He drove away an assistant next to him, then pulled a stool in front of Shen Feng and helped Shen Feng sit down. His tone calmed down, and he even said respectfully, "Sir, can you really tell fortunes? You were born on August 7. And you are 37 years old. This year is your unlucky year. According to physiognomies, young people are not compatible with you. So the person who hit you was a young man, about 20 years old." Brother Ars poured a glass of wine and handed it to Shen Feng. "Sir, continue. I also know that the man should have hit you on the head," Shen Feng said. Brother Ars asked hurriedly, "Sir, how did you calculate this?" "That's not something that can be calculated," Shen Cheng said slowly, "because you have a bump on your head." Brother God of War. Chapter 215, Monk's Compassion. You should have noticed yourself. You are particularly unlucky today. Shen Feng picked up a skewer from the table, took 2 bites, and said to Brother God of War. Brother God of War nodded quickly. Shen Feng's face was serious. "Actually, this is not the worst thing, because from today onwards, you will only get more unlucky day by day. If I'm not mistaken, you must have accidentally offended an important person today. Right? Let me tell you, that important person is more powerful than you think. Even though you are a live streamer with many fans, you are no different from an ant in front of him. You have offended him today. And you will definitely be retaliated by him." Brother Shen said hurriedly. "But there were just some misunderstandings between him and me. With the help of his agent this afternoon, the misunderstanding has been resolved." Shen Cheng shook his head. "Do you think he will forgive you once the misunderstanding is resolved? Then you think he is too kind. Then what should I do? Actually, there is a reason why you are unlucky now. Come on, extend your hand." Brother God of War obediently stretched out his hand. Shen Feng tapped on his palm and asked, "Do you know what this is?" Brother Ars took a look and said, This the palm of my hand? This is called the fate line. Your fate line is short and shallow. And there are 3 breakpoints in the middle, which proves that you will have 3 major disasters in your life. Now is the first one, but if you can't get through this time, you will die. Brother God of War swallowed his saliva and said, "If I die in the first calamity, where do the next 2 calamities come from? Maybe someone else dug your grave." Brother God of War. Brother God of War. Then Master, how can I survive this first disaster? Shen Cheng did not respond, but pointed his finger at the palm of the other hand of the God of War. "Do you know what this is called?" Brother Ars looked at it and said, "Isn't this the line of destiny?" "No, this is the palm of the hand." Brother Ars, Master, are the answers for your left and right hands different? Shen Feng patted the palm of the God of War. "Brother, the fate line on your left hand is short and shallow, and your fate is unfortunate, but fortunately the palm of your right hand is in good shape. The palm of your right hand is very good if your fortune can follow the palm of your right hand. You will not only be free from disasters, but also become rich and powerful." Brother Shen asked hurriedly, "Master, please tell me in detail. How can I make my fortune follow the palm of my right hand?" Shen Cheng stretched out 2 fingers. Said, "There are 2 ways. The first method is that men are on the left and women are on the right. If you want the fortune of the right hand, you have to be a woman. Of course, you don't necessarily have to undergo a sex change. Wearing women's clothes on a daily basis is also a method." Brother Ars looked at himself. He is fat and strong, with broad shoulders and a round waist. He is a big man who is a little over 5.5 feet tall. How can I wear women's clothes? Master, what's the second solution? Cut off both hands, change their positions and put them back together. Shen Feng said, "If you're lucky, maybe you won't die." Brother God of War. Then he should choose the first method. Although it's a little embarrassing, but as long as it can change my luck, it's fine. Brother God of War really believes in fortune telling. He still remembers a rumor when he was in the underworld. It is said that a fortune teller told an old man that he would die in a year. The boss didn't believe it and thought the fortune teller was scolding him. So he beat the fortune teller to death. A year later, the boss was arrested for intentional homicide and sentenced to death. He was executed directly. But the strangest thing is that the day the boss died was exactly 1 year after the fortune teller was beaten to death. In addition, Brother God of War has also heard various rumors about fate and fortune. Therefore, among those who are in this industry, there are basically few who do not believe in it. In addition, Shen Feng's calculations just now were quite accurate. So Brother God of War was quite convinced by Shen Feng's words. He rubbed his hands and whispered, "Master, besides dressing up as a woman, do I need to do anything else? Buy a string of body and twist it 3,000 times every day to calm your mind. Buy 3 sticks of high-quality incense and burn them 3 times each. Morning, noon and evening, to burn away sins. Buy a handful of sticky rice. Sew a sachet into it and wear it to ward off evil spirits. Buy an insurance policy so that if something happens, you can keep some property. By the way," Shen Feng said, "order 20 skewers of meat, 20 skewers of meat tendons, 4 pairs of grilled wings, 4 skewers of fish tofu, 2 bottles of Coke, and 1 serving of peanuts and edamame." Brother Ars quickly asked, "Master, what are these for?" "Just in case I get hungry." Brother God of War. He waved his hand and immediately asked someone to order food. Then he said respectfully, "Master, since you have calculated so much for me, do you need any other reward?" "No need, monks are compassionate. I see that you have a bad fate, so I want to help you." Brother Zanshen was so moved that he asked, "Master, can monks eat meat? Wine and meat pass through the intestines. But the Buddha sits in the heart, you don't understand." When the skewers were served, Zhang Wanwan came over, holding the skewers and pulling Shen Feng to leave. Brother Zanshen asked again, "Master, do monks have girlfriends? I'm asking her to help me practice, you don't understand." "Master, can you add me on WeChat so we can keep in touch?" Shen Feng shook his head, "I can't add you on WeChat. You're too ugly." "What does this have to do with my being ugly?" "I, Buddha, will not save ugly people." Brother God of War. After Shen Feng and Zhang Wanwan left, Brother God of War asked his assistant to find a place to buy women's clothing. When she returned to the room at night, Zhang Wanwan finally couldn't help laughing out loud. "Feng Zi, you are so amazing. I regret not recording that part just now. It almost made me die of laughter." Shen Chang peeled a few peanuts and fed the kernels to Zhang Wanwan. He smiled and said, "Next time there's a chance, I'll find someone to fool you again. You can just record it then." Zhang Wanwan swallowed the peanuts, then moved closer to Shen Feng and whispered, "Feng Zi, you know what, when you were fooling that guy just now, you looked so good that I almost thought you could really tell fortunes." At this point, Zhang Wanwan suddenly stared at Shen Feng. "You can't really tell fortunes, can you?" After more than 800 years, Zhang Wanwan really had no idea what this guy had learned. Shen Feng smiled and took Zhang Wanwan's hand, saying, "I know a little bit, why don't I calculate it for you?" Okay. Zhang Wanwan stretched out her palms and sat up straight again. As a result, Shen Feng exerted force and pulled Zhang Wanwan into his arms. Then he reached out his hand and felt around Zhang Wanwan's palm, and whispered in her ear, "Lady Donor, looking at your palm, I can only tell that you must have a very good husband. You will stay together for the rest of your lives. From the past to the future, you will be happy, healthy, and everything will go well. Your husband will love you very much. One day he will hug you, sit on your bed with you, and read your palm." As he spoke, Shen Feng gently kissed Zhang Wanwan on the face. "And he will kiss you, hold you and lie down, pull you into bed, and then..." The lights in the room went out. Chapter 216. More effort. The next day, Zhang Wanwan sat in the passenger seat of the car, eating the skewers that Shen Feng had tricked her into giving her last night, while holding Shen Feng's mobile phone and watching the live broadcast. During the live broadcast, Brother God of War was wearing women's clothing, a tight vest, a sexy miniskirt, and a pair of short black stockings, singing and dancing in the live broadcast room. This God of War brother is worthy of being a live broadcaster. He is really open-minded. His female attire immediately attracted a large crowd of people to watch the fun. The number of people in the live broadcast room is at least 10 times more than before, and there are also a lot of people sending gifts. Shen Feng, who is driving, said, "They started the live broadcast this morning. I saw him in the BB before, and he thanked me. He said that he had just been live streaming for less than an hour in the morning, and his popularity and attention were much higher than before. He said that my guidance was good and his luck had really changed." Zhang Wanwan blinked her eyes. "So you think he won't really become so popular and his luck will change completely, right?" "No." Shen Feng smiled and said, "Click on the upper right corner of the live broadcast room. There is a report button inside. Fill in the reason as indecent exposure." Zhang Wanwan reached out and was about to report it as Shen Feng had said. As a result, the live broadcast room suddenly went dark. There was a line of words written on the screen. "The anchor's live broadcast content is suspected of violating regulations and is being banned for rectification. I haven't reported it yet. Maybe someone else reported it. Shen Feng said with a smile, this thing is so eye-catching. It's normal for someone to report it. Zhang Wanwan closed the late broadcast room and opened Weibo to read again. On Weibo, there were a few people discussing the matter of brothers on Shen's lead broadcast in women's clothing, but the discussion was not very high. Although brothers on Shen himself said that he is a big anchor with millions of fans, because of the type of lead broadcast in the platform, he is not that well known on Weibo. Zhang Wanwan flipped through it and found that many people on Weibo were reposting the photo of her and Shen Sheng wearing ancient costumes when they were at Kanjilong Mountain yesterday. How can someone dare to walk around in a dragon robe? Is there no one in this world he cares about? Aren't you afraid of social demise? I think he's wearing a mask and sunglasses because he's afraid of being socially disgraced. I think this emperor seems quite handsome, at least he has a good figure. The Dongfang Bubai next to him has a really good figure, and I think his appearance must be pretty good. I have another video here. This video of the emperor beating someone is really cool. Zhang Wanwan followed the group's discussion and clicked on another video. It was the video of Shen Feng beating the god of war and those assistants yesterday. Judging from the shooting angle, the person recording the video should be other tourists who were present at the time. In the video, Shen Feng, holding a cane, knocked down several assistants by himself. Not to mention the onlookers. Even Zhang Wanwan thought this video was very handsome. Oh my god, are we filming a movie? How can the emperor be so powerful? This is so cool. Using a walking stick is more cool than using a sword. Even if it is a real movie, the young actors nowadays may not be able to perform such a fighting scene. Come here, protect the emperor. No need to protect him. The emperor has fought all by himself. Wait, does the person being beaten look familiar? Is it the god of war brother who was live streaming in women's clothing this morning? No wonder he was wearing women's clothing, probably because his brain was knocked silly by this emperor. Some sharp-eyed onlookers even recognized the god of war who was knocked unconscious by Shen Feng's two sticks. As a result, this group of photos and videos of the emperor personally leading the army spread on Weibo. Although it has not yet reached the level of becoming a hot topic, the discussion level is still quite high. Zhang Wanwan was eating the skewers and melon at the same time. As a result, WeChat on my mobile phone suddenly received a message. Mom, do you still have the comic books in your old room? If you don't want them, I'll sell them. Comic book? Zhang Wanwan was stunned. When did she ever have a comic book? She frowned and typed back. Mom, did you remember it wrong? Where do I get the comic book? Mom, how come you don't have it? I saved up several boxes. Have you even forgotten about it? Mom, picture, take a look for yourself. Zhang Wanwan clicked on the picture and took a look. It was indeed several boxes of comic books. But this doesn't look like hers. It doesn't even look like her home. Zhang Wanwan raised her eyebrow and sent a message with some confusion. Hello, did you send the wrong message? I don't remember having these things. And this doesn't seem to be my home. But after sending this message, Zhang Wanwan herself felt puzzled. That's not right. This person's remark is mom, which can't be wrong. It's impossible that one day we'll suddenly have a brainstorm and label someone as my mother, right? Is this reasonable? At this moment, Mom sent another message. Mom, Feng Zi, are you sleepy? If this isn't your home, whose home is it? Wanwan's home. Mom, don't think that just because you moved to the city, a Qingliu County is no longer your home, and don't play dumb. Tell me if you still want this comic book, or I'll sell it to you. Seeing this, Zhang Wanwan wanted to bury her face in her clothes. How could she forget? Her phone was broken yesterday, and the phone she was holding was Shen Feng's. Zhang Wanwan was so embarrassed. She glanced secretly at Shen Feng. She found that Shen Feng didn't seem to notice what embarrassing thing she had just done. So he quickly sent a message to Tang Ping. Mom, don't worry. I'm just joking with you. Don't sell the comics yet. If you think they take up too much space, we'll take them all to the city when we get back. She knew that Shen Feng had a hobby of reading comics when he was a child. These may all be Shen Feng's memories, and they are not short of money now. So there is no need to sell these things. Mom, okay. I was thinking of cleaning your room, and I just happened to find a few boxes of comics. Mom, by the way, how are you and Wanwan doing recently? You have really grown up. You haven't called me to let me know you are doing well in the past few days. Zhang Wanwan saw Tang Ping mentioned her. His heart moved and a wicked smile suddenly appeared on his face. Then he typed in the name of Shen Feng. Shen Feng. We are all living well. The food and accommodation here are good. Shen Feng. Wanwan has been very busy recently. Not only has she been busy with filming, she has also been doing laundry, cooking, and cleaning. She is hardworking and sensible. Mom, you little brat. Why did you let her do so much work? I tell you, you are not allowed to let Wanwan do any of these dirty hiring or heavy work in the future. Otherwise, you will see how I will punish you. Zhang Wanwan laughed out loud. Typed another line. Chen Feng, Mom, it's not that I want her to do it, she's just a hardworking. She's really good. Chen Feng, Mom, you must treat Wanwan. Such a good daughter-in-law. Well, in the future, if I have conflicts with her in the future, you must stand on her side. Chen Feng, in the future, prepare more of Wanwan's favorite foods during festivals. I don't care, don't worry about me. Mom, what you said is all nonsense. You are not as important as Wanwan. I don't care about you anyway. Mom, hey, is Wanwan responding now? Chen Feng, what's the reaction? Mom, stop playing dumb, are you pregnant? Zhang Wanwan's face turned slightly red. His fingers trembled, and then he carefully typed 2 words. Chen Feng, not yet. So, Tang Ping started her long speech. Mom, what's wrong with you? Are you not working hard? How long have you been with Wanwan? Can you be more positive? Although you are still young, we are not young anymore. Your dad and I are waiting to have grandchildren. Zhang Ziyachi and Su Yan are waiting to have grandchildren. Blah blah blah. Tang Ping said a lot. Finally, I quickly sent over several links to articles about recipes to help you get pregnant and 10 tips to help you get pregnant. Zhang Wanwan's face turned even redder. But this is not what makes Zhang Wanwan most embarrassed. Next, Tang Ping sent another message. Mao, no, your dad said that it's not clear enough to just send a text message, so he asked me to call you and formally urge you. Then, the caller ID of Tang Ping appeared on the mobile phone screen. Zhang Wanwan held the phone in one hand and covered her face with the other. She really didn't know whether she should answer the call. Chen Feng looked at the incoming call, then looked at Zhang Wanwan, who didn't seem to intend to answer the call, and parked the car on the side of the road. Then he wanted to take the phone from Zhang Wanwan. But Zhang Wanwan's hand was tightly holding the phone. He looked like he didn't dare to give the phone to Shen Feng. Shen Feng took out 100 yuan from his pocket and threw it to Zhang Wanwan. Zhang Wanwan immediately pounced on the money. Shen Feng took the phone and answered the call. Hey, Mom, what's going on? Seeing Shen Feng answer the phone, Zhang Wanwan, feeling guilty, subconsciously wanted to get out of the car. Seeing this, Shen Feng locked the car door immediately. After listening to Tang Ping's words on the phone, Shen Feng looked at the WeChat chat history. Then he nodded with a smile on his face. He slowly said to Tang Ping, I know, Ma, I will definitely not let Wanwan do dirty, tiring work anymore. I will definitely treat her like a princess and raise her like one. Also, I will definitely read every word of the articles you posted about helping you get pregnant. Then Wanwan and I will work harder and make sure to get Wanwan pregnant as soon as possible. Chen Feng said this word by word and hung up the phone. Then he turned around with a smile and looked at Zhang Wanwan. Wan Ji, you had a very happy chat with our mom just now. Zhang Wanwan showed an awkward and guilty smile on her face. Feng Zi, I'll give you a MUA, and you can just pretend that what happened today never happened. Okay? Shen Feng leaned his face forward and Zhang Wanwan quickly kissed him. But then, Shen Feng said, I can pretend that you didn't say what you said to my mother earlier, but I can't pretend that I didn't read what my mother said later. And the links to the article she posted. Since she has issued an order for you to get pregnant as soon as possible, shouldn't we try harder? I think I've tried my best now. Zhang Wanwan whispered. Chen Feng smiled and leaned close to Zhang Wanwan's ear, whispering, Tonight, I'll show you what real hard work is. Zhang Wanwan's face turned red and she was about to cry. She has to record a show tomorrow, she doesn't want to be unable to get out of bed. Chapter 217 Zhang Ziyiqi was fooled. Because Zhang Wanwan's cell phone was broken. Shen Feng and Zhang Wanwan planned to find a place to buy her another cell phone. Shen Feng drove and took Zhang Wanwan to a mobile phone store in a nearby county town. The mobile phone store is not big and the owner is a middle-aged man in his 40s. When Shen Cheng and Zhang Wanwan arrived, the boss was wearing glasses and holding tools, carefully repairing a mobile phone in front of him. The phone was taken apart, but perhaps because the boss had great skills, the phone did not look messy after being taken apart, but instead looked particularly neat. After Shen Feng and Zhang Wanwan came in, the boss simply asked them to sit down and continued with his work. After another 5 or 6 minutes, the boss put the disassembled mobile phone in front of him back into place. Then I pressed the power button, and the phone turned on normally, with nothing wrong with it. The boss then took off his reading glasses, looked at Shen Feng and Zhang Wanwan and said, Sorry to have kept you waiting. Do you want to buy a mobile phone? I was going to buy it. Zhang Wanwan said, but it seems like you can repair cell phones? How about you fix it for me? Zhang Wanwan saw that the boss had just repaired the phone very skillfully, and felt that instead of buying a new one, it would be better to let the boss try to fix her phone. The boss chuckled when he heard this. Come to me if you want to repair your phone. I see you are not from here, to be honest. I have a nickname in the county. A god of phone repair. In the mobile phone repair competition held in our county, I fought hard and fixed 10 defective mobile phones within an hour. And only then did I get this title. The boss said this, pointing to a certificate hanging behind him. For big characters were clearly written on the certificate. God of Machine Repair. John Wanwan even felt like she had found the right person. That's great, I'll rely on you for my phone. The boss put his hands behind his back and laughed. Well, take out your phone and have a look. John Wanwan hurriedly took out the broken cell phone from her bag. When John Wanwan took it out, her hand slipped. The phone fell to the ground with a thud again, breaking completely in two. John Wanwan hurriedly tried to bend down to pick it up, but she lost her balance and her foot stepped on the broken phone. With a crackling sound, a corner of the phone was crushed. John Wanwan wanted to pick up the phone, but when she reached out to grab it, the phone, which had already been broken into two pieces, fell out with many parts. In the end, John Wanwan had no choice but to pick up the phone in a pile of parts with both hands and hand them to the boss. Boss. The boss looked at the pile of parts and was silent for a long time. Finally, he said, "Excuse me, young lady, what is this thing you are holding?" "My cell phone." John Wanwan said. "Then your phone may be of impure origin." The boss said, "I have never seen a phone that looks so sparse." John Wanwan placed the pile of parts on the boss's desk and asked, "It doesn't look like this originally. It is indeed a mobile phone." "I swear, boss, can you fix it?" "Boss girl, I repair phones, not do puzzles. I really can't repair this phone. For example, a doctor can treat people who are unconscious in a car accident, but he can't save people who are crushed into a pulp in a car accident. Unless he is a god. Aren't you the god of machine repair?" John Wanwan pointed to the award certificate behind the boss. The boss took the award certificate down and said, "That was an award we won last year. It doesn't count this year. Gods also get old." John Wanwan. Shen Cheng walked up to John Wanwan and said, "Okay, brother Wanwan, just buy a new one and stop torturing the boss." "Oh." John Wanwan put the pile of parts back into her bag, and then looked through several counters to see if there was a phone she liked. While John Wanwan was looking for her cell phone, Chen Feng called again. Chen Feng took a look and found that the person calling was Zhang Zhe. Chen Feng was surprised. When did his father-in-law remember to call him? Although Zhang Zhe's attitude toward Shensheng has completely changed for the better since Zhang Zhe's birthday party, but this father-in-law is essentially an old tsundere. Even though he openly or secretly accepted Shenfeng as his son-in-law, he still liked to act in a pretentious manner in front of Shenfeng. Normally he would never take the initiative to call Shenfeng. "Hey, Dad, what's going on?" Shenfeng walked out of the mobile phone store and asked after answering the phone. Zhang Ziyiqi's voice came from the other end of the phone. "Shenfeng, you." Zhang Ziyiqi's voice sounded a little depressed and hesitant. He seemed to hesitate for a long time before he whispered to Shenfeng, "Can you lend me some money?" Shenfeng raised his eyebrows slightly. "Borrow money? Why would Zhang Ziyi ask him to borrow money? Zhang Ziyi runs a company, and his business should not have encountered any problems recently. He shouldn't be short of money, and even if he is short of money, you shouldn't ask him to borrow money, right? Zhang Ziyi usually cares a lot about his reputation. Especially in front of his son-in-law, he always tries to act like an elder. Even if he asked his business friends for money, or asked Zhang Wanwan or Zhang Tianming for money, he shouldn't have come to me for money." Chen Feng felt something was wrong and asked in a low voice, "Dad, did something happen at home? Why do you suddenly need to borrow money?" "Actually nothing happened." Zhang Ziyi's voice became even lower. "I just have some cash flow problems." Shen Feng frowned. "I have looked at the company's funds before. If there are no problems in the business, how can the funds not be turned over? It's either the company that has problems or me. I don't have much money on hand. Don't worry, Shen Feng. I will pay you back the money I borrowed from you now." The more Shen Sheng listened to Zhang Ziyi's tone, the more he felt something was wrong. After a moment, he said, "Okay, I can lend you money." Without waiting for Zhang Ziyi to thank him, Shen Feng continued, "But my money is with Wanwan. I have to tell her about this." "Wait a moment." Zhang Ziyi immediately stopped Shen Feng. Don't tell Wanwan that I borrowed the money." "Dad, what happened?" By now, Shen Feng was completely certain that Zhang Ziyi had definitely encountered some problem. And this problem is very serious, so serious that he doesn't want Zhang Wanwan to know about it. "If you don't tell me, I'll just give the phone to Wanwan." "Don't." Zhang Ziyi sighed helplessly. "You are not with Wanwan now, right? Let me tell you what happened." It turned out that Zhang Ziyi lost all his money in gambling. Zhang Ziyi was a person who seldom played computer or mobile phone. However, since he started following the variety shows of Shenfeng and Zhang Wanwan, Zhang Ziyi has used his mobile phone and computer more every day. It is not only used to watch TV series, but also to check Weibo and help Shen Feng and Zhang Wanwan to get on the charts. Zhang Ziyi also joined the fan group of two people. And in the fan group, Zhang Ziyi met someone. This person calls himself Lao Qian and is very active in the fan group. Lao Qian is an enthusiastic and talkative person. Many people in the group have a good relationship with Lao Qian. And he also likes to send red envelopes in the group. He seems to be a big boss and quite rich. Moreover, Lao Qian was not young anymore, probably in his 40s or 50s. Since they were of similar age and had something in common, Zhang Ziyi quickly became familiar with Lao Qian. During the chat with Lao Qian, Zhang Ziyi heard Lao Qian say that, in fact, he was not a boss, but he was indeed very rich. He made all his money from a website. Lao Qian said that he could buy lottery tickets on that website. And he had found the pattern, so the winning rate was very high. Many people would lose money, but he had already made millions on that website. He also told Zhang Ziyi that if Zhang Ziyi wanted to play, he could teach Zhang Ziyi. When Shen Feng heard this, he couldn't help but say, "Dad, can't you tell that I'm lying to you?" Zhang Ziyi gave a helpless smile. "I'm not stupid. After hearing this, I also think Lao Qian is a liar." But then Lao Qian added me to a small group. There were a lot of people in that group, all of whom were acquaintances in the fan group. Lao Qian said that he had brought these people together to buy lottery tickets online to make money. These acquaintances in the fan group post screenshots in the small group every day. The screenshots show how much money they made today, ranging from tens of yuan to thousands of yuan, and they don't make a steady profit. I observed them for a few days and found that they make some money and some lose money. But they make more money than they lose, so. At this point, Zhang Ziyi's voice became even quieter. Even though he didn't say anything further, Shen Feng knew that Zhang Ziyi must have fallen into a trap. Chapter 218 Internet Fraud. As a businessman, Zhang Ziyi certainly understands better than anyone that there is no such thing as a free lunch. But Zhang Ziyi had little exposure to the internet and didn't know much about this kind of online fraud. In addition, these scammers deliberately created a perfect performance. So Zhang Ziyi was fooled. Although when Zhang Ziyi was retelling the whole story, Shen Feng could tell at once that this was a good show performed by a bunch of scammers. But Zhang Ziyi, who was in the middle of the situation at the time, probably could never have imagined that a whole group of people were actually deceiving him. And he was the only one who was kept in the dark and was fooled around. I didn't need money, and I didn't need money, and I didn't expect to win much money on that website. I just saw many people I knew in the group playing it. So I thought I'd give it a try. As a result, I admit that I did get a little carried away afterwards. I lost a big amount of money, 300,000. 300,000 is actually not a lot for Zhang Ziyi. But he didn't dare to use the company's money to fill this vacancy. As a person who values his reputation, he felt that this matter was extremely embarrassing. He didn't want anyone in the company to know, he didn't want Su Yan to know. And he didn't want Zhang Wanwan to know. I don't even want to tell my business partners. He thought about it and felt that the only person who could help him now was Shen Feng. Shen Cheng leaned against the doorframe and said slowly, "Dad, have you called the police?" "How embarrassing. How can I call the police?" Zhang Ziyi said, "Besides, you are all celebrities. I was fooled. If this gets out, it will be bad for your reputation, right?" The 300 yuan I spent was from my cards. Yu Yan checks my card once a month. And she will check it in a few days. Lend me 300,000 yuan first, so I can make up for the shortfall. "What happens after you fill it out?" Shen Feng asked. "If you don't call the police, the money you were defrauded of will never be recovered. In the end, you were still defrauded of 300,000 yuan, while those scammers are at large." Zhang Ziyi sighed. "Then what can I do? Even if I don't care about being embarrassed, I can't embarrass you. This money, oh, forget it." Shen Feng thought about it, and then said, "Dad, I can give you the money, but you have to tell me Lao Qian's account number." "What do you want to do?" "Nothing," Shen Feng said slowly. "Someone dared to cheat my father-in-law as his son-in-law. Shouldn't I help him get back at him?" Zhang Ziyi seemed to want to say something, but after a moment's silence, he just sighed. "Okay. But don't tell Wanwan about this." Shen Sheng hung up the phone. He looked at Zhang Wanwan, who had already bought a mobile phone and was standing next to him, listening to the phone on speakerphone for a long time. Zhang Wanwan looked at him and asked softly, "Can you deal with this fraud gang? So how far do you want me to go with them? To the extent of being in prison?" Shen Feng nodded. "Okay, let's find an internet cafe and I'll go meet them." The two found an internet cafe in the county town. Shen Cheng found the so-called old money, according to the account Zhang Ziyi gave him, as well as Zhang Ziyi's fan group and small group. There are a total of 300 people in Zhang Ziyi's fan group, and 80 of them are the most active. Among these 80 people, 40 were in the small group that Lao Qian had invited Zhang Ziyiqi to join. Of the 80 active people, 40 are actors. No wonder Zhang Ziyiqi was deceived. Not to mention middle-aged people like Zhang Ziyiqi who rarely go online. Even young people might be tempted if so many good friends with whom they can chat usually invite them to buy funds and lottery tickets. This gang is really ambitious. As Shen Feng spoke, he retrieved the data of Lao Qian's account. I found that Lao Qian had joined more than a dozen similar fan groups. Some are fan groups of Shen Feng and Zhang Wanwan. Some are fan groups of other celebrities, or game guild groups and the like. Moreover, in other groups, Lao Qian was using the same tactics to fool others. Judging from the chat records, Lao Qian's targets are very clear. They are middle-aged people or women who have less access to the internet. First, build good relationships with these people, and then pull them into small groups. Relying on the help of the people in the small group, create the illusion that there is a sure profit and no loss, which makes the victims tempted. These victims fell into this scam trap because of their trust in Lao Qian and the deception of Xiaoqiu Yuan's agents. Even when Shen Feng looked at the chat records, he found that several victims still firmly believed that this website could really make money after being defrauded of hundreds of thousands of yuan. They believed that Lao Qian and the people in the small group did not deceive them, and that losing money is only temporary and they will be able to earn it back soon. This is too disgusting. He uses other people's trust in him to make money. Zhang Wanwan couldn't help but say. Shen Feng nodded, looked at the chat history again, and hacked into the account of a victim who had been cheated before but still believed in Lao Qian. He disguised himself as a victim named Yi Duoyan and sent a message to Lao Qian. Yi Duoyan, Lao Qian, which number do you think is better to buy in this game? Lao Qian's fraudulent website uses an instant lottery system, with prizes drawn every 5 minutes. Lao Qian responded quickly. Lao Qian, oh, Yan, you've lost a lot recently, so why don't you not buy anything for now? I'm embarrassed to tell you what to buy. I feel guilty if you lose money again. This old Qian is very good at talking. He is obviously a liar. But at this moment he pretends to care about Yi Duoyan. No wonder Yi Duoyan still believes in Lao Qian. Shen Feng typed a line of words on the keyboard. Yi Duoyan, it's okay, I believe you. I'll buy 1 ticket to test the waters. If I win, I'll buy it. If not, I won't buy it yet. Lao Qian. Okay, then you can buy number 379. After Shen Feng selected a number on the website, he bought one for 100 yuan. At the same time, in a rented house far away in a mountainous area, a man who looked a little slovenly said, "A lotus is here again. Everyone, come to work. Xiaoli, change the winning number to 379 in the backstage. Let him have a taste of the sweetness first, and then you can trick him into making a big profit." In a corner of the rental house, a young man responded. And he made some operations on the background of the website and changed the winning numbers of the next lottery to 379. Okay, Xiaoli said. The sloppy man nodded, sat in front of the computer and replied to Yi Duoyan. Lao Qian, I think the probability of 379 this time is very high. Believe me. A lotus, yes, I believe you. While replying, Shen Feng called up the back end of the website. Then he said to Zhang Wanwan beside him, Brother Wan, did you see that in the background of this kind of website? You can change the lottery numbers at will. As he spoke, Chen Cheng changed the winning number to 125. Soon, it's time for the prize draw. Shen Feng took a screenshot of the picture that didn't win the prize and sent it to Lao Qian, and typed a line of words. Yi Duoyan, Lao Qian, I didn't win. It seems that I am unlucky today. I will buy it another day. When the sloppy man Lao Qian saw these words, he immediately stood up from in front of the computer. He glared at Xiaoli in the corner and said, What's wrong with you? I told you to change it to 379. Why did you change it to 125? If this deal is going to fail like this, I'm going to beat you to death. Xiaoli was also confused. He opened the back end of the website and found that the data had indeed changed to 125. This what is going on? Did he make a mistake just now? Lao Qian still wanted to scold Xiaoli, but Yi Duoyan sent another message. Yi Duoyan, Lao Qian, I thought about it again and felt that this time it didn't mean anything. A lotus, buy it again. I decided to give myself another chance. If I win this time, I will continue to buy. Lao Qian sat back in front of the computer and took a deep breath. Lao Qian, I don't think it's necessary. I just think you're not very lucky today. He planned to play hard to get. The result was something Lao Qian didn't expect. This time, Yi Duoyan seemed to be quite obedient. Yi Duoyan. Well, I support you and I won't buy it. Old Qian. Why aren't you firm at all? Lao Qian quickly started typing again. Lao Qian, having said that, I think my prediction just now might be wrong. How about this, you just leave it to fate and choose a number you like to buy. Yi Duoyan, that's fine. Lao Qian quickly yelled at Xiao Li. 168. Make a mistake again this time, I'll tear your head off. Xiao Li quickly changed the background number to 168 and confirmed it several times. In the end, the prize was drawn and the number was 259. Yi Duolian. Oh, it seems that leaving everything to fate is not going to work. My luck is really bad, forget it. Lao Qian picked up the ashtray on the table and threw it at Xiao Li. You're a piece of shit, how did you get it wrong again? Even the single digit is wrong, is there something wrong with your brain? Xiao Li's head was smashed, he covered his head and cried loudly, pointing at the computer and said, I just changed it to 168, there is no way it is wrong. Damn you bastard, go chat with Yi Duolian. And make sure he keeps buying, I'll take care of the backstage. Xiao Li took a piece of paper to wipe the blood from his forehead, walked to Lao Qian's computer crying, and started chatting with Yi Duolian. Lao Qian, I think the first 2 times were really accidents. Buy it again, maybe you will win. Yi Duolian, I won't buy it anymore. I won't buy it no matter what. Yi Duolian, actually, I have set a goal for myself before, I will try to play with 200 yuan. If I lose, I will not play anymore unless someone can transfer some money to me. I will not play anymore. Seeing this, Xiao Li stole another glance at the ferocious-looking Lao Qian. If this customer runs away, Lao Qian will definitely not forgive him. Xiao Li transferred 100 yuan over with a distressed look on his face. The money was deposited into Yi Duolian's account, and Shen Feng and Zhang Wanwan could not get it. But Shen Feng didn't care. Yi Duolian, okay, then I'll buy another ticket. This time you decide which number I should buy, this is the last time. And I'll listen to you. Lao Qian, 789, you buy 789. A lotus. Okay, soon. Yi Duolian sent over the screenshots of the purchase. Xiao Li immediately told Lao Qian, and Lao Qian changed the background data to 789. After the change, Lao Qian angrily said, I just find it weird that you can make a mistake when changing a number. Did a dog chew your head? Xiao Li said, a grieved lie. I was definitely right when I changed it. You mean he can't transform himself? Old Qian sneered, you talk as if it's haunted, what a joke. If this number could change by itself, I'd. Before Lao Qian could finish his words, the website announced the prize. The winning numbers are 123. Lao Qian's face changed immediately. Chapter 219. Is it fun? What's wrong? Why did the background change by itself? All the old money people were dumbfounded. He is the boss of this fraud gang. But this website was not created by him, and he does not understand these technologies. He paid someone to design this website, and this problem has never occurred in several months of use. Why this time, the numbers set in the website backend would change by themselves? Boss, what should we do? This Yi Duolian seems very disappointed. He said before that he planned to bring his friends to play together, but now he says forget it and he won't play anymore. Xiao Li was looking at the chat history at this time, and his expression was not very good. I'll tell him to go and see if this can be fixed. Lao Qian said this and sat back in front of the computer. After taking a look at the chat history between Xiao Li and Yi Duolian, he frowned. Lao Qian, I don't know what happened today. My predictions suddenly became inaccurate. Lao Qian, but the real-time stock trading on this website is very popular recently. I bought 5,000 yuan of it a few days ago, and now it has increased to more than 30. 0 yuan, how about I take you to try it? Yi Duolian. My luck is really bad today. Let's just forget it. Lao Qian. Well, how about this? You listen to me later, we buy the same stock. If it goes up, we go up together, and if it goes down, I will be with you. Just treat it as a game, how about it? Lao Qian, or I can give you a sample first. And you can see the effect it's really fun. After typing this line, Lao Qian said to Xiao Li, don't bother with the lottery backstage for now. Get the stock trading one out. Xiao Li responded and called up another function of this scam website. Instant stock trading. Stock trading is actually very simple. You just spend money to choose a stock on the website and buy it. The stock situation will be refreshed every few minutes. If the stock price goes up, the money you earn will be returned with interest. If it falls, all your money is gone. Lao Qian asked Xiao Li to take a screenshot of buying 1,0 yuan worth of stocks, and then sent it to Yi Duolian. Lao Qian, picture Lian, I bought this stock for 1,0 yuan, just wait, you will make money in a while. Later, Lao Qian asked Xiao Li to adjust the stock price to increase in the background. Not long after, Lao Qian's 1,000 yuan turned into 500 yuan, and then Lao Qian asked Xiao Li to take a screenshot of the successful withdrawal. In order to make Yi Duolian believe, Lao Qian repeated the operation several times. There were ups and downs, but in the end he still made 4,000 or 5,000 yuan. Yi Duolian, why do I feel like this is more than what I earned from the lottery? Saliva. When Lao Qian saw Yi Duoyan's words, he was delighted. This spyhead carp has finally been hooked. Next, it's time to close the net. Lao Qian, it is very profitable. Buy one from me, you can buy a few hundred to try first. How about it? Yi Duoyan agreed readily. Lao Qian took him to buy several times. Of course, he would not let Yi Duoyan lose money at the beginning. He let Yi Duoyan make a little money almost every time. Moreover, there seemed to be no problem with the stock trading function. And there was no problem in the whole process. This made Lao Qian feel much better. Seeing that Yi Duoyan seemed to be getting more and more excited, Lao Qian, who was well versed in human nature, knew that the opportunity had come. Lao Qian, I'm really lucky today. I made money. I've made almost 30,000 yuan so far, brother. You're such a lucky star. Lao Qian. I won't say much. I'm going to buy a big one next. One worth 100,000. You don't have to follow me. I can do it myself. Lao Qian, 100,000. If you're lucky, earning 3 or 4 times that amount won't be a problem. Yi Duoyan, I seem to have made a lot of money. Why don't I invest with you? It worked, old Qian said excitedly. It wasn't wasted over an hour. Damn it, it finally worked. Although he was very happy, Lao Qian on the internet still looked like a good guy who was trying to persuade Yi Duoyan not to get too excited. Lao Qian, there's really no need. Brother, what if I lose? Although I have been winning today, it is still risky. I'd better do it myself. Yi Duoyan, why should I be afraid of risks? I have been making money for almost an hour. Even if I lose, I will definitely make it back later. It's okay. Yi Duoyan, you invest first, then send me a screenshot and tell me which stock you invested in. And I will invest with you. Seeing that Yi Duoyan was so proactive, Lao Qian was so happy that he went crazy. This fat sheep is so stupid and optimistic. He is so gullible. He immediately said to Xiao Li, just pick a stock and take a screenshot of buying 100,000 yuan and send it to me. Their websites are all fake. So Lao Qian naturally won't spend money to buy things on their websites. All the purchase data are modified through the background of the website. Xiao Li immediately found a stock and planned to change the data in the background to buy 100,000 yuan. But after opening the background of this stock, Xiao Li found that he could not change the data of this stock. It's like the backend is malfunctioning. Xiao Li thought there was something wrong with the stock. So he quickly changed it and tried again. But the result of retrying is still that the background data cannot be changed. Seeing that Xiao Li hadn't finished the job after a long time, old Qian became a little anxious. He frowned and walked over to Xiao Li and said, "What's wrong with you? Is it so difficult to change the data and take a screenshot?" "No, that's not it. Boss, look, the backend doesn't seem to be working anymore." Xiao Li quickly pointed at the computer screen and defended himself. "I was able to change it just now, and now I don't know what's going on." Lao Qian pushed Xiao Li away and sat in front of the computer to take a look. Sure enough, I found that the data of each stock could not be modified through the background. What the hell is this crappy website? Why does it always go wrong at critical moments? Lao Qian cursed, went back to his computer, picked up his phone, and wanted to call the person who made the website. However, before he could make the call, Lao Qian discovered that Yi Duoyan had sent him several more messages. "Yi Duoyan, are you done? Why is it so slow this time?" "Yi Duoyan, if it's not good, I won't buy it. My wife is about to get off work, and I can't let her see me doing this. I have to leave first." Seeing that the big fat sheep was about to run away, Lao Qian could no longer sit still. He is well aware of the psychology of these online gamblers. Most of them are obsessed with making money in a short period of time and end up spending on impulse. Now that Yi Duoyan has made money from their website and is in an impulsive stage, it is willing to play big with him and invest more money. If we don't induce Yi Duoyan to invest the money now, but let her run away, then after Yi Duoyan calms down, she may not be willing to take the risk and invest so much money at once. Opportunity is fleeting. Once lost, it will never come back. Lao Qian thought about it and suddenly looked at the phone in his hand. The phone was linked to his bank card, which contained money he had defrauded. He took a deep breath, selected a stock on the website, and chose to buy it. The purchase amount is 100,000 yuan. Paid by mobile phone. Since there is no way to fake the background, he might as well just buy the 100,000 yuan one. In the end, no matter whether the stock price rises or falls, the money will not flow into the hands of outsiders. After paying 100,000 yuan, Lao Qian sent a screenshot of the stock purchase to Yi Duoyan. "Lao Qian, picture brother, I'm sorry, the network was stuck just now." "Lao Qian, I have already bought it. You can buy it with me. Let's try it out with 100,000. After Lao Qian has distributed all these, he is just waiting to slaughter the fat sheep. But the next piece of news made Lao Qian dumbfounded. "System, you and the other party are not friends. Please add a friend before chatting. Moreover, There was a big red exclamation mark behind the message sent by Lao Qian, indicating that the message failed to be sent. An ominous premonition rose in Lao Qian's heart. Could it be that the other party discovered it? Lao Qian hurriedly sent several messages to Yi Duoyan, but the messages were released anyway. Yi Duoyan not only deleted him as a friend, but also blocked him. Old Qian was so angry that he slammed his hand on the table. "Fuck you, how dare you play tricks on me? Everything went wrong today." And Lao Qian's blood pressure was almost high due to anger. Seeing this, Xiao Li hurriedly advised, "It's okay. It's okay, boss, we didn't lose anything anyway. Although Yi Duoyan won money on the website. If he wanted to withdraw the money, it had to go through their back-end review. If they do not approve it, Yi Duoyan will not be able to withdraw the money it has won. And Lao Qian can also get back the 100,000 yuan he invested. So in the final analysis, at most they lost a customer and wasted a little time. But they did not lose money. Although Lao Qian knew this, he still cursed for a long time. Finally, he gritted his teeth and said, "Go, return the 100,000 yuan to me." Xiao Li responded and hurried to the back end of the website, intending to return the 100,000 yuan that Lao Qian had just invested. As a result, when Xiao Li went backstage and took a look, he immediately screamed. What the fuck happened again? Old Qian was going crazy at this moment. He walked to Xiao Li angrily and looked up. His face suddenly turned pale. The website backend displays the balance of funds within the website. When they were cheating more people in the past, this number even reached 7 figures. And now, the balance of funds displayed in the background is only a single digit. A big zero. Just when Lao Qian was dumbfounded, the cell phone in his hand suddenly rang. Lao Qian answered the phone and said in a very unpleasant tone, "Who? What for?" No one spoke on the other end of the phone. There was only a rattling noise. It's like someone is chewing something. Lao Qian thought it was some spam call and was about to hang up. And someone on the other end of the line asked, "Is it fun?" Old Qian frowned and said angrily, "What the hell are you talking about? Are you crazy? What's fun or not? You are crazy." Having said that, he was about to hang up the phone. But the next words from the person on the other end of the phone made Lao Qian's hands freeze. "Is it fun to have all your money swindled out of you?" Chapter 220. My daughter is sorry for you. Chen Feng sat in front of the computer, holding the mouse in one hand and the phone in the other. Zhang Wanwan held a cup of milk tea and some popcorn, and watched Chen Sheng's operation as if she was watching a movie. Chen Feng was talking on the phone with Lao Qian while eating the popcorn that Zhang Wanwan fed him. The sound of chewing was endless. After swallowing the popcorn in his mouth, Chen Feng asked, "Old Qian, right? How do you feel about being cheated?" "Fuck you, you're the one who fucked me, right?" On the other end of the phone, Lao Qian suddenly cursed out loud. The curse was so deafening that Chen Feng held the phone farther away. Only after Lao Qian finished yelling did Chen Feng put the phone back to his ear. "Don't be angry, it's just for fun." Chen Feng smiled and said, "This is just a 100,000 yuan scam for an old man like you. 100,000 yuan is just a small amount of money. You cheated people out of hundreds of thousands of dollars, and some of them were left with heavy loans and family ruin. But you didn't feel any guilt if I cheated you out of 100. Zero, how is that any different from playing? Fuck you. You little bastard, you've messed with me. Has no one ever taught you how to write the word death? Don't let me find out where you live, or I'll hire someone to chop your whole family to pieces." Lao Qian was really anxious this time. After all, he has always been the one who lies. Now, not only was he cheated, but he was also played around like a monkey. This feeling cannot be described by the word shameful. It's like a butcher who has raised pigs and eaten pork for 10 years and is finally slaughtered by the pigs. "Come if you can find out, but do you know who I am?" Shen Cheng said with a smile. "Do you think I'm really a lotus? Do you think I called you using my number? You know nothing about me. But I know a lot about you." Qian Wansong. When Lao Qian's real name was revealed, the curse words he was about to utter seemed to be stuck. Even within the circle, even among his employees, few people know his real name. Why did the person who called? "Not only do I know your name, I also know where you live now, how many people are in your studio, how many branch studios you have, and even, I don't even know your bank card secret." Shen Sheng continued speaking. Old Qian swallowed. He knew that he could neither show weakness nor give in at this moment. So he said stubbornly, "What are you talking about? I don't know any Qian Wansong, so stop provoking me. You don't believe it? Then I'll withdraw some money from your bank card and let you see it." As soon as Shen Feng finished speaking, Lao Qian heard the text message alert sound from his mobile phone. When he opened the text message, Lao Qian almost fainted. "Your XX bank card with the last number 2233 has just transferred to 0 yuan, and the current balance is 2,549,943 yuan. How the hell did you know my card and password? Return the money to me immediately, or I'll make you pay. Listening to Lao Qian's angry voice, Shen Feng sighed helplessly. You are an online fraudster, but you don't even know the transfer limit? There is a limit on the single transfer of your card. Do you think it is possible for me to transfer 2 million to you at once? Look carefully, who sent you this text message? Lao Qian looked at the sender of the text message and found that the text message was sent from the number that called him. You damn brat, are you still teasing me? At this moment, Lao Qian heard the sound of a text message on his mobile phone again. When he looked, it was another money transfer text message. Your XX bank card with the last number 2233 has just transferred 1,000 yuan, and the current balance is 3,549,943 yuan. Fuck. Are you done yet? Isn't it enough to play this trick once? Old Qian said angrily. Shen Feng raised his eyebrows and said, look carefully, this text message is really sent to you by the bank. When Lao Qian took a look, he found that the sender of this text message was indeed the bank where he deposited his money. This time, the transfer was really successful. Old money is about to explode. 1 million. He was so nervous when doing the fraud that he only made 3 or 4 million after all this time. The brat across the street transferred away 1 million so easily. What the hell is going on? As a result, when Lao Qian was about to collapse, Shen Feng said again, don't worry, it's just a joke. I used software to disguise my mobile phone number. In fact, this text message was not sent to you by the bank, but by me. If you don't believe me, just check your balance on your bank app. Old Qian almost didn't know which of Shen Feng's words were true. He simply hurriedly opened the banking app on his phone, logged in, and looked at his bank card balance. As a result, he almost vomited blood when he saw this. Bank card balance. 0.66 yuan. I really can't take out that 66 cents. So you can keep it and buy 2 pieces of bubble gum. Chen Cheng said gently, I hope the sweet taste of bubble gum can heal your injured heart now. I'm going to hang up first, BIBA. Wait a moment. Lao Qian quickly stopped Shen Feng. You give me back the money. Otherwise, believe it or not. No. Chen Cheng interrupted Lao Qian directly. You don't know who I am, and you don't know where I am. If I hang up the phone now and remove the SIM card, you will never find me again in this life. Even if I pass by you, you may not recognize me. How else can you deal with me? Old Qian shook for a long time. Finally, he gritted his teeth and said, believe it or not, I will call the police. This sound was not Shen Feng's laughter. It was Zhang Wanwan who was eavesdropping nearby who laughed. She really couldn't hold it in any longer. A scammer called the police and said that he was cheated by a scammer? What is this called? Is it industry involution? Shen Feng also wanted to laugh. But he is professionally trained. Trying hard not to laugh, Chen Cheng said to Lao Qian, if you call the police, who do you think will be arrested first, you or me? At worst we'll be arrested together. Lao Qian said angrily, you have cheated me of all my money. So I will fight you to the death. Don't get excited. Don't get excited. Shen Cheng said with a smile, it's just a few million. Isn't it? It's just a small amount of money. Is it that important? As an online fraudster, can you have some goals and ambitions instead of giving up your future for such a small amount of money? Shen Cheng looked like a psychological counselor. If you don't have dreams, you are just like salted fish. You have to believe in yourself. Even if you lose all your money, you can get it back. How about this? I can give you the money back out of pity. But I have a condition. Lao Qian, you say. Lao Qian actually still wanted to curse. But he knew that he no longer had the qualifications to curse in front of Shen Feng. The person on the other end of the phone is really too annoying. A relative of mine was deceived by you, so I came to you. He originally trusted you, but since he was deceived by you, he feels hurt and there is no love in the world. He cries every day and has mental problems. He wants you to make a short video in which you admit your mistake and apologize to him. If you can do that, I will return your money to you. Old Qian was silent for a long time. Finally, he gritted his teeth and agreed. Shen Cheng gave Lao Qian an email address, and Lao Qian quickly sent the recorded video to him. In the video, Lao Qian said upright, facing the camera honestly, and told the mistakes he had made, and expressed sincere apologies. Shen Feng did not respond immediately after receiving the video. Instead, Lao Qian had to wait in agony for more than half an hour. When Lao Qian could hardly bear it any longer, Shen Feng expressed his satisfaction. Well done, I'll return your money. Shen Cheng called Lao Qian again. But after saying this, he hung up the phone immediately. Lao Qian soon saw the balance in his mobile banking app returned to normal. Lao Qian wiped the cold sweat from his forehead and felt exhausted all over. So scary. He has been cheating people for so long that he thinks he has mastered all the tricks. But it was not until today that he realized that he was so gullible in front of certain people. Xiaoli, ask Lao Xiao and Lao Shang to check this email address. Damn it, I must find this person at all costs. Lao Qian said slowly. I must make him pay the price. As soon as Lao Qian finished speaking, he heard a knock on the door. Lao Qian got up to open the door, took a look outside through the peephole and found that it seemed to be a delivery man. He opened the door, but the next second, several people rushed in, pushed him to the ground and handcuffed him. We received an anonymous email report half an hour ago. Based on the clues provided, we found a suspect who was suspected of being involved in multiple online fraud cases. A man in delivery uniform took off his delivery helmet and put on a police hat. He on one song, the police suspect, you are the mastermind of these online fraud cases. Now, come with us. And at this time, Shen Feng, who reported Lao Qian half an hour ago through video and some collected evidence, has left the internet cafe. He was driving Zhang Wanwan to the training base. Zhang Wanwan was holding her new mobile phone and typing happily. Shen Feng took a look and then asked, what are you doing? I'll tell my dad about Lao Qian's story. It's such a fun thing. I must make him happy too. Shen Feng smiled and said nothing more. But a few minutes later, Shen Feng received a call. He stopped the car on the side of the road and answered the phone. Zhang Ziyi's angry roar was heard from the phone. Shen Feng, didn't I tell you not to tell Zhang Wanwan about this? Shen Chang said helplessly, it wasn't me who said that. She heard it herself. And don't worry, Dad didn't Wanwan tell you that we have already solved this matter. This is what makes me most angry. Zhang Ziyi sounded like he was about to cry. Is this silly girl blind? Why did she post this to the family group? Shen Feng glared and quickly took the phone from Zhang Wanwan's hand. Sure enough, I saw Zhang Wanwan posted everything about Zhang Ziyi and Lao Qian to the family group of Zhang Wanwan and Zhang Ziyi. Zhang Wanwan also realized at this moment that she seemed to have sent the message to the wrong place. So she quickly snatched back the phone and tried to withdraw it. But unfortunately, it seems too late to withdraw now. Zhang Wanwan looked at Shen Feng awkwardly with an expression as if she had done something wrong. Fengzi, what should I do? Shen Cheng took a deep breath. Then he said to Zhang Ziyi, Dad, take care of yourself. After saying that, he hung up the phone without caring what Zhang Ziyi wanted to say. And Zhang Ziyi was blocked on both his mobile phone and WeChat. Zhang Wanwan also quickly did the same. She first sent a message to Zhang Ziyi saying, Dad, I love you Dad, I'm sorry, and then blocked Zhang Ziyi at the speed of light. Finally, I quit the family group. After doing this, the two looked at each other. Nothing happened today, right? Zhang Wanwan cleared her throat and said guiltily. Although escaping is shameful, it is useful. Having said that afternoon, Zhang Wanwan still received a video sent by her neighbor. The content of the video was roughly that Zhang Ziyi stands humbly at the door of his house, begging Su Yan to open the door for him. Zhang Wanwan felt sorry for her father. So she sent a message to Su Yan begging for mercy. Zhang Wanwan, Mom, Dad didn't do it on purpose, and he wasn't defrauded of much. Just 300,000 yuan. Fengzi has helped catch the scammer. So the money should be returned. Su Yan took a few minutes to reply. Su Yan, 300,000. Zhang Ziyi told me 30,000. Great, you still dare to lie to me even now. I was thinking of letting him go tonight. But now he won't be allowed to come back home this month. Zhang Wanwan covered her face silently. Dad, I'm sorry. Chapter 221. Your pants are torn. In the evening, Shen Feng and Zhang Wanwan returned to the training base. It was just time for dinner. Shen Feng and Zhang Wanwan had parked the car and were about to go to the cafeteria to eat when they saw a very strange scene. At the entrance of the cafeteria, which should have been crowded, a rare diversion occurred. The crowd quickly split into two groups when they reached the cafeteria entrance, taking a detour as if to avoid something. From a distance, Shen Feng and Zhang Wanwan could only see a figure sitting on the empty steps in the middle of the crowd. When they got closer, they discovered it. The figure sitting on the steps, cutting through the crowd of people eating, turned out to be Director Tian from the youth program crew. Director Tian, what's wrong with you? Are you heartbroken? When Shen Feng and Zhang Wanwan came to the front, Zhang Wanwan looked at Director Tian, who had a worried look on his face, and asked. Director Tian rolled his eyes and said, My child is already a kid. How can I lose my love? And why are you squatting here with a constipated look on your face? Zhang Wanwan asked, Are you really constipated? Director Tian's eyes wandered for a moment, and then he sighed. I am in more pain than constipation now. The show will be back on air tomorrow. But to be honest, I feel a little nervous right now. During the 2 days of suspension, the online reviews of Youth Team were mixed. Many people said that our show had no highlights and was too bland. Zhang Wanwan nodded. It's true that it's quite bland without any explosive points. They are right. Director Tian said helplessly, yes. Because our trainee development program is more suitable for post-editing and recording. During the live broadcast, more than half of the day is spent on shooting the trainees' training. What explosive points can there be? So I was thinking, when we resume broadcasting tomorrow, is there any way to increase the popularity? Shen Feng, who was standing by, asked in confusion. You want to think about it, but why are you sitting at the entrance of the cafeteria? Why don't you go in or go back to think about it? Director Tian looked a little embarrassed, but he coughed and changed the subject. I like the quiet feeling at the entrance of the cafeteria. It can give me inspiration. Zhang Wanwan glanced at the bustling crowd around her. Is this quiet? It's okay, you two don't have to worry about me. Just go eat. Director Tian smiled and patted Shen Feng and Zhang Wanwan, signaling them to leave quickly. Zhang Wanwan actually showed a rare sense of loyalty at this moment. That won't work, we are the creators of the show, so we have to help you think of a solution. Zhang Wanwan said. Director Tian's expression immediately turned much uglier. Actually, the reason why Director Tian sat on the steps in front of the cafeteria was not because he was really worried about the highlight of tomorrow's show. This was just a random excuse he made up after seeing Shen Feng and Zhang Wanwan coming over. The real reason why he was sitting on the steps like a roadblock. Because his pants ripped. If Director Tian stood up now, Shen Feng and Zhang Wanwan would be able to see the big flowered shorts under his ripped pants. When Director Tian came to the cafeteria to eat, his pants inexplicably tore. What made Director Tian feel most embarrassed was that there were many contestants and staff members who were having dinner around him at that time. Whether he turned around and walked away or walked into the cafeteria, his flowery shorts and round buttocks would be seen by others. He is a director, the soul of the entire program team. How can the underwear of the soul be easily seen by others? So Director Tian made a prompt decision. I chose to sit down where I was. Pretending to be deep in thought, he turned into a roadblock in front of the cafeteria door. He is waiting for the assistant director to rescue him. He had already sent a message to the assistant director, asking him to find a way to pick him up. With the assistant director's protection, he should be able to leave safely. But the assistant director hadn't arrived yet. But Shen Feng and Zhang Wanwan arrived first. In order to save his own position, Director Tian made up an excuse that he was thinking about the breaking point, and then wanted to send Shen Sheng and Zhang Wanwan away. He didn't expect that these two people would sit next to him, looking like they wanted to think about the difficult problem with him. Director Tian felt a little numb. In fact, I think it's very easy to create a flashpoint. To put it bluntly, a flashpoint is a contradiction or conflict. If you want a flashpoint, just create a conflict in tomorrow's selection. Zhang Wanwan kindly helped Director Tian analyze the situation. Chen Feng also nodded. For example, we can change the system of the four of us selecting people to a competition for people, and compete through some kind of competition to compete for the priority selection quota. What you said makes sense. Director Tian wiped his face and said, I have benefited a lot from this. I won't waste your time anymore. Go eat. Why don't you come along? We can eat together and I can give you some advice while we eat. It's my treat. Zhang Wanwan is very enthusiastic. Director Tian quickly declined, saying, I'm here to wait for someone, the assistant director. He hasn't come yet, so you guys go eat first. Director Tian had just finished speaking. The assistant director came over. Director Tian, let me help. Che. Without waiting for the assistant director to finish his words, Director Tian quickly made a gesture to silence him. Zhang Wanwan's eyes lit up and she said, Hey, isn't the assistant director here too? Let's go, Director Tian. Let's go to the cafeteria to eat together. Director Tian thought to himself that the assistant director came at the wrong time. If he continued to sit there now, Zhang Wanwan would definitely suspect him. If I stand up, then there is no need to doubt it. It is exposed directly. Moreover, there were still many people coming in and out of the cafeteria. Many fans of Shen Feng and Zhang Wanwan even stopped to look over here. Some were even taking photos with their cell phones. Director Tian felt that if he stood up now, he would be socially dead for the rest of his life. Fortunately, Shen Feng still noticed that something was wrong with Director Tian. Seeing Director Tian's awkward expression, Shen Feng took the initiative to pull Zhang Wanwan and said, Okay, brother one, let's go first. Why not together? Because I have something to tell you in private. As Shen Feng spoke, he dragged Zhang Wanwan away. Before leaving, Chen Sheng saw Director Tian giving him a grateful look. Hey, brother Shen, Wanwan, you guys are back. Jiat Nan and Li Tingting happened to come out of the cafeteria at this moment. Seeing Shen Feng and Zhang Wanwan coming towards him, Jiat Nan greeted them with a smile. After a few people chatted for a while, Jiat Nan and Li Tingting were about to walk out. At this time, Director Tian had just stood up under the cover of the assistant director. Not many people noticed him now. Even the players passing by were mostly looking at Shenfeng and Jay Adnan and the others. It's a good time to leave. The assistant director took a piece of black cloth and was about to help Director Tian wrap it around his waist to cover his buttocks. As a result, this scene was discovered by the sharp-eyed Jay Adnan. I don't know if this guy was sincere or intentional. He just shouted out, "Director, your pants are torn." Moment. Dozens of pairs of eyes at the cafeteria entrance all looked at Director Tian's butt. Rao Shi, the assistant director, hurriedly wrapped the black cloth around Director Tian's waist. There are still people who took photos of the fleeting spring light. Director Tian turned and looked at Jay Yatnam. Those eyes that seemed to have lost all hope in life seemed to be revealing for big words. "You, sir." Chapter 222 Suggestions for Increasing Efforts. Director Tian's image was not saved in the end. In order to buy out his own embarrassing photos, Director Tian even sent red envelopes privately to several contestants. The amount is unknown. Zhang Wanwan was so heartbroken when she knew about this. But she didn't feel sorry for Director Tian. "I felt sorry for not taking a picture as a souvenir." Fortunately, most of the contestants still know their limits. The news that a famous director showed off his flowery shorts in front of the cafeteria did not become a hot search on Weibo in the end. The next day, amidst the weird, teasing, and sarcastic looks from a group of contestants, Director Tian, wearing a brand new pair of pants and holding a microphone, stood in front of the camera. After making sure that his pants were intact, Director Tian announced the start of the live broadcast with a serious face. There were already quite a few viewers waiting in the live broadcast room. As soon as the live broadcast started, the barrage of comments started to appear. Director Tian cleared his throat and said to the camera, "Welcome everyone to the live broadcast room of Youth Group. What we are going to do next is the second round of eliminations of Youth Group. Unlike the first elimination round, this round will have the 4 head coaches personally involved in the coaching of the contestants. Each head coach can only keep a maximum of 10 contestants for the next round." And Director Tian's voice suddenly rose a little. "It's not that easy for the 4 head coaches to select guest coaches and contestants today. Our program team has set up some challenges and competitions. The 4 head mentors will have to go through these challenges and competitions to decide the winner. The person with the highest ranking will be eligible to select the guest mentors and contestants first, while the person with the lowest ranking can only choose what others have left." After Director Tian said this, the contestants and the audience were a little shocked. Because Director Tian had not mentioned before that the 4 head coaches would still have a competition today. Wen Hua, Liu Mingyu, Shen Feng, Zhang Wanwan, to be able to bring these 2 big names into top stars together for a competition. Maybe only Minglai Entertainment is that rich, right? I originally came here just to watch the talent show, but I didn't expect to see 4 big names competing against each other. Not much to say, I have already locked my fans in the Q group. We want to see Shen Feng and Zhang Wanwan love and hate each other. Shen Feng and Zhang Wanwan looked at each other and raised their eyebrows slightly. It seems that although Director Tian lost face yesterday, he still listened to what they said about the breaking points. He's a really good director who can still think about the show even when his pants are torn. Zhang Wanwan sighed. "Zhang Wanwan, can you please turn off the microphone before you whisper?" Director Tian's face almost turned green. Although Zhang Wanwan praised him as a good director, he didn't feel any joy at being praised. Zhang Wanwan quickly turned off the microphone. However, many viewers still heard what she just said. "The pants are torn." What pants are torn? Are the director's pants torn? They look fine to me. Inside information, a friend of mine was at the training base, and he said that yesterday, Director Tian's pants seemed. Director Tian tried his best not to look at the comments, resisting the urge to cover his face and run away, and continued. "Next, please invite the 4 chief instructors to come forward." Shen Feng, Zhang Wanwan, Liu Mingyu and Wen Hua all walked up to Director Tian. "4 of you, you will have to go through 3 rounds of challenges. The first place in each round will get 4 points. The second place will get 3 points, and so on after 3 rounds of challenges. We will tally the scores. The person with the highest score will have the opportunity to choose the guest mentors and their contestants first." Shen Feng was fine, but Zhang Wanwan, Liu Mingyu and Wen Hua were all eager to try. They all understand what it means to give priority to selecting guest mentors and contestants. You know, up to now in the show, there are only a few outstanding contestants. For example, Sitiyu, Shenwei, Zhang Tianming, and several other popular contestants. If any chief mentor wins this competition and gets the right to select guest mentors first, he can choose guest mentors for these popular contestants. Selecting for guest mentors first is equivalent to selecting for a more dark horse contestants first. How could I miss such an opportunity? Seeing that everyone was very motivated, Director Tian nodded with satisfaction. Then he said, "Then, we will start with the first round of challenges. The challenge items will be decided by a systematic lottery. The four of you can choose a representative to conduct the lottery. Because Liu Mingyu and Wenhua are the elders, and Wenhua is a woman. Lady first, the other three expressed their willingness to let Wenhua draw lots first. The last challenge Wenhua drew was 123, Wooden Man. The rules are the same as those of the statue game. But in order to increase the fun, the program team imitated a scene from the recently popular TV series Octopus Game. Have a staff member stand next to the track with a water gun. When he sees anyone moving, he will spray them with water. Anyone sprayed by the water gun will be eliminated. In addition, the eliminated chief mentor can continue the game in the form of a ghost, using props such as ocean balls and inflatable hammers given by the program team to as those who have not been eliminated. The game is played in 3 rounds. The player with the highest average ranking in the 3 rounds will win the first place in the Wooden Man competition. After understanding the rules, Director Tian asked the 4 head instructors to go to the preparation area for the statue game. In the TV series Octopus Game, the end of the statue game is a scary big-headed doll, which turns its head to look at the contestants while singing scary nursery rhymes. In order to avoid copyright issues, Director Tian did not create a big-headed doll, but instead let Jayat Nan stand at the finish line. The Jayat Nams were all confused. What does this have to do with him? Director, do I have a role in this game? No one told me in advance. I'm not prepared at all. Jayat Nam, who was forcibly dragged to the finish line, looked confused. Director Tian smiled at Jayat Nan with a sinister smile. No need to prepare in advance, you just need to listen to the horror music in the background. And turn your head when the music stops. Jayat Nan always felt that Director Tian's smile was weird. You are not trying to trick me, are you? I tell you, I have been tricked by Shenfeng many times, I am very experienced. If you do a good job, I'll give you a raise. When you say that, I feel like there's something wrong. If you do a good job, I'll give Li Ting a raise. Li Ting, who was still participating in the program as a guest, became excited after hearing it. She winked at Jayat Nam. Jayat Nam shook his head at her. Li Ting bared his teeth at Jayat Nan again. Jayat Nan continued to shake his head in grievance. Li Ting made a gesture as if to cut someone's throat. Jayat Nam walked silently to the end. Seeing that Jayat Nam was in position, Director Tian clapped his hands and said, "Okay, the 4 chief instructors, please get ready. 3, 2, 1, the first round of the statue game begins." Following Director Tian's order, at the finish line, the sound of music came from the 2 large speakers next to Jayat Nan at the same time. Surprisingly, it was Love Until Death, sung by Jayat Nan himself. Fuck, what the hell is this? Listening to the 3D Twational surround sound version of Love Until Death, the people of Jayat Nam were stunned. No wonder Director Tian insisted that he stand here. Jayat Nam, whose face turned pale with fear at the pig slaughtering singing voice, tried to cover his ears hastily. At the other end of the track, Shenfeng, Zhao Wanwan, Liu Mingyu and Wenhu all started covering their ears at the same time. But just when they wanted to cover their ears with their hands, the music suddenly stopped. Because the sound stopped so suddenly, none of the 4 people had time to react. Liu Mingyu and Shen were sprayed with water guns because their hands were still moving when the music ended. Eliminated on the spot. Zhao Wanwan and Wenhua, because their ears were blocked quickly before, their hands were no longer moving when the music stopped. So they were lucky enough not to be eliminated. Barely managed to save his life. Not to mention the 4 head coaches on the field. Now the audience is stunned. Damn, Director Tian is really a devil. When playing Jayat Nam's song, the first reaction of normal people is either to cover their ears or turn around and run. The director deliberately cut off the sound at this time, which really makes human nature clear. I didn't expect that Feng Zi, would be the first one to be eliminated. Could it be that even the almighty Feng Zi couldn't withstand the magic sound of Jayat Nan? What I am more concerned about is that after Wang Ji and Wenhua blocked their ears, they couldn't hear when the music started, and when it stopped, wouldn't it be more difficult to play the game? If you want to play the game normally, you have to listen to Jayat Nan's songs. If you don't listen to the songs, you might lose the game. Director Tian, you are great. Is there no one among you who cares about Xiao Jia? Suddenly someone posted a comment like this. Xiao Jia is listening to his famous songs in front of 2 big speakers. Is this already one of the top 10 tortures? Indeed. Xiao Jia must have offended the director. He shouldn't have committed such a crime. From the Xiao Jia fan club, the program crew is not allowed to target our Xiao Jia like this. Just as this group of people were chatting about this, the song Love Until Death, which had just stopped playing, started again. Listening to the magical sounds coming from computers or mobile phones, many viewers' faces turned green. The viewers who had just posted comments to defend Jeonim's heart were pounding as they listened. From Xiao Jia's fan club, Xiao Jia has brought trouble upon himself. We suggest the program team to step up their efforts. Chapter 223, Oh, as if she is by my side. At this time, on the wooden man's track, apart from Jay Atnam, who was almost stunned by his own singing at the finish line, there were only two contestants left. Zhang Wanwan, Wen Hua. To the sound of the thrilling song Love Until Death, the two ran towards Jay Atnam at the finish line. Maybe it's because this yin music is to yin. So Wen Hua and Zhang Wanwan's expressions were somewhat ferocious. If I didn't know the rules of the game, I would have thought that Wen Ji and Wen Hua were going to kill Ji Atnan. Stop talking, I would kill him too. Really? Amid the discussion in the barrage, the music suddenly stopped again. Perhaps because they were on guard. Zhang Wanwan and Wen Hua quickly stopped their actions this time. He turned into a motionless wooden man. As for Shen Sheng and Liu Mingyu, who were eliminated, it is time for them to take action. A program team specially prepared a lot of props such as ocean balls and inflatable hammers, so that those who were eliminated can harass the players on the field. Liu Mingyu immediately picked up a handful of ocean balls and threw them at the two people on the field. Chen Feng couldn't help but look at him. Why are you two smashing it together? What else? Liu Mingyu asked. Shouldn't you help sister Wen Huan and just hit Zhang Wanwan? Never mind. Liu Mingyu shook his head. I'm afraid I can't beat her. As a loyal fan of the Circle Lot couple, who has watched all the episodes of Let's Start Dating Today, Liu Mingyu is well aware of Zhang Wanwan's fighting ability. If Liu Mingyu specifically targeted Zhang Wanwan, he would be afraid of retaliation. Liu Mingyu did not specifically target Zhang Wanwan, which made it difficult for Shen Feng to deal with Wen Hua. After all, Wen Hua is an old senior, and they have a good relationship with each other. It is somewhat impolite to hit someone with things. So after thinking for a moment, Shen Feng walked up to Wen Hua with a serious face. Just when Wen Hua looked at Shen Feng in confusion, Shen Feng, who had a serious face a second ago, suddenly rolled his eyes and made a face. A serious person suddenly making a funny expression is more likely to make people laugh than a funny person making a funny expression. So Shen Feng planned to use this method to force Wen Hua to fail. And it turned out that Shen Feng's idea was not wrong. When he made such a face, someone was indeed ruined. The only pity is that it wasn't Wen Hua who failed, but it was Zhang Wanwan who was peeking at the side. When Zhang Wanwan walked toward Shen Feng, her eyes were always glancing in Shen Feng's direction. I want to see how Shen Feng plans to deal with Wen Hua. As a result, Shen Feng made a face that made Zhang Wanwan unable to hold back. I laughed out loud on the spot. Although Wen Hua couldn't help laughing afterwards. The director team judged that Zhang Wanwan was the first to laugh. Therefore, in this first round of the game, Wen Hua won the first place. Zhang Wanwan only got second place. Wen Ji, why did you laugh first? Feng Zi's move is indiscriminate attack, killing teammates first, then opponents. Feng Zi tried his best. I couldn't help myself when he suddenly made a face. Shell's move the clams can't live anymore. Originally I didn't feel like laughing when Shen Feng made faces, but after Wanwan started laughing I couldn't help it. The audience in the Leaf broadcast room were also very happy at this moment. Back to the starting point, Zhang Wanwan took a deep breath. I made a mistake just now, I will definitely be able to hold it in this time and won't laugh again. Zhang Wanwan said, you can make faces as much as you want this time, but if you smile again, I lose. When Shen Feng heard this, he suddenly called Zhang Wanwan, brother what? Zhang Wanwan looked at Shen Feng. Shen Feng made a face in front of Zhang Wanwan. Zhang Wanwan. I don't know why, I can't help laughing when I see you making faces. I could have held back before. Zhang Wanwan laughed so hard that tears almost came out. Seeing this, Wen Hua and Liu Mingyu came over to join in the fun. When Zhang Wanwan stopped smiling, the two of them came to her side and made faces at her. Zhang Wanwan. Zhang Wanwan looked calm, with no emotion on her face. Then Shen Feng made another face. Zhang Wanwan. I can really hold it back when I see other people. Why can't I hold it back when I see you? Zhang Wanwan laughed so hard that she slapped her thigh. Seeing Zhang Wanwan smiling like a fool, many viewers couldn't help but express their feelings in the barrage. I feel like I've been touched again. I won't smile at anyone else but you. How sweet. Sweet? I can only feel that Wen Ji's smile is silly. Other girls would smile like children in front of their lovers. But Wanwan is different, she smiles like a fool in front of her lover. I'll remember you. The one above. I'll go tell Wanwan on you later and put 10 circle locks on your door tomorrow. Alright. The four head coaches, stop playing and let's continue the competition. Director Tian then took the microphone and asked Shen Feng and the others to get back on the track. But before the game started, Zhang Wanwan raised her hand and said, Director Tian, can you change the music? If you play Ji Atnan's songs again, someone will die. Cannot. Director Tian said righteously. The essence of this game is Jay Atnam's song. Jay Atnam raised his hand again and said, as the singer, can I ask you not to use this song? Cannot. Director Tian then said righteously, "You are not the original singer of this song. You are just singing a cover. Besides, our program team has paid the copyright fee. We can use it however we want. Okay, no more bargaining." The second round of the Wooden Man competition begins now. Following Director Tian's order, the music of Love Until Death sounded again. Chen Feng, Zhang Wanwan and a few others, despite the devilish sound filling their ears, ran towards the finish line. Jayat Nan. After running to steps, the music stopped abruptly. The three of them stopped at the same time. Except Liu Mingyu, who stopped too quickly and lost his balance, and was eliminated again. After Liu Mingyu was eliminated this time, he no longer used the ocean ball to harass indiscriminately. Instead, he took a few ocean balls and walked in front of Shen Feng, Zhang Wanwan, and Wen Hua. Then he began to toss the ocean ball in his hand up and down, like juggling. Several ocean balls flew around in his hands. Liu Mingyu made faces while throwing the ocean ball. Zhang Wanwan remained indifferent. Shen Shang remained indifferent. Wen Hua seemed to want to laugh, but he held it back. But at this moment, Liu Mingyu's hands became chaotic. There were two balls that were not caught, so Liu Mingyu became flustered. In the end, there was no time to catch several balls, and some of them hit Liu Mingyu directly on the head. Wen Hua, who had been able to hold back his laughter before, couldn't help it now and laughed out loud. Eliminated on the spot. Only Shen Feng and Zhang Wanwan were left, still standing on the field. "Here we go, husband and wife battle. Come on Feng Zi. Take down Wanwan. 1G, go ahead." For those who are cheering for Wanwan, I can only say that you are wishful thinking. You really don't understand the value of our Feng Zi. An all-round artist. Those who cheer for Feng Zi are really crazy. I don't really think Feng Zi is Wanwan's opponent. Do they? Don't you see who usually controls whom? The barrage immediately split into two factions. Some people cheered for Shen Feng, and some people cheered for Zhang Wanwan. The two sides were arguing fiercely, and those who didn't know would think that Shen Feng and Zhang Wanwan were sworn enemies who would never meet each other. At this time, Shen Feng was looking at Zhang Wanwan. There seemed to be an indescribable atmosphere of oppression in the air. It was as if Shen Feng and Zhang Wanwan were some kind of peerless masters who could release a sense of oppression when confronting each other. The audience, who had been noisy before, were infected by this atmosphere and could not help but hold their breath and gradually stopped typing on the keyboard. Director Tian also took the microphone and started explaining. Now there are only the couple Shen Feng and Zhang Wanwan left on the field. The couple are now very famous in the entertainment industry. And both of them have extraordinary abilities. One is an all-round idol. The other is a top actor recognized by the veteran actor. This is bound to be a confrontational and exciting duel. Let's wait and see who will come out on top. Director Tian hasn't finished talking about waiting and watching. Chen Sheng raised his hand. "I give up." Director Tian. Director Tian, please Mr. Shen, respect the spirit of sports and do not allow match fixing. "I didn't fix the game," Chen Sheng said sincerely. "I did lose, because as long as Brother Wan is by my side, I can't help but move. But you clearly didn't move just now," Director Tian said angrily. "No." Chen Sheng shook his head seriously. "I moved." Director Tian, are you unsophisticated? Chapter 224. When have you ever seen Zhang Wanwan speak reasonably? I have never seen a match more fake than this. My dear, it's not a problem if your heart is moved, but if your heart is not moved, then something bad will happen. 10 years ago, when I was dancing at the entrance of the village carrying cement on my back, I never said such unsophisticated words. If you want to talk about unsophisticated words, you have to look at Feng Zi. I learned it. I will go to the street and find a girl and tell her that I am attracted to her. I want to get rid of being single today. Don't go. Feng Zi's words are just cheesy love talk, and you guys are just being hooligans. If Zhang Wanwan said something now, it would be fatal. But unfortunately she couldn't say it. What did you say? Tell me about it. Zhang Wanwan, my fetus is moving. In the discussion of barrage, the second round of competition ended here. By the third round, Zhang Wanwan couldn't help but raise her fighting spirit. According to the rules Director Yan mentioned before, a person with the highest average ranking in the 3 rounds will win the first place in the statue game. Now Zhang Wanwan has gotten second place once and first place once, so her average ranking is already very high. But this does not mean that Zhang Wanwan has secured the victory, because Wen Hua has already won first place once and third place once. It is entirely possible that Wen Hua will overtake Zhang Wanwan in this third game. Zhang Wanwan doesn't want to lose. So before the game started, Zhang Wanwan began to secretly conspire with Shen Feng. On the other side, Wen Hua and Liu Mingyu were also plotting. You definitely can't get first place with your current score. How about this, you just give up and help me interfere with Zhang Wanwan? Wen Hua said. Liu Mingyu rubbed his hands. Is it okay? Zhang Wanwan is not that easy to disturb, and there is also Shen Feng here. Let me teach you a trick. Wen Hua took out his cell phone. I just took a picture of Shen Feng's face. Show this picture to Zhang Wanwan later. She will definitely laugh. Liu Mingyu couldn't help but give Wen Hua a thumbs up. Great, you are well prepared. But what if Zhang Wanwan takes revenge on me? It's not like you haven't seen date. I don't want to be as miserable as Director Chen. Wen Hua comforted him. It's okay, at worst you can just say it was my idea. The two men conspired for a long time, and after they had finalized the matter, they high-fived each other. I feel like Sister Wen Hua and Lao Liu have bad intentions. Are they planning something bad? And logically speaking, I don't think Feng Zi and Wan Wan are discussing anything good. Are we going to see the two CPS bidding each other? Although Wen Hua and Liu Mingyu are older, they are both unmarried and have a good relationship on a daily basis. So after the broadcast of Youth, some people regarded Wen Hua and Liu Mingyu as a pair of CP. As for mutual pitfalls, I think Wan Wan is definitely better. That's not what I meant. I saw Sister Wen Hua took out a cell phone just now, and it seemed to contain a photo of Feng Zi making a face. If Master Li showed that photo to Zhang Wanwan, one would definitely live in Bengbu. Indeed, Shen Feng and Wan Wan seem to have not found the weaknesses of Wen Hua and Liu Mingyu. So, it seems that Wen Hua and his team may have a better chance of winning? If this photo of the ghost face is really taken out, it should be very lethal to Zhang Wanwan this time. It seems that Wan Wan is in danger. If Wan Wan only gets second place this time, we might have to play a tiebreaker. In the discussion of the barrage, Director Tian cleared his throat and asked the four chief instructors to take their seats. Then, the start of the competition was announced. As soon as the race started, Wen Hua rushed towards the finish line without hesitation. Liu Mingyu held his cell phone and planned to go to Zhang Wanwan. Whenever Zhang Wanwan turned into a statue, he would show her the photo of Shen Feng's grimace in his phone, in order to interfere with Zhang Wanwan. Result: what Liu Mingyu, Wen Hua, Director Tian and even the audience didn't expect was, at this moment, Shen Feng actually hugged Zhang Wanwan in his arms. Then he hugged Zhang Wanwan and sprinted towards the finish line. The music stopped abruptly and Wen Hua stopped immediately. Then, she watched Shen Sheng running past her holding the motionless Zhang Wanwan. A gust of wind blew up all the way, ran to the finish line. Even when Shen Feng carried Zhang Wanwan to the finish line, the music had not yet resumed and Wen Hua was still in a state of silence. This and this game be played like this? Seeing this scene, the people of Wen Hua were stunned. Zhang Wanwan was put down by Shen Feng. She said with a smile, "Why can't we play like this? I didn't move when the music stopped. It was Shen Feng who moved. The saint once said that when I am on a train, the train is moving, but I am stationary relative to the train." Which saint said that? My junior high school physics teacher. Wen Hua, why can your junior high school physics teacher be considered a saint? Because he is over 50 years old and still unmarried. Wen Hua. Silence is Wen Hua today. Now I just want to know whether this genius idea came from Shen Feng or Wan Wan. I have thought of more than a dozen ways for two people to win, but I really haven't thought of this one. MUA, absolutely amazing. The physics teacher expressed that he was very hurt. Wan Wan and Shen Feng were relatively stationary, but were moving relative to Ji Adnan, so Wan Wan should also be eliminated. Brother, are you trying to reason with Wan Wan? When have you ever seen Zhang Wanwan reason with you? You're right. Director Tian probably knew that he couldn't reason with Zhang Wanwan. So in the end, Zhang Wanwan got first place. In this way, Zhang Wanwan won the first place in the statue competition with the highest average ranking. Next, the second round of competition will begin. The second round of the competition will still be held by drawing lots to decide what to compete in the end. The first person to draw lots was Wen Hua, and the second time, several people gave the opportunity to Liu Mingyu. The game Liu Mingyu finally drew was the Don't Make a Challenge game. The game is very simple. Each of the four chief mentors wears a card on his head, and the card says something that cannot be done. On this card, the four people cannot see their own cards, but can see those of others. You have to induce others to do the actions on the cards. Whoever does what is written on the card first loses. Director Tian wrote a few cards and asked for people to draw them randomly and then wear them on their heads. None of the four people knew what the cards above their heads said, only others could see it. After the four of them put on their cards, Director Tian announced the start of the game. Then, Shen Sheng took the first action. He made a face. Zhang Wanwan had to hold back her laughter and said through gritted teeth, "The card on my head must say not to laugh, right?" As a result, just as she finished her words, Director Tian took the microphone and shouted, "Zhang Wanwan, eliminated." Zhang Wanwan was stunned. Chapter 225. Are you sure the zombies can defeat Brother Wan? Zhang Wanwan took off the card on her head. It says, "Talk to Shen Feng." Zhang Wanwan. She threw the card away speechless lie, and walked aside to watch the competition between Shenfeng, Wenhua and Liu Mingyu. When the audience in the live broadcast room saw this, some of them couldn't help but complain. I thought Feng Zi would protect Wanwan until the end, but I didn't expect Feng Zi to eliminate Wanwan first. Indeed, doesn't Feng Zi always help Wanwan? No, you don't understand Feng Zi's gentleness. Suddenly someone said this. On the surface, Feng Zi caused Wanwan to be eliminated first. But if you think about it carefully, with the card on Wanwan's head, it would be difficult for her not to be eliminated. Right? After all, how could Wanwan not talk to Feng Zi? And if Wanwan suddenly talked to Feng Zi and got herself eliminated, it would seem that Wanwan was too stupid, so Feng Zi took the initiative to cue Wanwan, creating a feeling that Wanwan was tricked by him, rather than Wanwan being eliminated because she was too stupid. Feng Zi is so considerate and takes good care of Wanwan. I can only say that I am touched. Is this a candy cracker? He can come up with so much candy in his mind even without any candy. Although what you said makes sense, I still think that Feng Zi just wants to trick Wanwan. No one in the audience knows what Shenfeng is thinking. So after discussing for a while, the audience's attention returned to the three people who had not been eliminated. The remaining three people's cards are somewhat evenly matched. They are all dangerous, but not that dangerous. Indeed, in comparison, I think Feng Zi might be more dangerous. She could be tricked at any time. The card on Wenhua's head reads agree. The card above Liu Mingyu's head reads say no. The card above Shenfeng's head read say no. These two words are very commonly used, and it is easy for people to be tempted to say them. For example, Liu Mingyu and Wenhua now. After Liu Mingyu and Wenhua looked at each other, they seemed to be planning to target Shenfeng first. Wenhua glanced at Zhang Wanwan next to him, and suddenly his eyes turned. And he asked Shenfeng, Xiao Chen, is Wanwan pregnant now? Say no quickly. Shenfeng, pregnant. Wenhua. Audience? Zhang Wanwan. Wenhua, when did it happen? Audience, when did it happen? Zhang Wanwan, when did it happen? Shenfeng smiled, what happened tonight? Everyone looked at her and Shenfeng again. Zhang Wanwan blushed and quickly waved her hands. Don't look at us, just continue playing the game. Continue playing the game. Feng Ziqiang, you didn't say yes or no, you just said you were pregnant. You definitely wouldn't write such nonsense on the card. So it's absolutely safe to say so. Having said that, wouldn't it be the same if Feng Zi said she wasn't pregnant? I always feel like Feng Zi is really thinking about having a child. Uncles and aunts, I am 3 years old this year. I want to ask what Feng Zi said about what happened tonight. Can children watch it? Cute. Auntie, stop pretending to be young. You said you were 3 years old 20 years ago, why are you still 3 years old now? Is your child 3 years old? Children can't watch it. But adults can. I suggest Feng Zi and Wanwan let us watch it at night. After Shen Cheng resolved Wenhua's attack, Wenhua and Liu Mingyu exchanged glances again. Liu Mingyu nodded quietly, then smiled and said to Shenfeng, Xiao Shen, do you think you were eliminated just now? Come on, say no. But Shenfeng smiled and said, shouldn't you be the one to be eliminated? As he said that, Shenfeng looked at Wenhua, Teacher Liu Mingyu. Take down the card, you have already lost. Impossible. Xiao Chen, don't try to trick me if I really get eliminated. Director Tian will tell you. Liu Mingyu was also very steady and responded with a smile. The three of them confronted each other on the field, looking like three old foxes. From the current perspective, this is still a evenly matched battle. I feel like this is going to be a long stalemate. Director Tian murmured. As soon as he finished speaking, Chen Cheng asked Liu Mingyu, what is the name of this dame? Don't challenge me, Liu Mingyu replied casually. Director Tian swallowed back what he had just said, and picked up the microphone and said, Liu Mingyu, when is eliminated? Liu Mingyu silently took off the card on his head, and then he realized that he couldn't say the word no. Now the only ones left on the field are Wenhua and Shenfeng. Chen Cheng took the opportunity to look at Wenhua. Was Teacher Liu Mingyu to care less just now? Did you guys have the barbecue in the cafeteria for breakfast? It's quite delicious. As a result, Wenhua did not answer slickly, but turned defense into offense and asked Shenfeng questions. Shenfeng smiled, but still did not say the word no. Instead, he replied, it's not much, but it's really delicious. Teacher Wenhui also likes this flavor, right? I was just saying it casually. Actually, there was no barbecue in the cafeteria this morning, so you didn't get to eat it, right? Really? Then I might have remembered it wrongly. Everyone makes mistakes, what do you think, Teacher Wenhua? The two of them were arguing with each other. Every sentence can tempt the other person to say something wrong, while also guarding against saying words that shouldn't be said. A battle of masters. I feel like they can both guess what the words are above their heads. Now they're just playing tricks to see who can trick the other. When it comes to playing tricks, I think Feng Zi is better than him. That may not be the case. The older you are, the wiser you are. Sister Wenhua is very cunning as long as she keeps asking questions and doesn't answer them. Nothing will go wrong. On the other hand, Shenfeng's no was too easy to say. Shenfeng and Wenhua had indeed roughly guessed what was written on the cards above their heads. Since Wenhua and Liu Mingyu had asked him yes or no many times before, Shensheng guessed that he probably couldn't say no, or couldn't express denial or something like that. Wenhua also guessed that the words on her head should mean that she did not agree with what Shenfeng said. Now both of them are almost playing with their cards open. Who wins and who loses may just be decided in a moment. Shenfeng and Wenhua remained in a stalemate for a long while. It seems difficult to tell which is better. Shenfeng took a deep breath. Then he put on a helpless look and said, "Teacher Wenhua, now everyone knows what is written on the card above our heads. No one can win if this continues. Why don't we try a different method to decide the winner? How about rock, paper, scissors?" Seeing Shenfeng's negotiating tone, Wenhui also felt that what Shenfeng said made sense. I relaxed my guard immediately. Nodded, "Okay, best of 3? Or one game to decide the winner?" "No." Shenfeng smiled. "You have already lost." Wenhua. Let alone Wenhua. Even Director Tian was a little slow to react. Director Tian held the microphone and asked, "Didn't you say rock, paper, scissors? How come you lose before you even start playing? Hasn't she already lost the moment she agreed to play rock, paper, scissors?" Wenhua took off the card above his head and finally covered his face with his hands inside. She had clearly guessed that this might be what was written on the card. But how could I be so careless? Don't let the first round of the challenge end with Shenfeng's victory. The second round of the game began, and Zhang Wanwan and others returned to the game. Hey, is this karma? But this time they suddenly became so safe. Indeed, Wanwan will not be the first to be eliminated this time. I even think she can win this time. Come on, Wenji. This is a winning hand. The card above Zhang Wanwan's head read, "Say you love you." Under normal circumstances, few people would say this. If someone deliberately misled her, Zhang Wanwan should be able to guess it and be on guard. So the audience really thinks Zhang Wanwan has a great chance of winning. After several people looked at the cards on each other's heads, Shenfeng said to Zhang Wanwan, "Brother Wan, to compensate you, I will help you eliminate the two of them first, and then I will admit defeat. Okay? Good." Zhang Wanwan didn't finish saying good things about her. Suddenly complicated calculations began to take place in her mind. Is Shenfeng trying to trick me now? If he is, should I not say yes or yes? But if I refuse directly, I might fall into Feng Zi's trap. Maybe refusing is something I can't do. But if I neither confirm nor refuse, what if Feng Zi is really helping me this time? Then wouldn't I miss out on Feng Zi's help? Is there any way to express my agreement with Feng Zi's help without triggering some sensitive keywords and ensuring my own safety? Zhang Wanwan thought about it and suddenly something happened. As long as she said this, Shenfeng would definitely understand what she meant. Then, she shouted at Shenfeng, "I love you, Miuha, Liu Mingyu, Wenhua." Audience. Who said Zhang Wanwan is safe? Can you come out and say it again? Although I don't know what Wan Ji's mental journey is. And I don't know why she said these 3 words, but I know that she may not be suitable for playing this kind of brain-intensive game. The zombie walked to Zhang Wanwan, opened her head, and left, disappointed. Although I know this is a joke, I still want to ask, are you sure that zombies can beat Brother Wan? Chapter 226 Communicating the Condition. Zombies can't beat Brother Wan. Wenhua and Liu Mingyu were no match for Shenfeng either. After Zhang Wanwan was eliminated by herself, the battle between Shenfeng and Liu Mingyu and Wenhua soon ended with Shenfeng's second victory. Feng Zi is really powerful. Anything that requires thinking can be handed over to Feng Zi. And anything that requires hands-on work can be handed over to your elder brother. Like putting a ring lock on a bicycle. My Feng Zi is a man of both letters and martial arts. Why can Zhang Wanwan find a boyfriend like Feng Zi, but I can't? Is it because I'm a man? If I were a woman, I would definitely fall in love with Feng Zi. But unfortunately I am a man, so my love is even deeper. The two above are really a bit outrageous. I suggest you remake it. The barrage was chatting, and Director Tian announced at this time that the third round of the challenge would not be started. If there was no challenge in this round and Zhang Wanwan could get first place, then her average ranking in normal games would still be second place. In the previous Wooden Man challenge, Shenfeng's average ranking was only 4th. Therefore, as long as Zhang Wanwan's average ranking in Don't Do the Challenge in this round reaches second place, plus her good result of first place in Wooden Man, she can still sit firmly at the top of the overall ranking, and have the right to give priority to choosing guest mentors and contestants. Zhang Wanwan is ready to go. She will go out in this battle. Director Tian took out the cards for the third round and asked the 4 head instructors to draw them randomly. Zhang Wanwan drew one and put it on her head. Then she looked at the cards above the other three people's heads. When she saw the cards above Wenhua and Liu Mingyu's heads, her heart suddenly moved. And she moved a few stools over, sat on one of them, lowered her head, and remained silent. Wanwan entered power-saving mode? The less you say, the fewer mistakes you make. I think Wanwan is trying to lure Sister Wen and Master Yu to eliminate them. Wanwan is fine. Has your IQ improved? After all, now that I am sitting down and my feet are off the ground, the virus is shut down, and my smart IQ has taken over the high ground again. I saw Zhang Wanwan move a stool over and sit down without saying a word. When Huayu Liu Mingyu looked at each other. Then they looked at the cards above each other's heads. Zhang Wanwan wants Wenhua to take the bait. Liu Mingyu thought so and sat down without saying a word. Zhang Wanwan wants Liu Mingyu to take the bait. Wenhua thought so and sat down without saying a word. Both of them looked at each other with mysterious smiles on their faces, as if they were waiting for the other to be eliminated. Sure enough, I saw Director Chen pick up the microphone. Liu Mingyu, Wenhua, eliminated. Liu Mingyu? Wenhua? They were both dumbfounded at the same time. They both felt that the other party should be eliminated. I never thought that I would fall into the trap. The two men took off the cards above their heads, and their faces turned black. Liu Mingyu's card says sit down. Wenhua's card said silence for 10 seconds. Both of us thought the other would be fooled. But I didn't expect that I would be the clown in the end. 1G is awesome, Big Wave Q. Can you please be a little more cultured and stop embarrassing your circle of fans? What's the Big Wave Q? It's an English word, it should be written as double Q. It's obviously a double kill. Damn Q, you are also a talent. Wanwan is really amazing this time. She tricked two people at once. I don't know if it was a coincidence or she had planned it all out. This must be a plan usually. Wanwan acts a little silly and cute. So do you think she is really stupid? Of course she is not smart. But she is not that stupid. 1G is awesome. Wait. Now the only thing left is the Quan Suo couple who love and hate each other? Oh my god, the fun is about to begin. Watson discovered the blind spot of the matter. Indeed, it is now time for Shen Feng and Zhang Wanwan to perform solos. The double kill of Wenhua and Liu Mingyu was actually calculated by Zhang Wanwan herself. The card above Liu Mingyu's head said sit down, and the card above Wenhua's head said silence. According to the rule of this game that there are no identical cards, Zhang Wanwan can be sure that there is no problem with her doing both of these things. So she brought a stool and sat down, and everyone remained silent. An attitude of the less I say, the less mistakes I make, and I'm going to give up. This also successfully deceived Liu Mingyu and Wenhua. After they saw the cards on each other's heads, they all thought that Zhang Wanwan was tricking them. So they let down their guard, falling into Zhang Wanwan's trap. Zhang Wanwan raised her head and looked at the card above Shen Feng's head. Say thank you. It's easy to trick Shen Feng into saying this word. But it was also difficult to trick Shen Feng into telling it. And now Zhang Wanwan can't guess what the word is above her head. If you talk too much, you will most likely say words that you shouldn't say, and fail just like in the last round of the game. So after pondering for a moment, Zhang Wanwan decided to wait and see what happens and then strike back. Let Shen Feng ask her 2 questions first, and let her roughly guess what the words on her head are, so that she can avoid it later. As a result, Zhang Wanwan watched the situation develop quietly, and Shen Feng actually began to remain silent. The two of them sat opposite each other on a stool. The sun is shining, the sky is blue and the clouds are white. A man and a woman sat opposite each other. The man was handsome and the woman was beautiful. This scene really looks like a painting. If these two people didn't have a card on their heads like fools, honestly, I won't get tired of watching the two of them staring at each other even if I watch it 100 times. But I'm distracted when I see the cards above their heads. Indeed, can we ask them to take the card off first so we can take a screenshot? Fengzi's eyes are so affectionate, Wanwan's eyes are so charming. And the cards are so annoying. Shen Feng and Zhang Wanwan looked at each other for a long time. Neither of them spoke first. Zhang Wanwan was helpless and winked at Shen Feng. Speak. Shen Feng glanced back. No. Zhang Wanwan. Speak quickly, ask me questions. Shen Feng, no. Zhang Wanwan. Can you please not be so eager to win? Please let me win. Shen Feng, it's obvious that your desire to win is stronger, right? What are they doing? Are your eyes cramped? Maybe making eye contact? If their eyes hadn't moved so much, I would have thought they were communicating with each other. But now, especially Zhang Wanwan's eyes are moving like twitching. I just feel like they are communicating about their illness. Circle lock couple, are you polite? If you dare to say this about Shen Feng and Wanwan, be careful that a ring will be put on your head. Zhang Wanwan's eyes wandered around for a long time and finally she was tired. She couldn't help but speak, and smiled at Shen Feng and said, Teacher Shen Feng, ask me a question. Shen Feng smiled and actually asked a question. What do you want me to ask you? Zhang Wanwan. Is this also a problem? Zhang Wanwan coughed lightly and said. We can't win if we keep going like this. How about this? I'll make a rule that from now on, we must answer each other's questions truthfully. This should help us end the game faster. Shen Feng nodded. Okay, I'll listen to you. Zhang Wanwan made a gesture of invitation. Shen Feng didn't hesitate and asked with a smile, do you want a Western or Chinese wedding? Zhang Wanwan? What is the problem? Zhang Wanwan couldn't help but look up to see what was written on the card above her head. Could it be that the card says, wedding-related content? There shouldn't be such an obscure question, right? But Zhang Wanwan just said that all questions should be answered truthfully. So Zhang Wanwan avoided wedding-related words as much as possible and answered the latter. Seeing that Director Tian did not say elimination, Zhang Wanwan was delighted and immediately asked Shen Shen. It's my turn. If your computer breaks down and I fix it for you, what are you going to say to me? Since we agreed to answer truthfully, this kind of question should be able to make Shen Feng say thank you. Then Shen Feng said, I would probably say, you have become more capable? Can it be shorter? Have you become more capable? Shorter. Can you bear it? Make it shorter, and can you change the words? Shen Feng thought about it. Then he said, great. Zhang Wanwan. It was Shen Feng's turn to ask the next question. Shen Feng asked directly, do you want to invite more people to the wedding? Or just our own family? Zhang Wanwan became more alert. Another question about the wedding. It seems that the words she can't say are really related to the wedding. Zhang Wanwan thought carefully and finally replied with 2 words. Few people. Shen Feng nodded, lowered his head and seemed to write something down on his mobile phone. Then motioned Zhang Wanwan to continue asking. Zhang Wanwan thought about it and asked. If someone helps you, what would you say to repay him? It depends on whether the favor is big or small. What if it's a small favor? Give me your WeChat ID and I'll send you a red envelope. What if it's a big help? Here's your bank card number. I'll transfer some money to you. Zhang Wanwan. Can't you say thank you normally? Chapter 227. Please stop rusting. Shen Feng, what season do you want to hold the wedding in? Or do you need to check the lunar calendar? Zhang Wanwan. Just keep it warm if I cook for you at night. What will you say to me? Shen Feng, let me do it. Do you want a simple or fancy wedding arrangement? Zhang Wanwan, alright, when you helped others before. Did they say anything to you? Shen Feng, I said thank you. Do you want to join us in decorating the wedding room? Or should I come alone to give you a surprise? Zhang Wanwan. Alright, how do you say thanks in Chinese? Shen Feng. 3KES. Zhang Wanwan. Zhang Wanwan said helplessly. I asked you to translate it. Arigato. Translated into Chinese. Thank you very much. Shen Feng smiled and continued to ask. Do you want to eat something tonight? I'll make it for you. Sweet and sour pork ribs. After Zhang Wanwan finished speaking, she was about to ask Shen Feng another question. Suddenly, Shen Sheng turned off the phone he was using to take notes on, then walked over to Zhang Wanwan and said, thank you for your answer. Brother Wan. Zhang Wanwan was stunned at first. Then he immediately jumped up and pulled the card off Shen Feng's head. You finally lost, you were careless. Shen Sheng smiled and rubbed Zhang Wanwan's head. You were careless. Zhang Wanwan chuckled. After all, I am still better at it. As she spoke, she took off the card on her head as well. While taking it, he said, my question must be about the wedding. Your question is so obvious that I guessed it. As a result, Zhang Wanwan took the card down and took a look. I was stunned again. The card said discuss the song. This has nothing to do with the question Shen Feng just asked. Zhang Wanwan looked at Shen Feng in surprise. A pair of eyes just met Shen Feng's eyes. At this time, Zhang Wanwan already understood why Shen Feng asked those questions just now. Her face turned red all of a sudden, and finally she pulled Shen Feng over and hugged him. Then she whispered in his ear, can't you ask this kind of question in private? Outsiders can hear it. Shen Feng smiled and whispered in Zhang Wanwan's ear. If we don't let outsiders hear it, can it still be called showing affection? Students Shen Feng and Zhang Wanwan, please pay attention. Your microphones are on. Even if you speak softly, we can still pick up your voice. My family is poor and we only have to locks every time it rains. I beg them. Please stop rusting. Don't be afraid, I'll ask you to get a few more locks later. I was really impressed. It was so sweet of Feng Zi to take the opportunity to ask about the wedding. Especially the scene where Feng Zi took the initiative to say thank you at the end. And then took off the card to let Wanwan win. Feng Zi really knows how to do it. Why can't I meet such a good man? The audience in front of the screen are now full of dog food. From their perspective, they could see the cards above Shen Feng and Zhang Wanwan's heads from the beginning. Naturally, he already knew that the questions Shen Feng asked from the beginning to the end were not to make Zhang Wanwan lose. But he really took this opportunity to ask about things related to the wedding. Okay, don't do the third round of the challenge. Zhang Wanwan wins. Director Tian spoke up at this time, interrupting the two people who were still hugging each other. Don't do the challenge. The first place in the total score is Shen Feng. The second place is Zhang Wanwan. The third place is Wen Hua. And the fourth place is Liu Mingyu. Considering the results of the Wooden Man Challenge, Zhang Wanwan is still ranked first. As he spoke, Director Tian looked at the four chief instructors and asked, "Who among you will draw the third round of challenges? Let me do it." Wen Hua and Liu Mingyu had both drawn, leaving only Zhang Wanwan and Shen Feng. Zhang Wanwan knew without asking that Shen Feng would definitely give her this opportunity. So Zhang Wanwan simply volunteered. Go forward and draw the content of the third round of challenges. Talent competition. This is very straightforward. The four head mentors will take turns performing a program, and the contestants on the scene and the audience in the live broadcast room will vote based on the excitement of the performance. The one with the most votes wins. This challenge lacked a lot of entertainment and fun, but it immediately ignited the tension at the scene. Shen Feng, Zhang Wanwan, Wen Hua and Liu Mingyu have a good relationship in private, but this does not mean that their fans will get along peacefully. Even stars like Shen Feng and Zhang Wanwan, who are famous as a couple, once had fans like Li Yuya who were Zhang Wanwan's biggest fans. Where there are people, there is the world of martial arts, especially since the four of them can be regarded as extremely famous figures in the entertainment industry. On one side are newcomers in the entertainment industry, and on the other side are veterans who have been famous for a long time. Some competitive fans naturally want to see the stars they like defeat the opponents. Come on, Wanwan. Do you understand the value of an all-round idol? Peng Zigo, Crush Liu Da Shen and Wen Hua Ji. You are the ones. A group of young people, do you know what a singing god is? Come on Liu Mingyu. When Wen Hua started his Asian tour, Shen Feng and Zhang Wanwan probably couldn't even walk yet. They have good traffic now, but compared with their seniors, they are still too green. Director Tian laughed secretly in his heart as he watched the comments suddenly become lively. It was for this effect that he inserted a talent show challenge into the draw. Moreover, he set up this lot so that it would definitely be drawn, in order to create enough hype. Zhang Wanwan and the others didn't know that the late broadcast room had suddenly become lively. She looked at Wen Hua and Liu Mingyu and asked, "How do we decide who will perform first? Or should Sister Wen Hua go first?" Wen Hua smiled and said, "I'm fine with it, I have no objection. After all, he is a veteran star with real power. Even if I have to start an impromptu performance on the spot, I am not afraid at all." After discussing with the program team, Wen Hua selected a song to sing. The reason why Wen Hua has been so popular for so many years is her professional dancing skills and her singing voice, which is equally outstanding. Wen Hua sang a song and immediately stunned the contestants on the scene. Even Shen Shang and Zhang Wanwan were listening attentively. After the song was finished, everyone gave Wen Hua a round of applause. The next performance is by Liu Mingyu. Liu Mingyu also chose a song, but the one he chose was a new song that he had just released not long ago, his childhood sweetheart. When they heard Liu Mingyu singing this song, Shen Feng and Zhang Wanwan were stunned, because before, when they just met Liu Mingyu and Wen Hua told him that the song His Childhood Sweetheart was written by Liu Mingyu after he watched their song, Let's Start Dating Today. In other words, Liu Mingyu wrote this song for both of them. Unexpectedly, Liu Mingyu did not choose to sing his time-tested famous songs, but sang this one instead. Melodious and cheerful music sounded. After a short prelude, Liu Mingyu picked up the microphone and spoke softly. Chapter 228, I don't have any real material. We were still young at that time, and couldn't really tell what was good about the other person. I just like to pull his coat and run wild with him. His childhood sweetheart is willing to cry for him. Humming the most romantic tune, I accompany him on his long journey through the years. His childhood sweetheart was like a creation of heaven and earth. Looking at the lovebirds in the sky and the smile on her lips. His childhood sweetheart. In his arms. How come it's such a coincidence that I want to be with her until old age? Liu Mingyu's voice is very varied. He can be called the god of music today. So his strength is beyond doubt. This song is performed by Liu Mingyu in a light and melodious style, full of the feelings of youth and love. Shen Feng and Zhang Wanwan listened, looked at each other, and smiles appeared in their eyes. It was as if they had gone back in time. There were a few clouds floating in the sky of Qingliu County. The moment the school bell rang, Zhang Wanwan pulled Shen Feng out of the classroom. The two ran across the playground, across the street, and back home. After putting down his school bag, he ran out again and went wherever he wanted to play. Sometimes she held his hand, and sometimes he carried her on his back and walked slowly. They played until the sun set and then they headed home. Perhaps there really wasn't much sorrow in the memories of that time. It seems that as long as the bell rings, as long as we can play with each other, the happiness can wash away all the unhappiness. Just like. Same now. Zhang Wanwan held Shen Feng's hand and leaned on his shoulder. Listening to Liu Mingyu's song, I closed my eyes gently. Although she and he had gone through hardships beyond ordinary people's imagination to get to where they are now. But as long as we can hold hands tightly and feel each other's warmth, everything is worth it. Some people said before that Master Liu wrote this song for Shen Feng and Wanwan. And many people also said that Shen Feng and Wanwan were just trying to take advantage of Master Liu's popularity, saying that Shen Sheng and Wanwan were small-time celebrities who were not even as good as Master Liu. Now that Master Liu is singing this song in front of Shen Feng and Wanwan, does it prove that his childhood plum was written specifically for the CP? I don't want to argue about this, I just want to say that this song is really nice. And Liu Zheshen is worthy of being called the god of songs. It reminds me of my childhood. I also had a childhood sweetheart. We grew up together, but unfortunately she got married later. Alas, brother, don't be too sad, this is fate. The person she married is me. CNM. Master Liu was really amazing when I heard other people singing this song before,